What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. ATS Chapter 141 Shocked, Uchiha Ran is on the list. Summoning Beast is it? Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The Art of Summoning. In the sky, Uchiha Ran's body seemed to occupy all the space, and a pair of Samsara Mangekyo Sharingan looked extremely charming and noble at this moment, radiating golden light. The small flames fly hooks from the light, absorb the light and expand continuously, and in the blink of an eye, they grow to a height of about 3 meters and 5, revealing their true appearance. It is a body covered with red, flaky, armor-like skin. The dark side of the body is gray, the head, the tail of the torso and the large spikes from the rhythm, the chest and the hands are for a special beast with 3 claws on each foot, gray markings on the soles of the feet, 4 bulldozer-like teeth at the end of the tail, and blue spikes in the seams of the skin. At this moment, there was lava rolling, and countless rays of light were radiating, as if cheering. They are welcoming their King Kun, the power of light and heat, and the god of the earth, Groudon, who created the earth. Roar. Grudo howled at the sky, and hooked countless rays of light all over his body. Soon, the seam of the skin turned into a lava-like orange-yellow, and there was still lava to flow, followed by the circular part at the base of the arm. A Q icon style is generated. This is the original return to Groudon. He took a step forward to 970, and the ground seemed to emerge under his feet. But all this is not over yet. Boom, virtual volcanoes appear and erupt. The sky was filled with lava and black smoke. In such an environment, primitive returned Groudon once again bloomed with countless rays of light, and then its body began to swell and change, and finally grew to a height of several hundred meters. This is the supergiant transformation of the divine beast. Until then, all the pictures are over. The 3-dimensional images of Uchiha Ran and Groudon turned into a streamer and shot into the top of the summoning beast list, ranking above everyone, and their names also exuded a special brilliance. The ranking details are displayed. Everyone can't wait to see it. They want to know, what the hell is this giant beast that Uchiha Ran summons? First place. Hypergiant Primal Return to Groudon Equal Rule Contract, Uchiha Ran. Advertisement, Golden List Popular Science. Groudon is the creator of the land of the elf world. It has a strong ability to control light and heat, and can evaporate flooded areas or cause volcanic eruptions to create land. Groudon sleeps in the lava underground. Once it wakes up, the volcano will erupt. Kinbang Science. Primitive Groudon is what Groudon looks like after the original return, and is the original appearance after its real power awakening. Primordial Groudon will turn the energy that permeates the whole body into magma to expel hooks out of the body. It is said that it can create the earth with one step, and can control the weather changes with the high temperature of the magma-like body. It is the overlord of the earth. Jinbang Science. In the world of elves, there is a power called gigantic transformation, which is the phenomenon of giant transformation of elves in a specific place. It will have a powerful force and may be hooked on any elves. Jinbang Science. On top of the gigantic transformation, there is a phenomenon called super gigantic transformation. Even among elves of the same species, only certain individuals will occur. The super gigantic transformation of elves will not only change, it becomes bigger than the giant, and the appearance will become more prominent. At the same time, in addition to improving some abilities like ordinary giant elves, it can also hook special giant moves called super giant moves that ordinary giant elves can't use. Golden List Popular Science. As the Lord of the Earth, Groudon can use his own will to return to the original, gigantic, and super gigantic, showing barely strong power. There are 5 golden lists of popular science, and the content is very clear. The doubts in everyone's heart were perfectly answered, but even bigger doubts emerge. This Groudon, obviously from the same elf world as the Water Kun, is also one of the most powerful gods in elf, and the master is in charge of the earth. The original Groudon after the supergiant transformation, the body is highly crushed and the ordinary is a tailed beast. And it is obviously not the point. But just like the Susanoo of the Uchiha clan can laugh differently according to the different chara, it depends entirely on your needs. In terms of destructive power alone, the supergiant Groudon will not be worse than the 10 Tails, God Tree, in full form. The former can create the earth and guide volcanic eruptions, while the latter's roots spread all over the planet. But the current 10 Tails is just the body. Before the list, even 20% of the chara was not replenished, the tail was not recovered, and the Samsara Sharingan did not appear. So the supergiant original Groudon must be stronger than the Geto statue, and it is only natural that it ranks first. Then comes the bigger problem. Uchiha Ran, how did you bring the earth god of the elven world to this world? By Water Kun. Then Terumi Mei will surely know, and it is impossible for an existence like Groudon to pass through without any movement. Or, was it the last time Terumi Mei went to the elf world? But on that day, except for the last hour, Terumi Mei started the live broadcast. They witnessed with their own eyes that 5th Mizukage, under the command of 5th Hokage, searched and brewed a bunch of Pokeballs, and then sent one water system after another. The elves were defeated and subdued, bringing back the haze. That is, what happened in the last hour? Uchiha Ran and Terumi Mei's secret deal? Hiss, everyone immediately became interested. At that time, Uchiha Ran's strength was still far from the 6 pads level, and Terumi Mei was far behind, not enough for Groudon Mouth Magma. So, how did Uchiha Ran convince Groudon to direct Terumi Mei from the air? Advertisement, transcribing the seal. Uchiha Madara guessed suspiciously. The trick of transcribing the seal was played by Uchiha Ran? Is it Mangekyo Sharingan's special pupil technique? Tanshu Tobirama guessed instinctively. Everyone is curious, but there was one man who was more curious than all of them. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. At Uchiha Ran, what did you secretly do to me? Close black lens bracket. Yamanaka Ino. Auntie, speak well and don't make some misleading remarks. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Auntie. Open black lens bracket Yamanaka Ino. You are older than the two of me, aren't you, Auntie? Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Then what is your name, Tsunade? Yamanaka Ino. Of course it's my sister. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. She is more than 5 of you. Open black lens bracket Yamanaka Ino. But Tsunade's sister is always 18 years old, and she has become younger recently. Open black lens bracket Tsunade. Very nice, my sister taught you 100 healings mark. Terumi Mei. Bro, Tsunade's sister, also teach sister. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Tsunade. Get out. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. At Uchiha Ran, you Konoha will bully people 0. Uchiha Ran. When the police talk indiscriminately, I do everything in an upright manner, but what happened requires strong mental support, and you passively erased this memory. Quote. Terumi Mei. Damn it, you still manipulated my memory? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. It's just that you will forget the memory after you cast Mangekyo Sharingan. Who made you not have Sharingan, and this is a trump card I gave you. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. The more I listen, the more confused I get. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Madara. Transcribe the seal. Uchiha Ran. Exactly. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Madara. Got it. Close black lens bracket advertisement everyone. Tay Miao, you understand, and we don't understand even more. Open black lens bracket Hashirama. Madara, tell me, what is the seal of transcription? Uchiha Madara. Obviously, I certainly won't tell you. Open black lens bracket Wisdom Hashirama. Madara. Yi, Mito, I was wrong. Open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito. Let you read more regularly, you don't want to, you don't even know how to transcribe and seal. Open black lens bracket Onogi. So, what exactly is this ninjutsu? Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito. At Uchiha Ran, can you say it? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Mrs. First Generation is free. This sealing techniques are exclusive sealing techniques like adamantine sealing chains of the Uzumaki family, and they are not afraid of leaking. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito. Then I will overtake you. The transcribed seal is a pupil technique awakened by the Uchiha family after possessing the Mangekyo Sharingan. It can seal a specific pupil power into the eyes of oneself or the policeman. The premise is that the other party has Sharingan and the seal is successful. The pupil surgery will start automatically after a period of time set by the practitioner, or after the set conditions are met. Everyone was stunned. This transcribed seal is easy to understand. To put it bluntly, it means that the person who has Mangekyo Sharingan seals his own pupil technique into the eyes of other people who have Sharingan. The effect is pupil technique effect, and the trigger conditions are limited by the caster. Beautiful hand Tobirama. Understood, Madara, you used transcription seal 4.0 to seal, Izanagi, into a certain eye, and it will come back to life after a certain period of time. Uchiha Madara. Exactly. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. So, I still have the Uchiha bloodline. Then why was it not marked when I was listed on the blood successor list? Close black lens bracket. Conan. Where did your confidence come from? Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Didn't you say that the transcribed seal can only be sealed in Sharingan? Open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito. In fact, it can also seal the eyes of ordinary people, but it is the Uchiha clan's eye art, not the heaven-defying art of Izanagi and Izanami, or the mind-reflecting eye art of the Mangekyo police officer. If the Uchiha people without eternal Mangekyo Sharingan use too much, they will cause blindness in their eyes. Can ordinary people bear it? Open black lens bracket Wisdom Tobirama. Ordinary people perform pupil surgery with ordinary eyes. The best result is that the eyes are directly blind. In the case of almost, the entire mental power may be drained and become a fool. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Hiss, as the owner of the double blood, I must be stronger than ordinary people, but I can't stand the backlash of the pupil technique, right? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Madara. Absolutely unbearable. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. But I'm still intact, so, what the hell is going on? Close black lens bracket. Chapter 142 Dragon Ball World Piccolo Inheritance, Ocean Light. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement. I don't have the Uchiha bloodline, and my physique is not strong. If Uchiha Ran casts the transcription seal on me, there is absolutely no way that I will be intact. 99. Speaking of which, Shui-kun gave me the inheritance for the first time, but later he recognized Uchiha Ran as the master. I have never figured out this matter. Could it be because of the transcription seal? In the Mizukage building, Terumi Mei was holding her cheeks, trying to think about the past, trying to find any memories. But unfortunately, not at all. If it wasn't for Uchiha Ran's admission, she would rather believe that she was engraved with the imprint of the Thunder God. But it's not so easy to travel between different worlds, right? Terumi Mei felt that her brain was not enough. However, there are still smart people in the ninja world. Orochimaru. I guess that after Ran-kun's pupil technique is used, the consumption can be recovered. Uchiha Ran. Almost. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Pupils replenish consumption? So the truth of the matter is that you have sealed some kind of pupil in my eyes that will open when you see Groudon. This pupil will allow you to show up and talk to Groudon, and will somehow mend my eye injury after use, but will I lose the memory of that experience? Uchiha Ran. Exactly. Actually, there are 5 senses. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Damn it, you did such a thing to me without my consent. Uchiha Ran. It is so misunderstood that I once said that this pupil technique can instantly kill existences below the 6 paths level. Lord is a life-saving charm for me to let go of you. It will explode when you are in danger, and it still exists today. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Instantly kill the 6 paths level and everything exists? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. If you re-bless it now, it can even cause a 3 fatal threat to the 6 paths level. At least it is not a problem to deal with a certain toad. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. I didn't expect you to be so kind to me. I love you, ah. Open black lens bracket Tsunade. I can't stand this, I want to die Kun too. Ayuki Shion. I often have to deal with difficult things for Hokage-sama, in terms of safety and security. 1. Yamanaka Ino. Rai-kun, my strength is around Genin, you know. Yuhi Red. I think ninjutsu and taiju are not strong. Open black lens bracket Conan. Shut up, women need to be more reserved. At Uchiha Ran, did you use a transcribed seal on me? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Yes, or 2. Conan. I'm satisfied, what would you like to have for dinner? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. The chance is reserved for the next time, no surprise, there is a good place to enjoy cooking tonight. Otsutsuki Kagaya. Cooking? At Uchiha Ran, it is not necessary to maintain such low-level behaviors as eating, it is self-willed to be weak. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. I always eat to satisfy my appetite. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. Desire of appetite? I have tasted human food, and it is not as delicious as the dew in the Otsutsuki clan. I will never try it again in my life. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, won't try it a second time? Uchiha Ran smiled meaningfully. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. At Uchiha Ran, why can't Yi Shi be on the list? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. You don't know? Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. The concubine should know? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Have you seen another 10 tails? Otsutsuki Kagaya. I haven't seen it before, otherwise it wouldn't be still in Yi Shi's hands. After the concubine launched 100,000 white Zetsu after unifying the world, there was no gain. I always thought that it was destroyed by Yi Shi or sealed somewhere. Uchiha Ran. Then you really don't know. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. So, what is the reason? Close black lens bracket. Be patient with me. Uchiha Ran laughed again. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. The methods of the Otsutsuki sect will only make the people of Otsutsuki stronger. Do you think the people of the sect let the people of the sect leave the planet with the fruit to plant for hundreds of years, and would not consider the possibility of them stealing food? Otsutsuki Kagaya. I understand, another 10 tails was branded by a certain sect member, and it may still be suppressed in its heyday, and now there is nothing to do in the wedge state. Otsutsuki Ashiki. No, although I can't command this 10 tails, I have signed a summoning contract with it, and the fact that summoning beast is established. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. Summoning beast ranking, you do need a contractor, but the will of the summoning beast is determined by the summoning beast. 10 tails do not want to be on the list with you, one way. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki style. Stubborn guy, damn it, open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Kagaya, I find you are not stupid at all. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. Silly white sweet? White is a fact, but silly and sweet have nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you. Uchiha Ran microdata. I really want to slap the picture of the 7th class playing against you on your face. The special police is Naruto's use of the reverse harem technique, and a scene where you open your eyes and then blush is played on a loop, shame again. On the surface, it looks abstinence, but in fact it is a big sullen show. However, for being silly and sweet, Kagaya who can sneak attack on Otsutsuki is really not suitable. It is estimated that he just woke up from the seal and hasn't woken up yet. So, Otsutsuki will leave it to you to solve it yourself. It won't be long before you leave the moon, right? Uchiha said to the camera in the live broadcast room with a relaxed look on his face. Open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. Destroy the moon. You can break the seal today, do not destroy the moon. 3 days later, close black lens bracket. Then you still destroy the moon. Uchiha Ran laughed. Advertisement open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya. Up to you. Uchiha Ran nodded in satisfaction, then flew down and landed on the ground. Hook now in front of everyone is the most common Groudon with a height of about 3.5 meters. There are no special circumstances, this god of earth is accumulating energy in his body while sleeping, and occasionally his attributes do not like the outbreak of riots, wasting the accumulation. It has always believed, but before the strength is enough, it can fly. At that time, we will be able to call the chubby fish of Kyoka and call him daddy. As for the cracked Karakura, the big guy still forgets it. Grado, haven't you decided what reward to choose? Uchiha Ran came to Groudon and asked in a kind voice. Being able to deceive Lai Groudon can be said to be an outbreak of character. Originally, he wanted to use the Water-kun relationship to contact Ho Wang and then flickered. But for some reason, King Feng didn't want to see him. The other divine beasts are even more difficult to see, and they will not pay attention to him as an outsider. In desperation, he had to use the fastest speed to find Groudon. This only flightless divine beast has a breakthrough. Fortunately, he was lucky and succeeded. Roar. Groudon shook his head at Uchiha Ran. The 1-minute countdown is over. The list of rewards has already been announced. Summoning beast reward options. Choose 2 out of 3. 1. Master Lava Wings. You can use your own lava to condense special wings to fly. The strength of the wings is related to the strength, and it also comes with special attack methods. 2. Dragon Ball World Comparison. Piccolo. Move Inheritance. 5 out of 10. 3. Light of the Ocean. Rongjianhei can activate the water attribute at any time, comprehend the exclusive water tricks, can be recognized by the sea, obtain power from the sea, and can change the new form of master. Contractor. A door to the middle world. After seeing the 3 rewards, Groudon has been struggling with which 2 rewards to choose. Option 1 and Option 3. The sub-police represents its 2 wishes of flying and completely covering Oka head. As the god of the earth, it can create lava at will. The so-called lava wings can be said to be tailor-made, and the wings of lava can not only be used to fly, but also increase the means of attack. The light of the sea is even more beneficial. Activating the water attribute at any time means that its resistance and attack become diverse. It is even said that it can also use the water attribute trick to gain power from the sea. Kyogre is desperately trying to create the ocean, but he is actually adding strength to it, which is a wonderful picture to think about. Advertisement. As for Master's new form changes, it doesn't quite understand it, but it's definitely powerful. So in theory, he chooses 1 and 3. Option 2, what is the Piccolo of the Dragon Ball world? It has never heard of it, what is it to choose? However, it has been in the ninja world for several days, and it can also link to the gold list to watch the human chat in the ninja world, so it has received a lot of information recently. Such as the omnipotence of Uchiha Ran. You want me to give you advice? Uchiha Ran read his thoughts in Groudon's eyes. Groudon nodded. Then you choose 2 and 3, Uchiha Ran said decisively. Groudon did not rush to choose, but tilted his head. This is for Uchiha Ran to explain. Option 2, you can also have the ability to fly, and you don't need wings, Uchiha Ran said warmly. Groudon's eyes widened, and he never hesitated. It chose 2 and 3. A beam of ocean light merged into its body and began to transform. But it didn't care about these. Instead, it concentrated on studying the 10 options on the light curtain in front of it. Ray Eye emits light from the eye to attack the enemy. Flying, similar to air dance, but faster than air dance. Telepathy, use superpowers to talk to the other person's mind. Telescopic attack, stretching the arm to attack the enemy. Physical technique. Chichuan fist, quick hook, which uses the vibration of the air to strike the enemy. Afterimage fist, using the afterimages generated at high speed to create effects similar to clones to confuse the enemy. Regeneration, the lost structure of the body repairs itself, except for the head, which requires a lot of strength. Supergiant body, a move that makes the whole body huge, the size of a hill. The speed is not reduced at all, but the mobility is weakened. Intense light bullets, place both hands in front of the chest to gather energy and launch them in the form of light bullets, powerful enough to destroy the island. Magical light killing cannon, super powerful energy attack, put 2 fingers of the right hand on the forehead to gather energy. After enough lethality, the right hand stretches forward, shoots out from the 2 fingers and is surrounded by spiral energy. The super powerful energy beam that is attached will increase its strength, and the shorter the charging time, the more powerful it will be. Groudon breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the flying technique. If you can fly, that's fine, but what about the other options? Groudon subconsciously looked at Uchiha Ran. Chapter 143 The Intermediate World Gate Lottery, the world of different firefighting emperors. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement, you are really welcome. 19. Uchiha Ran laughed and shook his head when he met Groudon's eyes. But thinking of the agreement between the two and the relationship between them in the future, you really don't have to be polite. The ability of Super Giant Body can also be achieved by using your Super Giant Body, which can be ruled out. Intense Light Bullet is a move. Put your hands in front of your chest to gather energy, and launch hooks in the mode of light bullets. You can also use infuriating bullets. You can do better with destroying death light and sunshine flames. Exclude. Your fighting style does not rely on speed to win, but with hard power, plus your own master's shadow avatar and upgrade tricks. The afterimage boxing can be ruled out. Your master has many attack methods: the sword of the cliff, the power of the earth, the fluctuation of the dragon, the lightning fist, the infuriating bomb, etc. I think the ray eye, the magic light killing gun and the shock fist are all familiar. Choose one of the 3, think for yourself. If I were you, regeneration, flight, telepathy, these 3 auxiliary abilities must be selected. 9. The telescopic attack, which can change the body, is very cheating. I prefer you to choose. According to his own understanding, Uchiha Ran analyzed a wave for Groudon. Groudon nodded and looked at the light curtain for a while. In the end, he chose regeneration, flying, telepathy, telescoping attack, and Ray-Eye, as suggested by Uchiha Ran. You choose Ray-Eye? Uchiha Ran was a little surprised. This ability is interesting. You should know that our world doesn't have the ability to display a few eyes, and most of them are auxiliary, such as hypnosis. In Uchiha Ran's heart, there was a voice that could not tell the difference between male and female. Groudon uses telepathy. If you say that, it is true. Uchiha Ran thought about it for a while and found that the elf really does not have an attacking move that is directly launched with the eyes. If Groudon suddenly opened his eyes and released light when he was fighting against other elves, he might have achieved unexpected results. Looking at it this way, this move is not only unruly, but can also be used as a hole card. Anyway, it's fine if you like it, Uchiha Ran smiled. Afterwards, he did not disturb Groudon's familiar ability, and directly crossed the space and came to a special space. This is the exclusive starting ball space that he successfully owned after he started the reincarnation Mangekyo, and he can come back with a single thought. It is also connected to 5 special spaces, which can be used to shuttle through Wangshen Hirazaka. Different from the 5 spaces that Otsutsuki Kagaya has, what he owns is ocean space, a sea area, no land, thunder space, a sky, thunderstorms appear continuously, time space. There is a piece of soil and a lake, time flow rate 4 times as much as the outside world, pitch black space, completely pitch dark, space where time is still, gravity space, gravity can be adjusted, and the multiple can vary from 1 to 100 as you like. These spaces all exist depending on the originating space, but they do not communicate with each other. Only the space used by ninjutsu can continue to communicate, but as the originating space grows, it will also grow, and they are all controlled by the mind. Advertisement, receive award. Standing on the top of the highest peak in the starting ball space, Uchiha Ran received the reward of the contractor on the list, a world door leading to an intermediate world. He intends to place this door in the starting ball space, and only those who have his permission or approval can continue to communicate. The resources of an intermediate world, he will not open it to everyone in a short time, but intends to develop it himself. Some powerful tool people, he doesn't mind hiring some of the benefits, but only if these people are worth the price. Of course, the premise of the premise still needs to determine which intermediate world the opposite is, and whether he has any understanding. If you are familiar with helping the world, you may not be able to develop together. Boom. A flash of light descended from the sky and landed in front of Uchiha Ran. He reached out and touched it, and a string of messages passed through his mind. Permission 1. You can choose to open and close the portal at any time. Permission 2. Through the qualification authorization, only the authorized person can pass through this door. Permission 3. Repatriation, recall privilege. When the creatures of the other world are in their own world, they can be directly expelled, and the creatures of their own in the other world can be recalled at any time. Permission 4. Spend energy to set up tickets, and those who have tickets can travel anytime and anywhere when the world gate is open. Permission 5. Immediately master the languages of the world behind the portal. If there are many languages, the 5 most used ones will be inherited. Permission 6. You have the right to change the location of the portal every 3 months, and you need to wait for another 3 months after the replacement. The conditions for changing the portal position in the opposite world are the same, and now there is a chance to change it. SWOT note. After the owner dies, the portal will disappear completely. A total of 6 privileges. Privileges 2 and 4 are somewhat repetitive, and privilege 6 seems to be asking for help, but it's not. The agglomeration of tickets requires energy, and it is destined not to be too much. It is close to the portal and can walk directly over it, which is the advantage. These 6 privileges are similar to the information that Han of Iwagakure revealed after he obtained the Spirit of Halberd World portal. There are only some gaps in the details, but Uchiha Ran does not think that Han has concealed it. It should be the authority of the Intermediate World portal, raised. Then, let me know the information about the other side's world. Well, it's actually just a name, Different Firefighting Emperor. Different Firefighting Emperor. 9. Uchiha Ran's pupils shrank suddenly, and the corners of his mouth grinned unconsciously. If this Different Firefighting Emperor world is really what he guessed, then it is really a big prize. Advertisement. It is not to say how strong the world of Different Firefighting Emperor is. In his impression, the warriors of that world only nourish the bones and strengthen the body in the initial stage. Afterwards, you can look inside and gather chi into a gas sign. The Do Chi can do the Do Chi gauze and gather the gas into the liquid state. Fighting Chi armor. Fighting Chi is released, and it is solidified by gas accumulation. Do Chi condensate, solid, shaped like a sea urchin. Reikage armor can do it. Naruto Chara gauze can do it. Duong powerhouses can turn Do Chi into wings and mobilize a small amount of energy in the outside space. Hoshinan Village Hoshinan can also do it. Doong powerhouses can mobilize a large amount of energy of the same attribute from the outside world, and high-level existences can stay in the void for a short time without resorting to external forces. Dozong Strong can stay in the void without external force, high-level can create spacelock. Dozun can destroy Dozong at will, he can master and use the power of space. The Holy Realm, which can also be called a saint, can uncontrollably mobilize the energy of heaven and earth for attack and defense, and can cause landslides and ground cracks, and space to shatter. Opening up a space for people to live in from the void space is the symbol of a strong fighting saint. The symbol of the 6-star Dushang is a space shift. The titles of Emperor, Zong and Zun sound like you want, but the combat power is not very strong. The ninjas in the ninja world belong to the kind with a huge gap between high-end combat power and mid-end combat power. Cage level and super cage level, ranging from Do Ling to Do Huang. Quasi 6 paths, at least Do Zong combat power. The 6 paths level is the Do Zun level. Beyond 6 paths, if you have the space to start the ball, you will be able to properly fight the Saint level police. Do Di can kill Kagaya in seconds. In the final analysis, Do Chi, like Chara, belongs to the second-class ability of natural energy. In the catastrophe world above the different fire continent, the next thing to cultivate is spiritual power. P.S. The power comparison is not a small author's nonsense. The power of Xiao Huahua's world is actually not strong. Compared with a certain Dong Sanbui, who is to be hanged and beaten, of course, he is stronger than a certain 3 Duluo. In addition, the different fire continent in this book is a 3D cartoon version, everyone knows it. The middle plane world of different fire continent cannot make Uchiha Ran very excited. What really interested him was the rough world above the different fire continent. Although the catastrophe world is placed at the bottom of the big world, at least it has immortals. Since advertisement, there is also a list of the last hook that can now be engraved with the townspeople, which is definitely a strange thing. This is the power beyond the upper limit of the ninja world. Why don't you go take a look now? Uchiha Ran thought impatiently. Do it when you think of it, it's alright to look at it, right? The art of wooden golem. Uchiha Ran just looked at one side, and his body was divided into 2 parts. After doing all this, he looked at the honorary gold list. Gold list announcement. The release of Summoning Beast list is over, and it will be refreshed every other month. After the refresh, 30 people on the list of Nuo Jiao will be announced and rewarded. Gold list announcement. The next list is the weapon list, and the ranking will be released in 7 days. Only the top 30 will be admitted. The specific information will be announced as of the golden list. No owner is not on the list. Gold list announcement. While waiting for the list, the chat area will continue to be opened, and the speaking rules will remain unchanged. Gold list announcement. While waiting for the list, those on the list can start live broadcasts for 1 hour a day, and the anchor has the right to propose restrictions on those who enter the live broadcast room. Quote. Looking forward to seeing you in 7 days. 1. The weapon list. Uchiha Ran Lu Bao smiled with satisfaction. You are sitting here. If there is something that cannot be solved before I greet you and requires the ontology face, go through the world gate, and then contact the clone state. You go back to the Hokage office building and discuss with Nara Shikahisa and the others about the Ninkabo. Uchiha Ran assigned tasks to the 2 clone policemen, and then stepped into the world gate. Next moment, the surrounding environment changes the lungs. There is a bamboo forest that comes into view, and there is a lake not far from the bamboo forest. Okay. Feeling some kind of scorching heat, Uchiha Ran instinctively turned to look the other way. Immediately following, his pupils shrank. So coincidental? Queen Medusa. Chapter 144 Qinglian Earth Heartfire. Queen Medusa, please take a bite. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement in a bamboo forest. Uchiha Ran stood at the end of a path leading to a secluded axis, feeling the quiet atmosphere around him and a rare inner peace. But soon, his eyes were attracted by the strange heat on one side. Into the eye is a central island. The island is not big, and you can see the whole picture at a glance. The central position of the island is a circular open area. The surrounding bamboos have been cleaned up neatly. At the very center is a pond made of jade. The pond is filled with crystal clear water. It seems to be a fountain of water. Above the surface of the spring water, white mist lingers. Even at a distance and looking at it with his eyes, Uchiha Ran could still feel the extreme cold temperature contained in the water of this pond. But even so, what he feels now is the heat, and the culprit that caused all this was the blue flame that was located in the most central position of the spring, standing on a special lotus seed forged from some unknown crystal. This flame burns on its own without fuel, and it is quite spiritual, and will transform into a hook shape when it churns. Sometimes it condenses into the shape of a lotus flower, and sometimes it condenses into a long cyan flame snake, which floats in the lotus seed and moves smartly. And that crystal lotus pedestal is really not a mortal thing. Whenever the azure flame is like a natural elf stepping on the rhythm of the lotus pedestal, a layer of white will appear and cover it. The flame and the light collided, and the final result was that the flame was defeated. But at the same time, the spring water that releases cold things under the lotus pedestal will also decrease a little. Since the impact of the flame is not severe, this reduction is also not significant. That is to say, Uchiha Ran has strong pupil power, and Ji Ning can keenly capture this change. Obviously, the unknown crystal rosette used the power of the ice spirit cold spring to put the cyan flame in it. This scene gave Zhang Mu a very familiar feeling. And if he saw this scene, he couldn't be too sure what 973 was, but when his eyes turned to the figure in front of the lotus throne, he made his guess with 100% certainty. First of all, it is a face that is so beautiful and indescribable that it can be engraved into the depths of the soul by looking at it once. Just this face, I can't find it in the entire ninja world. Even Otsutsuki Kagaya, compared to it, has a gap. And the master with such a beauty, wearing a set of luxurious and extravagant purple field robes, perfectly wraps the graceful and hot, plump and exquisite body, but it can't hide that charm. The most attractive thing about this woman is 2 things. The first is the lavender eyes with narrow eyebrows that seem to be able to seduce people's souls. Rao was Uchiha Ran, who was also lost for a moment at the moment. The second is the purple snake tail on the woman's back, shaking gently, revealing laziness. In Uchiha Ran's view, it is full of wildness and unique style. The ice spring that releases the cold air has a unique crystal lotus platform above the ice spring. On the lotus platform, there is a blue flame that can be transformed into a green lotus and a fire snake. On the opposite side of the flame is a beautiful snake man with a purple snake tail. If Uchiha Ran didn't know what it meant, he would have read so many novels in vain. Qinglian Earth Heartfire, 33 Advertisement, Cold Fountain. Queen Medusa. A smile appeared at the corner of Uchiha Ran's mouth. With his current strength, if he releases his senses at will, he can know the situation of Medusa like the back of the back. The police can see that this beautiful snake looks good from the outside, but in fact, the fighting chi in the body is very disordered, and there are serious injuries, and there is a blue flame entrenched in the dantian of the abdomen. Obviously, she has just retrieved the Qinglian Earth Heartfire from somewhere in the Tager Desert, and then sealed it in this pool full of icy cold springs. If nothing else happens, she will need half a year to recover from her injuries, and then try to swallow the strange fire, stimulate the evolution of her bloodline with the principle of mutual generation and mutual restraint. Idea. So as to break through to the realm of Dozong. Based on this inference, it would be at least half a year before the Yuo duty anti-inflammatory drug arrived in the Great Desert. Uchiha Ran pinched his eyebrows and recalled. If I remember correctly, the anti-inflammatories left the Warcraft Mountains after advancing to the rank of Doshi, and first went to the second grade alchemist qualification, and then went to the Tager Desert. The residual picture of the Lotus Demon Fire, and then the brothers meet the green scales, explore the strange fire, and get the lotus seeds of the green lotus earth core fire. Through on-site analysis, Yao Lao determined that the different fire was taken away by Queen Medusa for about half a year, so the anti-inflammatory drugs entered the depths of the desert. This time the news is right again, then go back in time. Now the anti-inflammatory medicine is still practiced in the mountain of Warcraft. I remember that he practiced in the mountains for a total of 1 year. First he met the little medical fairy, and then he went to the cave to explore the treasures of Ziyuni and Jingli and Yahuo. Then he spent more than 2 months cultivating the flame-splitting wave ruler, and at the same time, he was promoted to the fighter. 6 stars. After that, killed a wolf-head mercenary barman and advanced to 7 stars. After entering the Warcraft Mountains for more than 8 months, he met Yun Yun, won the purple, and was promoted to 9 stars. In the end, the Jade Slip was a small medical fairy, a mercenary who killed the wolf-head, and then flashed and practiced for 2 months somewhere unknown. In other words, the anti-inflammatories are either still cultivating the flame-splitting ruler, or they have just started playing the trick of chasing me and fleeing with the wolf-headed mercenary. An interesting point in time. Uchiha Ran had better smile. Human, what are you laughing at? Suddenly, a cold hockey's voice of Yuji filled with murderous intent came. Uchiha Ran turned his eyes slightly and met Queen Medusa's gaze. I'm laughing, it won't be long before I see a fellow. Medusa frowned slightly, feeling that Uchiha Ran did not understand. Queen of the dignified snake people, why didn't you act immediately when she saw me as a human? Uchiha Ran asked with great interest. The strong human beings, this emperor is not stupid and does not want to bring the danger of destruction to the ethnic group. Medusa looked at Uchiha Ran coldly and arrogantly. The island where this central island is located in the core area of the snake people. It can be said that it is the back garden of her queen, surrounded by countless snake people guarding it. Except for the snake guards, the lake near the island is full of snake venom. If you are not a powerhouse above Duong who can fly, you can't get close to this place at all, let alone get in here. But now, Uchiha Ran's grand rhyme is here, and she doesn't notice anything unusual. Advertisement. She felt it for a while and found that Uchiha Ran had no vindictive fluctuations at all, which indicated that he was either a person without strength, or his strength far surpassed himself. After asking the previous information, you can come to a conclusion. Uchiha Ran is stronger than her, at least a Dozong. What will be the forces behind such a young Dozong? Although the snake people have been swallowed in the Great Desert, as an empress, she also has an understanding of the situation on the different fire continent. In the Jiama Empire, the Dowang is like a smallpox map, and it is no more than a larger ant in the entire northwest. Provoking such an existence, destroying the snake human race is easy. Therefore, she became murderous the moment she saw Uchiha Ran, but she didn't even dare to move. She's a smart woman. Uchiha Ran stepped over the hook in one step, and in front of Medusa, he pinched her chin provocatively. Medusa's pupils shrank. Space means, and so skilled, must be above Dozong. I'm a snake woman. Medusa said stubbornly. She is not a human being, she is a snake man, and she is still the queen of the snake man family. I like how stubborn you are. Uchiha Ran approached and looked at Mina's face, only to feel the evil fire rising from his abdomen. This woman is really full of alluring elements that attract men. The closer you feel, the greater the effect. Speaking of which, Medusa's natural charm to attract the opposite sex is like an enlarged version of the mobile giant spring medicine. But with her current strength, she can only control the successor. Snapped. Uchiha Ran raised his left hand and grabbed a purple tail in his hand. Sure enough, charm and attack. The queen whose strength has been crushed can only use this small trick. You don't seem to be that smart anymore, Uchiha Ran said playfully. Medusa glared at Uchiha Ran with a cold face, unyielding, as if to show her unyielding will in this way. If it weren't for the consideration of the snake people outside, she would have ignored the shot, even if the jade and stone were burned. Growing up, she had never been so humiliated. What do you want to do? The anger was suppressed in Medusa's voice. Uchiha Ran finds it interesting. Such a queen used to have a style. Originally, I came to explore the way and make sure of things. Advertisement staring at Medusa's eyes, Uchiha Ran pondered for a moment. But after meeting you, I have another purpose. 99. Be my woman, Medusa. Huh? Medusa was stunned for a moment, but she was not surprised. Addicted to her man, she has seen too many and has long been used to it. As long as she releases her charm, those men are willing to do anything for her to express themselves. However, they were pitifully unable to touch even a finger of their own. Just a clown played by desire, it is normal for any opposite sex to show hook interest and possessiveness to him. Of course, the strong can resist her charm, but they have little interest in her. You don't care about this? Medusa dried her purple tail, her eyes playful and sarcastic. Snake people and snake women are very expensive in human society, and some noble special police like to play with them. But also just playing around. Humans pay themselves to be superior to others and only use snake people as playthings. And humans like snake people because snake people are born with the power of charm and can refresh their minds, super powerful way J. But how can normal people like snaketails? The stronger you are, the less likely you are. I don't care, I'm not interested. Uchiha Ran said that he is not a pervert. Medusa's eyes changed again, and she couldn't try to be provocative. If you are not interested in me, I will rest assured and stab you by the way. But before she could speak, Uchiha Ran continued. But you Medusa is different from ordinary snake people. You can change shape when you are promoted to Dozong, and then you can. How do you know the secrets of my Medusa lineage? Medusa's purple eyes shook. Medusa's bloodline can transform into shape when promoted to Dozong, but that is a secret that even the elders do not know, and is sealed in the memory of Medusa's bloodline. If you don't pass on it frequently, you don't want Medusa to be missed by the strong human beings. But the person in front of him actually knew. Uchiha Ran obviously didn't mean to solve Medusa's confusion, smiled and looked at Qinglian's heartfire. You want to transform with the power of strange fire, why don't you start now? Don't you notice the injury in your body? Medusa's expression changed. The promotion of different fires is a life-threatening situation. Even if I prepare the cold spring in advance, the success rate will also increase to 2 layers, and it has to be my heyday. Period try .99. In my current state, there are 10 dead and no life. I know everything you said. Uchiha Ran put a finger in Medusa's mouth and said indifferently, you will know after a bite. Medusa. This person is absolutely abnormal. Chapter 145 Han Medusa doesn't understand the happiness of my sister-in-law, double the amount delivered to the door. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, are you kidding me? Medusa shook her purple tail, her purple eyes twinkling. The man in front of him is definitely not a fool cannot become a strong man above Duzong. Taking a bite, she remembered listening to Yu Mei and the others mention it when they were chatting, it was a hint of human beings. Bite the words and read them separately. It turns out that the man in front of him is good at this mouth, want to make himself surrender in this way? Really bad people, what are you thinking about? Noticing the change in Medusa's eyes, Uchiha Ran understood her thoughts and was speechless for a while. This is a big misunderstanding. Oneself is a man Kunzi. Uzumaki clan, physical fitness healing ability, understand? Bite. Otherwise I'll kill you, Uchiha Ran said in a threatening tone. He has to prove himself. Medusa suddenly felt humiliated. She is a dignified queen of the snake race, and licking her toes is a gift to humans, because it is useless, squinting and laughing, and now she is threatened by a man like this. I want to work hard. But thinking of the queen's responsibilities, thinking of her sister in order to protect herself from inheriting the queen's king, eventually led to her own entrustment before falling asleep. She cannot be willful. Damn, it's human, this emperor remembers you. Medusa glared fiercely, then closed her eyes. Uchiha Ran. Pi. Uchiha Ran stretched out a finger and flicked Medusa's bright and beautiful forehead, speechless. What are you doing? 3. Kind of exciting. It turns out that lilac uvula is not an adjective but a noun. Damn it, what do you mean? Medusa covered her forehead with her hand and looked at Uchiha Ran with resentment. This man. Once, again and again, she is touching her bottom line. Once, in making her succumb. She Medusa had lived so long and had never suffered so much humiliation. Well, looking at the face of the clan and the sustenance of the younger sister, this king has endured. Isn't it just finger-sucking? But now, this man has an expression like he did something wrong and blames himself. Can't stand it, so you are actually a naive person, and Gao Lengyu just can't pretend. Uchiha Ran complained speechlessly. I don't know if it's a world change, or if Medusa is speechless, it's not as light as usual. Forget it, I originally wanted you to be the first person to experience my physical healing power, but you are doing something to make me laugh, so let's do it another way. Uchiha Ran retracted his fingers, and Mangekyo opened his reincarnation eye. Medusa's expression froze at the pair of miraculous studies. From these eyes, she felt great terror, cure. Uchiha Ran stretched out his fingers and touched Medusa's eyebrows. The next moment, white light rose up and converged on Medusa's body. This is Medusa's beautiful eyes vibrated, and she could feel that the injuries in her body were being repaired at an exaggerated speed, with complete sequelae. This is too exaggerated. If she were to treat this injury by herself, she would need to rest in the secret place of the snake people for half a year, and she would also use the holy medicine for healing within the tribe, as well as the medicinal pills stored at a great cost. There is no room for sloppiness. Only in her heyday, she will be able to break through a little more. Okay. The whole process takes less than half a minute. Uchiha Ran withdrew his hand after Medusa's emotions changed from being stunned, confused, surprised, shocked, extremely surprised, terrified with awe and so on. Who are you? This time, Medusa asked the SWAT seriously and didn't bring any extra emotions. Treating one's own injuries at will, the effect is simply better than some 6th grade medicinal herbs, even a Duzon level physician can't do it. So the person in front of him is actually Dozun? Or, stronger? Advertisement in front of such powerhouses, the snake people claim that moth ants are all arrogance. With the future relationship between us, you can call me Ran, this is my name. I am not of this world. 97 dying and opening. An alien? You are Do-D. Medusa's voice was shaking, but she couldn't control it. Snake people are now only swallowed in the desert near Zaubian sleeping dynasty in Northwest State, but they once had a glorious history. The special police are the Medusa lineage that they inherited as queens, and they once rhymed with saints. Therefore, some ancient events are also recorded. There has been a Do-D in the different fire continent that has never been seen for several years. There are records in the file, and it is suspected that he has gone to another world. Authenticity. A Do Huang comparable to Do Zong would not dare to imagine her. But now, I remembered. I'm still a little far from Do-D. Rand thought about it and said, there are dozens of Earths in the different fire continent, and the future battle of the two emperors will sweep across the largest central province in this continent. At least it will cover the entire Earth. The special policeman is the Dharma body of the Emperor Do, and the supreme Dharma body that can be condensed by the world's supreme seam in a big pot has the same goal, and its power is very powerful. Emperor Do can easily destroy the peak of Do Sheng in the Emperor realm, and under the supreme being, there is also a saying that they are all ants in the rough world. Are not comparable to each other. If he uses Susano, he can achieve a similar effect, just like Groudon uses supergiant transformation, but before the real Dao method, this is just a slap in the face. Therefore, his current strength is estimated to be between the peak of Do Sheng and Do-D. Fighting Emperor is a bit overhanging, but he has many abilities. Fighting Saints are very easy, use their power to overwhelm people, and do it casually. Of course, the real situation still has to be fought with Do Sheng to find out. A little. Gap. Medusa didn't know what to say anymore. Do you know what Do-D is? That is a supreme powerhouse whose eyes can erase several countries. You are just a little bit of a gap. Wouldn't it be better to just say that he is the strongest in the mainland? I'm afraid it's not some old monster with skills. What's your look? Uchiha Ran raised his eyebrows. Look at the eyes of your human BT, Medusa said bluntly. For some reason, after knowing Uchiha's true strength, he thought of him asking for him. She was not unhappy at all, and even a little bit of joy. In the snake people's body, the factor of surrendering to the beast, making her feel that it is a joy to be valued by the Dai. Although she doesn't want to be anyone's attachment, she wants to be self-improving. But this did not prevent her from being happy when she was valued by the strong. Because of this, she became more courageous. No matter how strong you are, aren't you still interested in this queen? HMPH, when I transform into shape, I must let you be called her Lady Queen. If Ran knew Medusa's thoughts, she would definitely firm up her judgment. This woman is really stupid. That kind of looks very arrogant, very royal, very strong woman. But if you take her down, you'll be madly in love. What do you mean by saying IBT? Uchiha Ran's eyes twitched. You are so strong, you are definitely the senior of the predecessors, but you are interested in this emperor. Whoa, little snake woman, am I wrong? 33. Medusa. Beauty long hair. Uchiha Ran said speechlessly. You have to say that, I do have some problems. Right. Medusa, how old are you? 99, 60 years of survival, but 30 years of growth in the secret method, and then 10 years of breakthrough to Dowang, according to your human algorithm, 30 years old. Medusa answered calmly, not absolutely, her age is a secret. Not 300 years old? Ran silently crossed out the word anime in my heart. Then he said, then my BT is not too much, are you around 100 years old? No, I follow 16. 9, it turned out to be 16, 16? Medusa looked at the die with the look on her face that you took the emperor for a fool. I'm not from your world. Different worlds have different rules and speed of strengthening. In some places, moth ants can also live 10,000 years, and in some worlds, the powerful beings that destroy the continent with a single thought also live 10,000 years. The specific situation, you can see for yourself. Rand smiled lightly, and her fingers were a little bit between Medusa's eyebrows. Advertisement memory transfer. The next moment, Ninja World information transmission. There is a part about dying his own growth experience, but it is more about the content of the 4 battles in the original trajectory. Battle of 5 Shadows Uchiha Madara. Battle of Uchiha Madara and Hashirama. The coalition forces battle the brown rice giant 10 Tails. The ultimate fairy fox Naruto versus Sharingan Sasuke in the 6 Paths reincarnation. It's called a war of annihilation. Dozong, who was barely able to establish a sect, did not have such combat power. And Uchiha Ran is now above the 6 pads level. It turns out that the other world in your mouth means this. Gold medal reward, the gate of the world. Could it be that this is the Emperor's chance? After digesting all the information, Medusa's eyes flashed with brilliance. She believes that she has no problem dealing with some cage-level powerhouses, but in the face of existences like Uchiha Madara, she has no resistance. And Dai, it seems that will soon become the Zeon of that world. Bastard, it turns out that this Emperor is passively fed by old cows? Medusa looked at Ran in dissatisfaction. I don't understand this woman, is it a difference in species thinking? Okay, you can start changing shape now. Ran retracted her fingers and said with a smile, after you change shape, you are my woman, understand? On the word woman, she deliberately accentuated her voice. Really arrogant. Medusa's purple eyes flashed with brilliance. When the Emperor successfully transforms into shape, the failure rate is 80%. Medusa changed the subject. It is not so easy to convince her. Dyeing his brows slightly, did this woman find herself thinking about her and want to play push and pull? With me, you can't fail. Ran raised his finger again, a little bit at the position of Medusa's collarbone. The appearance of natural energy attracts Do Chi to transform into a gas signal, madly pouring into Medusa's body, and in the blink of an eye, it becomes a mark of the word Dai, which is stored in it. This is a seal. I store natural energy of higher quality than Do Chi in it. You can absorb it when you need to improve your strength. At the same time, I also store the power of Yang, which can repair your injuries. Right, there is also a space imprint, so that I can find you at any time and move to your side. 9. With higher quality energies and healing powers, your transformation cannot fail. Dyed plain explanation. Medusa's chest heaved and she felt very angry. In order to break through Dozong, this Emperor went around to get in touch with the nemesis Strange Fire, and he was risking the danger of death. As a result, you tell me now, it's all done with one finger. 0 katakana middle dot 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 0. The gap between rich and poor is also too great. Call. Medusa decided to calm down, slammed her tail and left in one direction. Seeing this, Ran frowned. Aren't you going to change shape immediately? You just can't wait, Medusa said slightly angrily. He clearly hated this human before, but now, she doesn't want this person just interested in her body. Damn, it's the best. I think it doesn't take much time to change shape, and it's not good to break through Dozong. Ran shrugged. Forgive the body, it must be forgiven. But he didn't eat less meat in the ninja world, so he wouldn't be impatient. Even with your help, it will take 3 days to break through. Medusa turned her head and said in a cold voice, this Emperor has been away from the tribe for a long time after discovering the different fire, and he has not left any news. This time he is preparing to break through, and naturally he has to explain some things. And when this Emperor breaks through, it may cause a chain reaction on the younger sister, which is a bit confusing for some old friends, so they have to arrange it in advance. Hearing this, Ran raised his eyebrows. Is there your sister? What do you want to do? Medusa's eyes became wary. There is a feeling of anti-color batch. Ran felt that this woman had a big misunderstanding of herself. Well, see through the essence. What's your sister's name? Ran asked. We're all called Medusa, Medusa said solemnly. Medusa's line has always been in the same line and will always be king. Advertisement. In your case, you should know that when my vein was conceived, there was a third-class secret technique, and it was necessary to take a third-class medicinal pill. This Emperor's mother took a low-level secret method, and it was put together by the alchemist, which caused this Emperor and his younger sister Yunxian to be twin queens. 99. There are pros and cons to this. The disadvantage is that the talent of the Emperor and the younger sister has declined, the progress of strength has decreased, and the required resources have increased. The advantage is that when the Emperor and his sister practice together, the speed becomes faster. 99. And there is a secret method in the clan. One of the Emperor and his sister can make sacrifices to fulfill the other. 33. The elders of the clan want to use this method to obtain a stronger queen. When the strength reached the level of fighting king, the younger sister with stronger talent took the initiative to sacrifice to the Emperor. Fortunately, this Emperor interrupted in the middle of the ceremony, and sealed my sister in a secret place and continued to hold her life. Fortunately, this Emperor had the Do Huang cultivation base at that time, and those elders were not good to tear me apart. Broken face, so no more forced. 33. But this Emperor knows that they have recently started to re-sacrifice and continue. Fortunately, this Emperor used the opportunity of bloodline changes to break through Dozong. This Emperor also decided to use the power of different fire to break through. Fortunately, I met you. Medusa's eyes became very complicated. A small part is because of those elders who want to continue to promote sacrifices for the sake of the ethnic group even if they know that they may be buried with them. Love and hate half and half, but more because of dying. Ran allowed her to break through Dozong 100%, and indirectly saved her sister, and indirectly saved those elders. This is a great favor for the snake people, but thinking that he is about to become his woman is not enough to repay her gratitude. When the younger sister leads the snake people, she will be a woman. Humph. There is a sister who praised it. Ran silently ticked the 3D animation in his heart. In this world, anti-inflammatory drugs are always good for childhood sweethearts. Yun Yun or something, he still has to be responsible. You brought your sister. Ran smiled and said, it's not enough for you to have me? Medusa asked through gritted teeth. Die. Are you jealous? It's ridiculous, how could this emperor have such emotions? 99. You're just jealous, I'm here for my sister. For your sister's sake, it's not better to follow the strong man like me. This emperor is too lazy to care about you. Cough, you bring your sister first, and I'll help treat her injury. Wouldn't it be better for you to break through together? 66. The emperor reluctantly agreed. Die. Do you dare to refuse? A quarter of an hour later. Medusa is holding a woman who is 8 points similar to her. The two policemen in the two divisions are in the temperament of the royal sister and the soft sister, and it is obvious that the woman with the snake's tail appears in her sleep. Treat people easily. My sister Medusa woke up slowly. But when she saw Ran and concern looking at her sister Medusa, she was stunned for a moment and said strangely, Sister, you don't smell right, you are actually looking for a man? Sister Medusa. Die. This Han is a direct relative. You explain yourself. Ran shrugged at Medusa. Next is the half-hour education time of the elder sister to the younger sister. Half an hour later, my elder sister brought her younger sister over and said, give my younger sister a seal. Thank you, brother-in-law. The younger sister thanked her gently, without the aggressiveness of a snake man at all. Ran Yi glanced at his elder sister Medusa, who blushed but did not explain. Ah. 9 Dai sneered in his heart. Do you think a firm relationship can keep your sister away from me, or limit me? Please understand the love between sister-in-law and brother-in-law. Double the happiness delivered to your door? Do you think the author is a headline party? What are you thinking? Come on, auntie, dyed hands. Medusa. Medium, chapter 146 extremely charming. This night, 5th generation went crazy in the village, killing. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, get your dirty hands off. How do you talk? I'm under the seal. I don't believe you have to touch the seam to get a seal. 9. Why didn't you tell me when I just gave you the seal? 22. Presumptuous, this emperor is always afraid of your strength. Presumptuous. Why are you stronger than me now? You humans have a saying that women are inherently weak, and mothers are strong, and this emperor is now for his younger sister. Aren't you afraid of angering me? I killed you and your sister together? How can I make people surrender to killing whales? It makes sense, but I want to punish you, and you dare to hold the queen's style in front of me. 19. Clap, clap, clap. After a period of pleasant bickering, there was a pleasant incident of violence. The younger sister Medusa looked at all this in a stunned manner. Is this still the strong sister in my impression? I have been sleeping for a long time, and something has happened. You're going to let the emperor, me, my sister is still watching. Sister Medusa looked at the Dai with tears in her eyes. Dyeing his belly hot, he hurriedly glanced at the purple snaketail to cool down. This damn charm is really strong, fortunately, he is stronger. When Sharingan opens, no one loves it. Don't be presumptuous in front of me in the future, understand? Ran said in a tough tone. As soon as her sister Medusa broke free from his embrace, she looked at him coldly. She had never been so humiliated. Just wait, we must find a place in the future. You will not always be stronger. Sister, brother-in-law, are you guys mentioned in the human words? Flirting? Sister Medusa asked with blinking eyes. Who would do such a thing with a mere human? Sister Medusa tilted her head. The younger sister Medusa nodded, but secretly blinked towards Ran. Stonehammer Pro, a black belly. Ran smiled, and his face suddenly turned positive. 973, has always inherited the name of Medusa, and I feel very boring. Now you are two people, I think you should have your own name. How about I give you a name for the police officer? It sounds like an inquiry, but it always reveals an unquestionable taste. Sister Medusa instinctively wanted to refute. But my sister quickly grabbed her and smiled. Brother-in-law will be the closest person to us in the future, so I'll leave this matter to you. You're much more well-behaved than your sister, Ran Goyen praised. Sister Ying smiled. My sister was very reluctant, her nose twitched, but she didn't speak. If you can't beat you, you can't scold you, even if you scold you, you may be beaten. Tolerate. Ran's eyes swept across the two women, and finally stopped on the tail for a moment, and said, your bodies are all purple, which can represent you very well. How about a traditional Chinese character? The younger sister's eyes lit up and clapped her hands. That's good. I look normal, not like a literati. My sister's eyes softened a bit, but her words were still hard. The sister covered her mouth and chuckled. Dai shook his head helplessly. Isn't that forcing her to put a cup? After a dream, the towers are locked, and the curtains are low when you wake up. Last year, when the spring hatred came, the fallen flowers were independent, and the swift and the swallows flew. 66. I remember when Xiao Ping first met, the double-heart character Luo Yi, and the Pippa string said that the lovesickness was at that time, the bright moon was there, and the colorful clouds returned. Lu Lian plays with butterflies and dances from time to time, and the free-spirited orioles sing justly. There are trees in the mountains, and there are branches in the trees. My heart is happy. Kun Shi. Kun doesn't know. 59. As soon as the golden wind and jade do meet, they will surpass the world but countless. It seems familiar. Yan returns. He picked up a poem at random, and Ran stared at her sister and said, you shouldn't understand this poem. Let me tell you bluntly, it's love at first sight. Love at first sight? My sister only felt a burst of dryness and heat in her body, and the icy cold spring next to her could not save her. Is Qinglian Earth Heart Fire getting stronger again? Certainly so. In this poem, take one word each. The elder sister is Kai, the younger sister is Butterfly. How? Purple butterfly? Advertisement butterfly? The younger sister was very surprised and said happily, "Thank you, brother-in-law." 99. Smile, it's very beautiful, my sister didn't show up. Dai turned her head to look, and found that her sister was dazed. Kair, don't you like the name I got? Ranyan's voice asked playfully. The purple color turned red, and then tilted his head. It sounds awful, if it wasn't for your strength, I wouldn't be able to resist, I don't want this name. 22. Kair, you are a little cute with a tough mouth. Damn, the word cute is actually applied to me. 22. Yeah, call yourself me when you're in a good mood, and call yourself the emperor when you're in a bad mood, it's easy to understand. Shut up, shut up. Kai couldn't stop at all, and attacked Ran directly. But in the end, the whole person fell into her arms. Although I can't eat you now, but that doesn't mean nothing can be done. Uchiha Ran bowed his head. Katie quickly reached out and covered her eyes. But the seam between the fingers, the hook sold her. Are your sister and brother-in-law so dark? If Kai Dai knew that the two had known each other for less than an hour, she would think the world would go crazy. Damn it. Violet closed her eyes. She just accepts her fate and repays her gratitude. That's right. Is she forced? Quite a while. Die yourself. The beauty snake is too scary. Sharingan couldn't take it anymore. Open Eternal Mangekyo to calm down. Okay, your metamorphosis, let's improve your strength. 99. I have other things to do. Saying that, Uchiha Ran put his hands together. Mutong clone. The four bodies separated from his body and fell around the central island. Boundary, 4 black flame formations. The 4 wood-style bodies turned into 4 wooden figures, and then connected to each other to form a special enchantment. This barrier is absolutely unbreakable under Do Sheng, so feel free to break through it. After finishing speaking, Ran cast Wangshen Hirazaka and opened the tunnel to leave. Gives a sense of escape. HMPH, let you not give me face in front of your sister. Kai's mouth curled slightly, secretly proud. When she just followed the kiss, she deliberately spat out a drop of blood from the tip of her tongue, mixed with part of the charm that had accumulated in her body for many years and condensed it to pass. That effect can arouse boundless desire. No matter how strong you are, you have to be bad. Sister, you look so good when you smile. Zidi came to Zibei Kai and was surprised. She thought her sister was coming from an iceberg, but she didn't expect to laugh. It's really a pair of grievances with my brother-in-law. Humph. Kai wrinkled her nose, did not refute, but reiterated Kai Dai. Sister, not only will you recover from your injury, but you will be able to break through the level of an emperor right away, and elder sister, I can break through the sect, and then make some old guys look good. Sister, elders too. I know what you're going to say, otherwise I should have dealt with them after you fell asleep, it's just some punishment, it's necessary. Sister has the final say. Katie smiled. She has a docile personality, but that doesn't mean she has no temper. Okay, let's start. Kai looked at Dai's eyebrows. You remember that man stay away in the future, relying on his strength to do things arrogantly, he is not a good person. Zidi smiled and nodded, speechless in her heart. Relying on the strength of the chaos, sister, you should do less. As for staying away, Dai rubbed the underside of her neck and glanced at the word, Dai, in the same position on Kai's body. Advertisement, this man really did something wrong. Sister, all I can say is work hard. Dai walked aside and sat down cross-legged, not rushing to absorb the natural energy breakthrough in the seal, but quietly familiarizing herself with her body. Sleep too long, need to find feeling. At this time, Kai returned to her previous cold and arrogant appearance, and walked slowly to the ice spring, letting the outermost robe slip to the ground. The white jade-like arm is exposed to the air. As a younger sister, Dai couldn't help but be moved. That beautiful face had a bewitching look like a fairy. The neck is slender and fair, and the word, Dai, is engraved in it, which has a strange nobility. The icy cold spring mist rises. When the mist touched the purple color, it turned into a drop of blue water, slipped from the neck, and finally fell to the surface of the pool again, shocking it with a water pattern. Under the robes, there are naturally still clothes. But Kai's slender waist, and Pinton's lower abdomen without a trace of excess fat, made people unable to move their eyes away. Underneath this, the purple snake tail kept swinging, revealing a strange style. My sister is so beautiful, and I will be a cheap brother-in-law in the future. Purple butterfly turned into a sister-in-law for a short time. At this time, Dai's purple eyes seemed to be filled with a layer of water mist, and her eyes stared at the blue flame in the ice crystal lotus platform. If you practice according to the rules, even if I have touched the threshold of Dozong, the breakthrough is still far away. Fortunately, there is a way to go, albeit with a very low success rate. While speaking, Jisho Ziyu's hand slid over the snake's tail, and finally placed it in front of the strange fire, feeling the temperature that made his body tremble. It's even luckier to meet this stinky man. He touched the word, Dai, on his chest. Purple-colored bloom hook with stunning smile. She tore off the purple ribbon tied with blue silk and let the black hair fall down to the waist of the willow. Gently use the head, pinch the orchid finger with purple color, and then make a print. As her jade hands are constantly changing, the strange handprints drive the vindictive energy of heaven and earth. The next moment, a burst of energy flowed from her body and rhymed. A dazzling light enveloped her. The light keeps getting brighter. Change. The cold body sounded in the enchantment. A purple figure burst into the air. A purple giant python of more than 10 feet coiled up in midair. The purple python exudes strength and a strangely elegant beauty. In the lavender pupils that match her skin tone, she is full of serenity. Accompanied by a strange low-pitched cry, the purple giant python fell like a thunder and rushed straight into the blue flames on the lotus pedestal. Boom! At the moment when the purple python entered the strange fire, the flames boiled as if they were supplemented by fuel. Dai's eyes suddenly became worried. After she saw that the purple python was flying wildly over the strange fire, it showed that the scales reflecting the rhythm began to fall off, twist, and the flesh inside was exposed. If this goes on, my sister will suffer endless pain. That is to say, she saw the hook on her sister's neck white-green light, which spread all over her body instantly, and began to repair the position of the dropped scales. The scales have been repaired before the strange fire has damaged the root of Zikai. There is a strange balance between the three. The aura on Zikai's body clearly started to become stronger. It's the power of my brother-in-law. My sister can lie down and break through. Dai put down the heart completely and then began to realize it. Before her elder sister breaks through Do Zong, she must first break through Do Huang. At the same time, being gratefully guided by the two women of Katie, he crossed space and returned to the front of the world gate, stepping in one step at a time. Originally, he planned to stroll around this different fire continent and do something. In the ninja world, there's Wood Clone to pass the news, not afraid of any changes. But now he has changed his mind. The increasingly strong flames in his abdomen made him recall the scene of the kiss just sewed and realized something. Zikai. This is what you asked for. Wait for you to change shape and see how I deal with you. 33. How dare you put me together? That's countless times more potent than ordinary spring medicine. Make him have to recruit someone for treatment. Is the discussion over already? As soon as he arrived in the ninja world, Uchiha Ran linked his clone for the first time. Advertisement: this is his own method, borrowing from Nagato's method of controlling 6 paths Pain's body. Avatar is a tool person and can only be a tool person. Independent consciousness does not exist, and no better than a human shadow clone. Ishin has a few uses, but basic operations. The clone memory told him that the Konoha high-level meeting was over, and the next step would be to make a hook layout for the weapons in the ninja world. That's good. Ran cast Fei Lei Shenji and came to the land of the Shuhuisho clan to find Shizune. I came here because Shizune and Tsunade were soaking in the hot springs. Tsunade, lend me Shizune. I have some problems and need her medical ninjutsu. A casual explanation, without giving Tsunade time to react, Uchiha Ran left with Shizune. 3 question marks appeared on Tsunade's head. When she realized what happened, her first reaction was not anger, but shyness. She buried half of her head in the hot spring with great difficulty. Ran-kun, this guy, isn't my medical ninjutsu better than Shizune? Tsunade was indignant. An hour later, she put on her bathrobe and was ready to leave. The figure of Uchiha Ran suddenly appeared. Tsunade, Shizune's medical level is not enough, come on. Saying that, without giving Tsunade a chance to refuse, he directly pulled her away. When Tsunade saw Shizune again, she found that she had indeed passed out, and it was obvious that Shirella was overdoing it. Ran-kun, you are healthy, what's going on? Poisoned. Poison. Well, it's up to you to figure it out. 2 hours later. Rao as Tsunade now has the Wood style's top blood and skill physique, and it is also very difficult to detoxify the poison in Uchiha's body to 70%. 4.0. No way, I'm also fascinated. Tsunade followed Shizune to sleep. Since becoming a medical master, continuous treatment for several days and nights during World War II was not so difficult. You and Shizune Chin. 11 Uchiha Ran thoughtfully let the two sleep together, and then asked someone to extract the last toxin. Forget about Icarus, we still need to cultivate cognition. Feiju is also not good enough. Hinata just started studying medicine at Tsunade Ninjutsu, too young to be good. Then, well, Hong has always said that her specialization in genjutsu is weak, and I recently arranged for her to study medical ninjutsu. Maybe, Uchiha Ran murmured, a glint flashed in his eyes. In the dark, Yuzuki Yuyan, who is responsible for keeping Hokage safe, tightens her fists. When I take a break, I will also learn medical treatment ninjutsu, 99. In the enclosure. Dare to finish the bath, Yuhi Hong, who was wearing a nightgown, was painting her nails. Opposite her author Midori Anko, the two talked secretly around the room. Red, you said I'm actively pursuing 5th generation, is there a chance? Anko asked while holding the pillow. Hong Yuhi looked at Anko's evolved figure and appearance and said enviously, you have a great chance now. If only 5th generation was superficial. Anko still felt that things were shaky. Why don't you ask Orochimaru-sensei what medicines you want? Are you crazy? Well, to deal with extraordinary people, use extraordinary means. Orochimaru-sensei would definitely be happy to help. 93. I feel bad. 99. Let me give it a try, it's successful, you can also refer to not. This. Yuhi read do. This is, Uchiha Ran rhymes out of thin air, with a black line. Orochimaru. Drugs? Snake venom? I'll let you know the price of poisoning me now, 99? Red Yuhi. Anko. Chapter 147 Lord 5th Generation asked them to leave today. Looking for a date with Kagaya? Previous chapter next chapter advertisement the next day. Ninja World, Konoha Village. Uchiha ran finished breakfast under the warm service of Feiju and Icarus, and then went to the different fire continent for a lap. After confirming that the Katie sisters retreated smoothly, he returned to the Hokage office. As time passed, first Hokage, second Hokage, fourth Hokage were startled. Narashikage, Yamanaka Kaiichi and others arrived one after another, somewhat surprised to see Uchiha Ran who arrived at the office so early. This 5th generation project, but every corner is punched to work. Uchiha Ran didn't pay attention to these sights. After realizing that everyone was almost there, he said, "Anything else you want to add about the ninja list?" Last night, the Avatar presided over the meeting on his behalf. At the meeting, everyone made guesses about the list of weapons that can be on the list. First of all, it is the 7 swords that belong to the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Kagage. Since the blood fog policy, few of these 7 knives are left in the fog, so you can conspire. In this regard, Uchiha Ran said that the broken sword and the beheading sword are in the white hand, and it is also counted in the hand of Konoha. The big sword Zhao muscle is in the hands of Shao's organization Ghost Zhao, and now Shao has become the darkness of Hokage, absorbing some ninjas who originally belonged to the root, and also directly affiliated to him 5th Hokage Uchiha Ran. Therefore, it is also in their own hands. Long knife and needle, in the hands of the first user, Kuri Hao Kushimaru. This person is often partnered with Jinba who owns the explosive knife and the spray, and is called the Ruthless Duo, killed by Might Dai who opened the 8 inner gates formation in the ninja war. Using the technique of reincarnation, you can try to trace it. There are also blunt knives and ghosts, which originally belonged to Tungsao Yebaran, and double knives and fresh butterflies belong to Onimaru. They are also one of the first batch of 7 people of ninja knives in Wuyan village, and the first use of the 2 knives the person who is also killed by Might Dai who has opened the 8 inner gates formation can also operate O3 through the technique of reincarnation. Lei Dao Ya was in the hands of the first owner, the Black Hole Lei Ya, and now Lei Yi and Renmara are subordinate to Uchiha Ran, who can be regarded as Konoha's people. It is equivalent to saying that 3 of the 7 knives now belong to Konoha, and the other 4 can be tried to be reincarnated in rice soil to find. Konoha has great hope to obtain. Then there are the 5-6 paths ninja tools, the 7-star sword, the golden rope, the red gourd, the banana fan, and the amber bottle. Because they are weapons left by Sage of 6 Paths, the founder of Ninja Sect, they are called 6 Paths ninja tools. In fact, they are evolved from the branches of the divine tree. It is more appropriate to say that they are divine tree treasures. And these 5 kinds of ninja tools, except for the amber bottle, the other 4 fell into a certain sea area with the golden horns and silver horns that were killed by the rough hand Tobirama, and they had to find some means. The final conclusion is to reincarnate Orochimaru rice soil into golden horns and silver horns, and then obtain them through summoning. The amber bottle, originally in Cloud Shinobi village, was obtained by Uchiha Ran not long ago. In addition, the sword of Thor that Tobirama used to do. A special mask for the Vortex family to communicate with Shinigami. A flame fan made from the branches of the sacred tree, passed down from generation to generation by the Uchiha family. The chains of Uchiha Obito. Renmara's earrings from Dragon Ball World. These add up to half the weapon list, however, the premise is that you can get it all. And then, everyone has to split up to get things in their hands. Speaking of things, just go through a specific process. Of course, if it was a police officer, it would be time to go to the Iron Country to prepare for the 5 Shadows talks. But Uchiha Ran can fly Thunder God technique, one thought can pass, so take it slowly. But it's time to prepare, it's time to start. The sword of Thor has my mark on it, I will find it myself, and then I will also be on the list to feel it. Tobirama takes over the words. The opening remarks are very formal, but the conversation changed, and he suddenly said, 5th generation, I heard from the servants of the family that I suddenly disappeared like Shaogang when I was in the hot spring yesterday, and Shizune too, do you know about this? The clan of the difficult clan, but there is a barrier that he personally arranged and blessed by Hashirama. In the whole ninja world, there are only a few people who can go in and out without a sound. Namikaze Minato and others immediately saluted Uchiha Ran. Advertisement after the long police reunion, Madara and Hashirama, who were looking at each other with affection, also turned their heads one after another. Uchiha Obito also ended his defense against Kakashi who tried to talk to Rin Nohara. Orochimaru took the opportunity to ask Jiraiya to look at Uchiha Ran together. Cough. Uchiha Ran put down the teacup and said with a calm expression, I had some trouble last night and needed Tsunade and Shizune to help, medical ninjutsu. I just forgot to tell them to ask them to leave. Everyone's eyes suddenly became warm. SWAT notes medical ninjutsu. You're all grown-ups, don't you know what you've done? What medical ninjutsu, need to go to the hot spring to recruit people? Yes, yes. Uzumaki Mito, following Hashirama and Tobirama nodded in satisfaction. Uchiha Madara pouted softly. Hai Hinata and Yamanaka Ino are full of envy. Right, Anko and Hong also have something to do, so I also asked for leave by the way. Uchiha Ran smiled. Hiss. Suddenly there was a sound of gasping for air. Except for Sasuke's little innocence, Naruto realized something. This 5th generation is a bit strong. Vortex Kushina whispered to Namikaze Minato. Am I not strong? Namikaze Minato had a rare desire to win. Shang Nai immediately patted him. What are you talking about outside? Namikaze Minato was immediately stunned. Didn't you say it first? Fortunately, Na is very satisfied with your husband. After all, she is the Uzumaki clan, with amazing physical strength and amazing resilience. Although Minato is fast, he is not bad at endurance. However, everything is afraid of comparison. Tsunade, Yuhi Red, Anko, Shizune, but there are four. Today Tsunade's physique is much stronger than hers. I can't accept it. Jiraiya sighed. Orochimaru glanced at him and knew he was making a pun. Jiraiya. Also, if you have a chance to live forever in the future, please take your time, Orochimaru said hoarsely. Could it be that you were comforting me? Jiraiya was a little surprised. It's pathetic. I know that your dog can't spit ivory from its mouth. Ah. 9. Cut. A group of people reaffirmed the strength of 5th Hokage. The news spread, inadvertently, without Uchiha Ran's knowledge. Okay, everyone splits up and prepares to get weapons. I'll think about ways to get more powerful weapons. Uchiha Ran set the tone for the proceedings, but everyone was in no hurry to leave. Ran, should I be resurrected? Uchiha Madara couldn't wait to speak. He arrived at Konoha last night because he was embarrassed to trouble Uchiha Ran, and he has continued until now. Advertisement. Well, in fact, it was the difficult opponent Hashirama fought him for the first time, because they were all in a state of reincarnation, and everyone ended in a tie, and he has endured until now. But now it seems that I have to thank the idiot Hashirama, the smart hand. Otherwise, Uchiha Ran's good deeds are ruined. What if the beauty is resurrected? Me, and me. 33 Huisho Hashirama hurriedly danced a rhyme. Resurrection cannot be just Uchiha Madara, good to say. Now Uchiha Ran is completely unafraid of the strength of Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. What's more, the truth about infinite Tsukuyomi, the existence of the Otsutsuki clan, and the appearance of the Golden List have all made the careerists change their minds and won't do anything. Resurrect Madara first. Uchiha Ran smiled. Give it. Uchiha Madara gave Obito a wink. Kamui, a Uzumaki rhyme is now, San Shinobi is now in the office, his eyes are hazy. With Genjutsu's 100 feet in his body, even the Golden List can't speak normally. There's a lot of power in him, Uzumaki Mido said. Her perception skills may not be as good as Uchiha Ran and others, but her sensitivity to power is among the best. Familiar power. Namikaze Minato frowned. I really feel like I've seen it. Akamichi Dingza agreed. It's the power of the Lulan Dragon Vein. Uchiha Ran gave the answer. Dragon Veins? Namikaze Minato responded. After the 3 wars, Konoha received a commission from Lulan, saying that it was a riot of Dragon Veins. I was in charge of this mission, and when I arrived, Lulan was almost destroyed, so I had to seal the Dragon Veins. 9. Yes, it is this Dragon Vein. Uchiha Ran nodded. As Lord Madara solves Beizu in advance, and the latter does not travel through time and space, everything will naturally become different. It's time to correct itself. I just don't know if Otsutsuki Ura style can cross again in the future. Parallel world, are not strong enough to cross. Looks like every tailed beast, Jinchuriki, has to be careful. If Otsutsuki Ura style travels back and discovers that the Jinbang exists, he will definitely do something secretly. Uchiha Ran thought to himself. But on the surface, he opened the reincarnation Mangekyo with hundreds of eyes. Genjutsu covers Genjutsu, 5 senses dominate. The art of reincarnation. Beizu walked up to Uchiha Madara with his hands on his chest. A strange green light appeared. Then, everyone saw Uchiha Madara's body surface change. The texture disappears. Soon, flesh and blood were formed. At the same time, Uchiha Madara's reincarnation eye turned into a light spot 973 and disappeared. Sure enough, there won't be. Uchiha Madara is irritable but not unexpected. Obito. Advertisement. Uchiha Madara spoke. It's ready for you. Uchiha Obito pulls out a pair of 3 Tomo Sharingan. On the night of the genocide, he recovered a lot of this thing. For this sin, he needs atonement. The method and what can be seen, according to the rules of Uchiha Ran, by continuously obtaining merits, you can exchange for the places of resurrected people, and even learn to revive them simply by yourself. What, in the end, it was the pupil power that opened the reincarnation eye. After possessing the new Rinnegan, Uchiha Madara soon opened up again to the state of the eternal Mangekyo. I should be able to restore all the stats when the bloodlist is updated, Uchiha Madara said. But no one paid him any attention. No matter how strong you are not as strong as Uchiha Ran. It's up to me. Rough Hand Hashirama jumped out. Uchiha Ran nodded and asked his hands together. Outer Dao reincarnation and aid technique. A strange light shrouded the rough hand Hashirama. First Hokage resurrected. Mad hot, hazy mommy. Mada is spicy. Hazy mommy. Shut up. Vortex Mito interrupted the two with a black thread. Uchiha Ran laughed inwardly. Using an outsider to revive a person who is a Hashirama-level police officer, does it take 3 days to recover the expended pupil power? Not bad. Uchiha Madara and Wisdom Hashirama are resurrected. Konoha's combat power soared to the extreme. Everyone moved to find those ninja tools. Everyone wants to be on the list and get the chance to become stronger. Uchiha Ran was very comfortable and came to the moon. Kagaya-ji out of the moon to take it slow, but if she is worthy to ask, won't it be soon? Boom. I got in touch with Kagaya through Jinbang. The two should be in the outer cabinet and take a special channel. Passing through the space portal, Kagaya came to Uchiha Ran. I didn't expect you to help my concubine, Kagaya said slightly surprised. Because I have something to look for you. 11, something. What's the matter? Dating. 11. Dating? Chapter 148 Super straight girl Kagaya G, still said not flirting? Previous chapter next chapter advertisement Eat Halberd World. The capital of the East, Tagetsu Academy. Tagetsu Academy The National Tagetsu Suriao Cooking Academy is a famous cooking school and a famous local tyrant school in the eastern capital. It is ridiculously large. The academy has a middle school and a higher school, with a 3-year system, but it is very difficult to advance to graduation, and the graduation rate is below 10%. The general manager Nakiri Senzaiman said that 99% of the people are to hone the 1% of people's abandoned son. Last year, out of 812 first-year students, only 76 were promoted to second year, and only a handful of students were able to advance to third year and graduate. Due to this hellish graduation rate, UNUA has created a brand effect and has become the most prestigious chef school on the island. Graduates of this academy, as long as they can survive until graduation, can enjoy the glory of the popular star in the cooking industry for a lifetime. Based on this system, the UNUA Shiji Appraisal Council came into being and became the highest decision-making machine of the college, school directors Shik organization. According to the order of seats, the world has various discretionary powers in the academy. In the past, they have made important decisions related to the operation of the academy several times. Power. All issues are decided after the members of the top 10, even the lecturers must follow the decisions of the top 10. Even, they voted to replace the coach, principal. And today, summoned by the commander-in-chief Nakiri Senzaiman. Currently, the first seat of the 10 heroes of Totsuki is Si Yingshi, the second seat is Kobayashi Renton, the third seat, Megajima Kosuke, the fourth seat, Akane Kubo Dao, the fifth seat Saito Sume, the sixth seat Ji Zhiguo Ningning, the seventh seat is Ashiki, the eighth seat Ju Izaoji, the ninth seat Izan Adima, and the 10th seat Nakiri Arena, actually gathered together. And the purpose is to cook only for a Westerner. This is a treatment that cannot be enjoyed by the royal family of the island country. If the news spreads, the outside world is afraid that it will boil directly. When Ju Shiji first got the news, he also thought that the commander-in-chief Nakiri Senzaiman was crazy. Some of the 10 masters who were secretly contacted and recruited by someone, swaying in their hearts about whether to dismiss Nakiri Senzaiman, directly firmed their minds. As the granddaughter of Nakiri Senzaiman, the youngest 10 master Nakiri Arena, also felt that her grandfather was old and his thinking became a little faint. They are the top 10 heroes of UNUA. The current 10 heroes who can mobilize UNU's resources. In this world where culinary skills are respected, Totsuki is the well-deserved overlord of the island country. Overlord cuisine, is it so delicious? But when they saw the 2 guests, and after the explanation of Nakiri Senzaiman, the 10 people immediately changed their minds, and their respect and love for the commander-in-chief flowed like a surging river. Everyone showed 120% of their strength to cook, must-kill dishes. Contrary to the bones of Ine Shan Izu, he decided to confess some things to Nakiri Senzaiman afterwards. Mr. Ran, Miss Kagaya, are you still satisfied? In front of a round table, Nakiri Senzaiman, who is known as the devil eater in the outside world, who is acting as Haki, took over and asked carefully like a waiter, with a complimenting smile on his face. I am very satisfied. Advertisement Uchiha Ran picked up the wet tissue and wiped his mouth, smiled and nodded. The 11 plates that were emptied on the round table had already explained everything. In fact, today's meal was indeed the most delicious meal he had ever enjoyed in his past and present life. This kind of enjoyment is all round from the body to the mind. The cooking skills of the spirit of halberds, as he guessed, were already more of a fantasy, not just as simple as cooking food. Not to mention Nakiri Arena's cheating god tongue, Hayama Ryo's talent and training has long been a god's nose. He is the head of the 10 heroes of the immortal Yuanzuki, and the white knight of the table, Shi Yingshi, who can harmonize with him. The ability to talk about ingredients is outrageous. When cooking reaches a certain level, it is not only the pinnacle of skills, but also infuses the so-called heart with a peculiar feeling, which makes him eat spiritually when he tastes cooking. But this kind of enjoyment is just right, it will not make people feel dependent and unable to stop, and it does not fall into the category of poisonous drugs. After a day and night of gathering information, Uchiha Ran understood that this was some kind of rule that belongs to this world alone. And the development of this world is very strange. Cooking is extremely prosperous. He is obviously a chef who cooks for people, but his status is high. People with high cooking skills can easily gain wealth, status, and even power. This country has 5 standing committees of culinary arts, and all the representatives are the chefs of one country. Nakiri Senzaiman is still a bit far from the god of cooking, and he is a chef king level police officer. And every chef's nickname generally reflects their heart. Some people can be said to enjoy elegance, and they will find a chef like Si Yingshi, and the feeling is no worse than a concert. If someone enjoys sweetness, they will go to the dessert masters such as Akakubo Momo or Kikuchi Garden Fruit. Some people can be described as fiery, enthusiastic, and refreshed after exercise. They will look for a long time like this. And because of the prosperity of chefs, the technological tree of this world is a bit out of the way. The technology of life such as mobile phones and cars is even more advanced than Uchiha Ran's previous life. However, militarized weapons have only been developed to pistol-level police officers and missiles and the like do not exist. It also feels interesting. For those idealists in the ninja world, this can be called a paradise world of absolute peace. Uchiha Ran, Wisdom Tobarama, Onobi and others have discussed it. When the Five Shadows Conference is held, special police arrangements will be made in this world. In short, it is a win-win situation. However, this does not prevent Uchiha Ran from bringing Kagaya here to experience the service close to the Supreme Police first. How about it, human cuisine, didn't let you down, did it? Uchiha Ran looked at Kagaya with a playful look in his eyes. He could remember that the goddess of the moon had said that she would never eat human food for the second time. As a result, as soon as the appetizer was served, she took it honestly. The dishes that followed were also not left out. Advertisement. And eat half. Of course, this level of cooking, it is impossible for them to crack the clothes of such a high-level police officer. Yummy, my concubine is starting to understand you. Kagaya wiped her mouth like Uchiha Ran. It was the first time, but it looked more elegant than the average person. Forehead. Kaguya's calm appearance made Uchiha Ran speechless. This is not what he expected. This is a really fragrant series. It's called punching yourself in the face. Not interested in Kagaya? Seemingly knowing that Uchiha Ran was making a sound, Kagaya tilted her head slightly and said, "You brought me into this world to prove my concubine's misunderstanding. Human food is worth enjoying. Because it's your idea, the concubine will take the initiative to enjoy the food when she sees it. Even though the food looked good, the concubine didn't need to eat it, so I wasn't very tempted by them. But the concubine is willing to admit that after enjoying these delicacies, I want to taste them every day in the future. This kind of behavior makes the concubine feel happy." After speaking, Otsutsuki Kagaya folded his hands and placed them on his lower abdomen. All in all, it was a virtuous performance, but Uchiha Ran felt dry. How could this woman be more mechanically rational than Icarus? If she hadn't said that she would like to enjoy cooking in the future. He had to suspect that this woman had lost her mind. You are a stray daughter. Uchiha Ran put his hand on his forehead. This woman really has no meaning at all, because you can't stand it. The concubine is not a straight daughter, but after announcing that she wants to be your woman, she always considers it from your point of view. Teru Yoruichi explained seriously. Uchiha Ran's appearance is reflected in the blue Tensai's eyes that have evolved from white eyes. That seriousness made Uchiha Ran's heart skip a beat. This is not to be seduced, but to be seduced? You make me feel passive. You Otsutsuki clan, are you so direct? Uchiha Ran laughed. Advertisement, White Witch. Instead, Otsutsuki Kagaya said in confusion. Master has strength, has a long-lasting body, an easily invulnerable body, and a face that will never disappear. My family, if you like it, you will occupy or attach, and if you hate it, you will destroy or avoid it. Natural selection, the essence of all things is the strong prey on the weak. Human beings are pretentious and make rules, but the rules are also made by the strong, but in a different way. For example, in this world, cooking skills are respected. The stronger the cooking skills, the more enjoyment. This is the rule. But I'm waiting for the master to come with the power of destroying the world. When they don't have the power to resist, the rules will be customized by us, and the original master will become dependent. I choose to depend on you, this is the most reasonable choice. Of course, if you care about emotions, then you don't have to exclude me. Master is based on strength, and is qualified to choose his own feelings. If a strong person is worth relying on, the concubine will not come to that planet with Yi Shi in the first place. Uchiha Ran, unlike you, Otsutsuki Kagaya said it very seriously, for fear that Uchiha Ran does not believe in ordinary. But Uchiha Ran's heart skipped a beat. The previous Otsutsuki Kaguya's remarks are still philosophically rebutted, and he even thinks it makes sense. In the end, the conversation turned into a confession. Not mentally prepared at all. I believe in you. Uchiha Ran took Otsutsuki Kaguya's hand, and then his eyes narrowed. After enjoying the food, let's go to business. 39. That guy, clean it up. When the voice fell, Uchiha Ran opens the space portal faint. The two stepped in. The door begins to close, but when it was about to disappear completely, a ray of light shot a hook from it, turned into 11 balls of light, and floated in front of Nikiri Senseiman and the others. At this moment, the eyes of the 11 people became extremely hot. Arena licked the tongue of God. What is in front of you is more delicious than any dish. Chapter 149 Nikiri Arena's new goal, first meeting Yun Yun. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, Grandpa, is this the Chara seed you said? Nikiri Arena carefully took the ball floating in front of her into her hand, her eyes very hot. Not only him, but also Si Yingxi, Zhaolin Rendan and others, each of them behaved very solemnly. Good. Compared to the 10 of them, Nikiri Senseiman, who had already used Chara seeds, seemed much calmer. He casually suspended the light ball in front of him and said seriously, you all need Chara when you see me performing the 3-body technique of my puppet, Fire Style Ninjutsu. 99. And if you want to have Chara, you need to integrate the Chara seeds in order to extract physical energy from the cells, and get mental abilities from training and accumulating experience. In the world where Ran Sama came, not everyone can extract chakra. Ninjas with excellent talent will be different in the speed and quantity of chakra refining. But we are now asking for chara seeds, which belong to the first generation of chara owners. As long as the master refines the technique, they can have chara immediately. 11. I can teach you some ordinary ninjutsu, after all, you are my 10 heroes of Totsuki. But some of the more powerful ninjutsu will be able to die the adults in the future, and you may learn it later. But even so, you are now truly standing at the top level in this world. Another level, understand? Nikiri Senzaemon was serious. He still remembered how the three views began to shatter when the 5th Hokage Uchiha ran, 2nd Hokage Tobirama, 4th Tsuchikage Black Soil and 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi flew in front of him yesterday. Later, a genjutsu of Uchiha ran, let him know the more powerful world. As Kagaya just said, in the world of Halberd, the chef is in charge, the rules are the chef's break, then everything is for the chef. But when there is absolute power that can destroy all this, they're ants. And Uchiha ran and he was the post-ninja world, obviously have such power. And after the threat of 980, Uchiha ran gave the advantage. What's the benefit? Nature is a seed with supernatural powers and has all kinds of incredible means. But yesterday, after personally refining Zara, and with the help of Uchiha Ran's Genjutsu Master 3 Body Art and 3 basic attributes ninjutsu, his form completely changed. The ninja world is the era of the golden list, and they eat the halberd world, the future is the era of ninjas. Ninjas will be the noblest part, and chefs will be vassals. In the ninja world, ninjas generally have a low level of knowledge because of their powerful strength. But yesterday, Uchiha Ran was already packing a lot of books into their world. The ninja is so tyrannical that he can refine Chara's spiritual energy, not to mention his brother's learning. Most of them can be top students in ordinary schools. But when everything is rolled out, the world of halberd will inevitably become a vassal. And how to stand on the cusp and take off when this new era is about to begin is naturally to follow the trend. He wants to be attached to Uchiha Ran and become the innovator of the new era. And he will not abandon cooking, because this is the characteristic of their world, and the capital to sell down in the future. To become ninjas, they cannot be better than the aborigines of the ninja world, and the inheritance of resources and close relationship, etc., are not comparable. But if you use good cooking skills, you may overtake in a corner if you get close to Uchiha Ran. Advertisement. You are using chara seeds now, and I will teach you refining techniques to get started. Nikiri Senzaemon said sternly. The 10 people nodded hurriedly. Nikiri Senzaemon made it clear to them. Uchiha Ran is a character who has the power to destroy the world-class police force. Resistance is stupid. Adding cans is the way to go. In the past, they were cooks with power, fame, and wealth, and they were already high-ranking people. But all this is nothing in the eyes of the existence that can easily destroy them. In the future, as people from the ninja world come to this world, there will be more powerful people. To keep going, you need to get stronger. Besides, in this world, can you refuse to become stronger and have the power to change your destiny? Flying, the face is eternal, the body is immortal. Who doesn't crave? In the blink of an eye, the time has come to an hour later. Separation. Nikiri Arena made a seal with both hands and divided the rhyme into 2 identical figures. If Naruto saw this scene, he would probably cry. 6 years can't beat the 1-hour series. Grandpa, I'm a complete master. Arena and Changchong said to Nikiri Senzaemon. Okay. Nikiri Senzaemon nodded in satisfaction. Faster than Grandpa, Arena, you are indeed talented in all aspects. Grandpa will definitely find a way to get you a place to study in the ninja world, and when you become Chunin or even Jonin, you will be able to ask your god tongue. It is only a matter of time before you become a chef. The tyrannical mental power and body possessed by the ninja world are definitely a weapon for chefs. Yeah, Arena didn't mean to refuse at all. Tsunere is no fool. Not everyone can Tsunere either. Grandpa, what are you going to do about his business? Arena suddenly asked, her voice very calm. This made Nikiri Senzaemon nod. After the master's power, Arena also has a strong resistance to that damn its son-in-law. This is a good thing. Actually, Ron-sama had already told me about it before Izan Edison also told me. Nikiri Senzaemon thought for a while, but did not hide the fact that Arena already knew everything. Ren-sama told you. Arena was surprised. Master Ran, you can see through the future. Nikiri Senzaemon said in awe. Arena's eyes widened suddenly, her toes wrapped in black silk curled up, she was startled. Predict what the future holds. What a terrible existence this is. Is it a god? Advertisement? Nakamura Thistle thought that with the help of those people, and then secretly rebelling against the world, he would be able to stand me up, then annex Totsuki, and use this as a jumping-off barrier to intervene in Nikiri. That's just a delusion. But if there is no precaution, Yuanyue has a high probability of being succeeded by him. Today, we don't have any more power, the value in the heart of Ronda is higher, the use is more, and the benefits that can be obtained in the future will be more. 5. So, I'm not going to let him do that. Today, let the 10 heroes cook for Lord Ran, except that he himself spoke, which is also my shock and gift to the 10 heroes. I believe, Adia, they know how to choose. Nikiri Senzaemon is very confident. Arena nodded in agreement. They naturally know what to choose. At present, the only confirmed anti-bone breath, Izan Aishan, has also defected to Nikiri Senzaemon's side, and also wants to be a guild and make meritorious deeds. Others are not stupid either. After all, Senseiman is the face of Uchiha Ran. Grandpa, this is your luck for us, Nakiri, Irina said with a little joy. 59 Senseiman nodded, but not as relaxed as Irina. He knew that he was just the voice of Uchiha Ran in the eastern capital. However, Lord Ran left Wood Clone to go to the land of Kyushu, and apparently planned to find a spokesperson there. In all this world, there should be many people who share the same starting line as him. In order not to be left behind, and to be a complete master, you have to do things that police officers can't do. Thinking of this, Senseiman suddenly looked at Irina, pondered for a while, and said, Irina, what do you think of Ran-sama? 99 Irina was stunned, wondering why her grandfather asked such a question. But she still thought about it seriously. This time, I suddenly lost my mind. Master Ran. Seems to be the most handsome person I have ever seen, with such a noble identity, and like a god. 39. You said that if you came to serve her, how would it be? Shenzamon asked. Suddenly, Irina understood what Senseiman meant, and her face turned red and white. Shy and angry. Misunderstand. Senseiman smiled and said, Irina will marry one day. You are the tongue of the gods, the granddaughter of my Nakiri Senseiman, the father joined the family. In the words of a young man, you are the top Baifume in the world. 9. If you are in the right place, how many people can compare to you? In Senzamon's view, this is the best of both worlds. Irina stopped talking. Rationally, she recognized her grandfather's words. But girls are sensual, with rebelliousness in their sensibility. So, Grandpa, I will work hard to improve my cooking skills and strength. Advertisement, I'm going to be the exclusive cook for Ran-sama. In this world, only Ran-sama is qualified to eat the dishes I make. Irina has found a new purpose in life. Senseiman nodded in satisfaction, but felt that only one Irina was not enough insurance. There is still a chara seed in hand, give it to Alice. I want the best for my granddaughter, at the same time. Different Fire Continent world. Dai arrived through the world gate. He didn't know what happened in the world of Halberd, and he wouldn't care if he knew it. There are many women who like him, but not everyone has a chance. After leaving with Kagaya, he found Otsutsuki in half an hour. The wedge state is too fragile. In front of Kagaya, he is even weaker. What's more, Kagaya now has the Hokage version of the Dark Ancestor of Foxconn, and the Sword of Killing the Soul. The consequences of the first style can be described as very miserable. Dignified Otsutsuki probably never thought of the day when he would be crushed by dimensionality reduction again. Hey, Zekai's evolution seems to take longer than the 3 days she expected. Outside the CZN formation, Ran sensed the situation inside and found that the progress of Zekai's transformation was less than 1/7. According to the development of this situation, it will take about 6 days. And it seems that because the twins are sensing, Katie is also sleeping. But no other problems. In the beginning, I just wanted to make a breakthrough, but now that there is help, I want to make a breakthrough that may be perfect. That's right, she took a few hours to complete the breakthrough in the original book, her body was seriously injured, and her soul split, and the colorful swallowing python appeared. 99. You can take your time, or take your time. Wanting to understand everything, Ran did not disturb the two women, and summoned a space door at will. Now that I have time, I just continue to wander around the different Fire Continent. I just don't know the sound of the Warcraft Mountains. That's it, just find a place. Uchiha Ran stepped into the space door. When it reappeared, it was in midair. He encountered a Birdman flying over, and seemed to be startled by him. Who? The other party screamed. Die a closer look. What a coincidence. 93. Yun Yun. Chapter 150 The Yun Yun, who dislikes the integrity of the mouth and body, sees fellow villagers. Subscription. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, I am lucky, and there is no one else. Looking at the woman with a shocked face not far away, Ran was also stunned. The woman was wearing a plain skirt, wrapping her beautiful body, with a beautiful blue silk tied into a noble phoenix hair ornament, and a pair of blue illusory wings on the back, which should be Do Chi Wa wing. At this time, there was a startled look on the beautiful and moving face, holding a long sword, and the whole body was filled with the grace and nobility of a wild elf. This image, plus the present location, is within the territory of the Gamma Empire. A woman's identity is imminent. The sect master of the Cloudland sect, Yun Yun. Yun Yun, the sect master of Yunlin sect, has seen Senior. At this time, Yun Yun had suddenly recovered from the shock of a person in front of her, but after noticing that Ran was standing in the air, she hurriedly stepped forward to greet her. Stepping on the void, initially using the power of space, that is Dozong's symbol. The scene that Fang Juren suddenly hooked up again, obviously came from across the space. Strength, I'm afraid it's not just Dozong. The founder of Yun Lanzong was only at the peak of Dozong back then, and he was a little far from the realm of Dozun. Now Yun Lanzong is in decline. Although there are means to deal with Dozong, there is no strong Dozong. In front of a person whose strength is at least Dozun, one must be respectful. As for dying looks very young, most of them are inhabited. Yun Yun had never heard of Dozong before the age of 20, not even at the age of 30. Yun Lanzong Yun Yun. So I am coming to the northwestern land, the territory of the Jiama Empire. 99. Dying pretentiously nodded, and then asked knowingly, where is this place? Does Sect Master Yun know where the Warcraft Mountains are? Monster Mountain. Yun Yun's beautiful eyes flashed, her hands clasped her fists and held up her sword, and replied, "This is the back mountain of my Yunlin sect, and the sky above where the younger generation retreats." Junior was about to leave to do something when he met the senior, 93. The sky above the back mountain of Yunlanzong. Ran nodded, left a space mark silently, and then said with a little playfulness. "So, I broke into Sect Master Yun's house by mistake, please return Haihan." He said sorry, but there was no such meaning in his tone. Yun Yun's expression did not change, but her heart was unable to maintain the usual calm, and she scolded Ran half to death. 10 minutes ago, this sect master took a bath with his good disciple and rubbed each other's backs. The location is right below this place in the sky. If you come early and not in midair, at that time, is it still enough to ask Haihan? Well, enough is enough. Strength is respected. You have strength, you are cow leather. For the first time, Yun Yun felt the powerlessness that her strength was completely insufficient. Whatever the senior said, it is a blessing for my sect that you can come to the Yunlin sect. I don't know if the seniors have time. If you have time, why don't you go to the sect with Yun Yun and sit for a while? No matter what the mood is, as the head of a sect, Yun Yun is very clear about what to do now. The powerhouse above Duzong must try his best to make good friends. This kind of existence, even if it is just a little benefit from the flow of rhyme in the nails, can benefit Emir Do Huang and the entire Yun Lanzong sect. A friendship that exists above Duzong should not be ignored by any power in the whole continent. In the heyday of the Yunlin sect, it also had a place in the northwest, but now it can only show off its power in the territory of the Jiama Empire, and it is very clear how remote it is. If you can meet a strong person, you have to try to make a good relationship. Advertisement at least, not to offend. Just sit for a while. Ran waved his hand and smiled. I wonder if Sect Master Yun has a clearer map. I need to go to the Warcraft Mountains for something. Senior is going to the Warcraft Mountain Range, why not let the junior lead the way? 91 Yun Yun volunteered. The junior disciple has encountered a bottleneck in his cultivation and wants a piece of purple spirit crystal. The junior is really going to go to the Warcraft Mountain Range to find the 6th Order Warcraft Amethyst Wing Lion King. Make a deal. Oh, Ran raised an eyebrow slightly. A little bit of time, isn't this and that all right? Sect Master Yun's willingness to lead the way is naturally excellent, but if possible, I still want a map. 99 Ran smiled slightly, asked his right hand, and rubbed his fingers. Yun Yun was suddenly a little angry. It's just a mere map, it's not a treasure map or a secret map. Her Cloud Lanzong has some, and it even includes the entire northwest continent. But your dignified senior, just begging for it. What else to say, Haihan? It's simply overpowering people. Yun Yun's career line fluctuated. Dai cannot help but raise eyebrows. What's the matter with this woman? Show off your body? Why don't you just use genjutsu to control it? Senior, this is the map you want, including the entire Northwest Territory, as well as the Black Corner Domain, etc. Yun Yun took a monster skin from her own ring. The more detailed the map content, the better the leather will be used. Thanks. 99 Ran put away his thoughts, and sucked the monster skin into his hands with a single move. Shen Luo Tianzheng and Universal Pull, the diameter does not exceed 10 kilometers, he can use it casually. Yun Yun's eyes flashed. Ran this casual hand, she did not feel the grudge, it seems that it is also a space method? So terrifying. However, do you know how to say thank you? This senior is true. Well, the content is very detailed, and I am very satisfied. Spreading out the demonic beast skin, his eyes swept over, and with a few clicks, Ran immediately had a clearer understanding of the situation in the northwest region and surrounding areas, and some branches of the forces were also very clear. The map given by Yun Yun is not a popular product. Deserving of an award. This fighting skill is given to you. Quan Dang is the apology gift for entering this place by mistake, and it is also the thank you gift that you are willing to give my guide for giving me a map. Ran threw a scroll to Yun Yun. After his first visit to the different fire continent yesterday, he asked Zikai to study some fighting skills, from the low level of the yellow level to the level of the earth level. After reading all of them, he probably understood it and found that he and ninjutsu in the ninja world are different from each other. After a little bit of manipulation, he turned some powerful ninjutsu into fighting skills, ready to find an auction to sell them in exchange for the currency of this world, or some heavenly and earthly treasures. Fighting skills. Senior, you are too polite. Yun Yun caught the scroll and couldn't wait to check it. Dyeing the corners of the mouth. You say I'm too polite, but you refuse? Suspected of integrity? I didn't expect you to be such a Yun Yun. After Han Han Medusa, did Sect Master Yun also collapse? Profound level low level starting exercises? Shuriken of the Wind? After reading the contents of the scroll, Yun Yun was a little emotional. Advertisement when she saw the first 4, she thought she was being teased. You are a dignified and powerful person above Dozong, but what about the low level exercises of the Zon rank to fool people? I am the dignified sect master of the Yunlin sect, and there is no shortage of earth level exercises. But when she saw the word, start, behind, she was confused. Is there such a thing in this world? Senior, what do you mean by starting at the low level of the Zon rank? Yun Yun couldn't help asking. Literal meaning. Yun Yun. I'm ugly, so you don't want to talk to me more, do you? Damn it. Senior, do you mean that the lower limit of this fighting skill is the low level of the profound rank, but the upper limit is useless? 33. Don't you see it clearly? Ran said with some disgust. Yun Yun. I'm so angry, I really want to give him an extreme death kill. But can't beat it, but Tukao is Tukao, and there should be no less excitement. There is actually no upper limit of fighting skills in the supernatural continent? Yan Yun was amazed and continued to read. Ran wanted to say, there are even techniques that can evolve in this world. Somehow, it's like singing the opposite of Yan Yun. But he held back. The left hand knot seal, in a special way, gathers the wind to tribute fighting energy on the other hand, forming a huge shuriken. The shuriken is this shape. The big cloak can try master, the power is low. 0. Dot for flowers. 0. Do Ling can display high-level profound power, 99. When the Do King uses it, he actually has the power of a low-level earth level. If it is the strength of my Do Wong Peak, the power of high-level fighting skills. And depending on the number of acquaintances fighting spirit, the power can be reduced. This fighting skill is terrifying. 99 Yun Yun swallowed. It is no exaggeration to say that if she has mastered fighting skills now, she will have confidence in killing Do Zong across levels. Thank you, senior. Yun Yun smiled sweetly, and the beauty was indescribable, like the melting of white snow in the spring. Ran was lost for a moment, but quickly covered it up and said calmly, if you thank me so much, first tell me where the Monster Beast Mountains are. 99. Wood knots. Haven't you seen the map? Why are you asking me? Yun Yun pouted slightly, pointed obediently at a square and said, in this direction, this junior can fly to the edge of the mountain for a long time. Are you going to fly for a long time? Ran counted the distance, and the reincarnation eyes narrowed, and opened a space entrance with Wangshen Hirazaka. Let's go. Ran took the absent-minded Yin Yin into the passage. Make a space channel at will. 33, Do Zun's Peak Powerhouse, 99. 0 A quarter of an hour later, advertisement somewhere in the Warcraft Mountains. Above an abyss. Flame-splitting wave ruler, a young man waved a heavy ruler in his hand. The surrounding Do Chi surged in an instant, condensed to the level of countless naked eyes, and frantically poured into the heavy ruler. The strange lines on the heavy ruler radiated a fiery red light at this moment. Start to rise. At this time, the young man swallowed the Chi Wei Dan that had been hidden in his mouth for a long time, and lost all his fighting chi in his body. With the passage of time, the heavy ruler that completely turned red, brought blazing high temperature and slashed through the void. It can be seen that the space is a little twisted up by the high transpiration. Boom. The flames on the top of the ruler erupted violently, turning into a flying hook with a red crescent moon several meters long, which shot straight at a middle-aged man. Seeing this scene, the middle-aged man's pupils suddenly contracted, turning into pinholes. Fighting attack with condensed fighting chi, which is a possible method for men's fighting masters. But this young man who was no more than a fighter actually did it. Horrible. The situation was urgent, and the middle-aged man didn't have time to think about it. The fighting spirit of the Do Master level dream in his body was also frantically outputting, which was attached to the big sword in his hand. Blast knife. The middle-aged man danced wildly with the big sword in his hand. The afterimage of the cyan big sword appeared, superimposed, and turned into a dense network of swords in the blink of an eye. The red moonlight came at this time. Before the nearby crowd could see clearly, they heard a sound like thunder falling to the ground. The abyss seemed to be split open. Boom! As the thunder fell, the place where the middle-aged man was originally was, the gravel splattered, and he himself turned into a streamer in rhythm, flying hooked for dozens of meters and then collided with a giant tree and stopped. Peefed. The middle-aged man spat out a mouthful of blood. Sigh, the crowd around them all sucked in a breath of cold air. A middle-aged man is their leader, a mercenary deputy Ned Chief, a 2-star fighting division. Was he actually vomited blood by a 7-star fighter? Really K fantasy, many swallowed their saliva. Many people felt their legs go weak when they saw the pits several meters deep on the ground. Above the abyss, there was silence. No one noticed that there were 2 voices entrenched in the air. Among them, the man and the woman asked each other, what do you think of that young man? It is also a canopy when placed in the Yunlin sect. The woman makes an evaluation. A fighter with a strength of 7 stars actually suppressed a 2-star fighter who was using advanced profound fighting skills. Absolutely round the clock. His name is Xiao Huohuo. Sect Master Cloud. Chapter 151 Sending Warmth. No, send a note to Kyoka Suigetsu. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, Senior, who do you think he is? The woman who was waving Do Chi's wings, that is, Yun Yun, looked at Ran with a look of surprise. Xiao Huohuo. Xiao Huohuo. Is that the Xiao Huohuo I know? That's right, it's that Xiao Huohuo, your disciple Nalan Yanlin who secretly used pressure to break off the marriage behind your back. It's not that his cultivation has regressed and he has become a waste. How can he suddenly become? Wait, how can you know these things, Senior? Yun Yun said with a face full of dissent. She did not agree with Nalan Yanlin's divorce. It's not that he wants his precious apprentice, the future sect master of the Cloud sect, to marry a waste, which is equivalent to throwing the face of the Cloud sect on the ground in the entire northwestern region and being trampled on. Moreover, the dragon does not live with the snake. She just felt that Nalan Yanlin's way of breaking off the marriage was wrong. Although the survival law of the different fire continent is that the weak eat the strong, but you Nalan and the portrait were considered friends before. The girl brought the elders of the great powers to the door to break off the marriage in person, and even took the medicine pill as compensation. This Jane, 990, just put the opponent's face on the ground and stepped on it. Friends, become enemies. But thinking about Nalan Yanlan's age, Yan Yan couldn't say anything. She knew that the disciple just didn't want to be a victim of marriage and didn't want to marry a stranger. Xiao Huohuo's talent is not the key at all. The problem is, portraits don't necessarily think that way. And slaps do happen. The portrait Xiao Huohuo also made a 3-year contract with Nalan Yanlan. Originally, she heard about this, but she just thought it was the stubbornness of young people. A 15-year-old boy who's fighting Qi has regressed to the 3rd rank wants to catch up with the young sect master that their Yanlan sect and a royal family fight together to cultivate within 3 years. Is it possible? She also thought that Xiao Huohuo did not join the Yanlan sect 3 years later, so she secretly paid some compensation to prevent the two sides from becoming a deadly feud. As for destroying the other party when there is a conflict, Yan Lanzong is not a villain and cannot do this. But now Ran told her that Xiao Huohuo was actually the 7-star fighter in the forest below who had fought back and forth with the 2-star fighter. This Do Chi realm increases the speed, and also has the talent for leapfrog combat. It has already threatened Nalan Yanlan. For a moment, Yan Yan actually felt that the young man below was going to the Yanlan sect to make an appointment and defeat Nalan Yanlan. Then when things could get bad, however, Yan Yan put these things aside in a blink of an eye, and turned to worry about Qi Ran. How could this senior know about Xiao Huohuo? How could they know about Nalan Yanlan's divorce from Xiao Huohuo? Didn't he just come to the Jama Empire from another region? Suddenly, Yan Yan's expression changed, and she asked in disbelief, "Senior, are you here to find him?" Advertisement, he was referring to Xiao Huohuo. That's right, Ran admitted frankly. Yan Yan was directly fierce in the wind. This powerhouse, who is suspected to be at the peak of Do Zun, actually made a special trip to find Xiao Huohuo, and seems to know him very well. Wouldn't it be a backer? Suddenly, Yan Yan didn't really want to find the purple spirit crystal anymore. Boom. When Ran and Yun went to talk, the situation below changed again. After the strong confrontation, along with the flying hook of the gravel, there is still smoke and dust in the sky. At this time, the smoke seed was exhausted, and Xiao Huohuo's figure holding a heavy ruler gradually became clear in the eyes of stalactites. At this time, his face was pale, both hands were shaking on the black ruler, and he was obviously not feeling well. It is not so easy to shake a 2-star fighter with all his strength by virtue of his 7-star fighter cultivation. Although he used some fighting skills to make up the gap between the fighter and the fighter. But you can't kill with one hit, and when you wait for a protracted war, the result is a dead word. Click. Xiao Huohuo threw a Qi Wei Dan into his mouth, chewed it quickly, recovered his fighting spirit, and looked around with vigilance and coldness. Faced with this sight, the other soldiers were diligent in fear and instinctively moved away. He's out of fuel. Give it all to me. At this time, the middle-aged man slowly stepped forward with help, his eyes full of cold killing intent. This kind of succession must be obliterated. Otherwise, he and the forces behind him will be destroyed in the future. Listening to the deputy commander's order, although the mercenaries hesitated, they still clenched their weapons and stepped forward. Today, this place will be your burial ground. The middle-aged man looked at Xiao Huohuo with vicious eyes. No, you won't be happy. Xiao Huohuo suddenly showed an evil and charming smile, and a pair of purple eagle wings about half a meter rose from behind. Fighting wings? The boy is the king of fighters? Impossible. Could it be the legendary flying fighting skill? The middle-aged man's eyes became greedy, but more fearful and crazy. Boom. Xiao Huohuo's wings fluttered, and he was ready to jump into the abyss. Can fly, but afraid of an egg? Today's siege, Xiao Mo will keep it in mind. Today. Advertisement Xiao Huohuo is ready to speak harshly. But the next moment, he found that the vindictive energy in his body suddenly stagnated, and then dissipated without a trace. The purple eagle wing lost its strength and disappeared. Xiao Huohuo. A group of middle-aged men. Why wait for the next day? Suddenly, a figure came from the sky. Everyone looked up in unison. I saw a young and handsome man stepping on the void, looking down at them with a gentle smile. Beside the man, there is a beautiful woman waving the wings of fighting Qi. Do Zong, Do Huang, super big man. Hey, teacher, come to the big man. Xiao Huohuo secretly communicated with the master. But the teacher, who has always been coaxing, rarely has no rhythm. How do you want them to die? Ran quickly came out to Xiao Huohuo's side and asked with a smile. What? Xiao Huo's passion zero. Is this at least Duzong level policeman going to hook up for him? He didn't dare to do this in his dreams. Predecessor, senior, this may be a misunderstanding. The middle-aged man opened his mouth tremblingly, trying to justify something. But when Dang Ran's eyes looked, he immediately closed his mouth. The pressure is too strong. You want to help me? Xiao Huohuo pointed at himself in disbelief. Yan Yan pricked up her ears. She also wanted to know this question. Ran frowned, feeling that it was too much trouble to explain. After thinking for a while, he said, the Pagoda Town River Demon. Xiao Huohuo. Following closely, Xiao Huohuo's pupils shrank, and his body trembled. Excitement, fear, a familiar trembling from the depths of the soul. Uranus Geiger. That's right. Ran nodded and continued. Lithium hydrogen hydride beryllium boron. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluoride test. Xiao Huohuo jumped up excitedly. Hometown. Advertisement. That's right. F*K it. 9. Ha, these words make me believe in your identity more than the first two slogans. How long have the seniors been here? We'll talk about that later. 33. Ran interrupted Xiao Huohuo and then wiped it in front of him. Thorn. A strange electric arc swept across, and the middle-aged man and the others all turned into powder. Gouda. Xiao Huo swallowed his saliva. No bones left? What means is this? It's so scary. They are all transmigrators. Why is this senior so beautiful? You're too bright, aren't you? Xiao Huohuo said with admiration. He is not stupid. He knows that the identity of the transmigrator must not be revealed, just like the ring and burning art on his hand. But Rank made a special trip to find him, indicating that he knew his identity. At this time, there is no district police to pretend to be dead. Instead, be calm. 4.0 may be able to get closer to fellow villagers. Really going to succeed. He has a backer. At least Duzong level police. Isn't the Nagamar Empire going sideways? It's just a small trick. Ran smiled, and a pair of eyes changed into Samsara Mangekyo. I'm going. Fellow, how can you change your eyes? Xiao Huohuo was surprised. Ran immediately understood that this fellow was wearing something a little early. At least I don't know the reincarnation eye. Secretly placed a Kyoka Suigetsu, Ran looked at the ring on Xiao Huohuo's hand, and said with a smile. Master Yao, why don't you come to chat? As soon as these words came out, Xiao Huohuo was shocked. Venerable Medicine did not move, but in the sky, there are clouds of sesame seeds. Medicine Master? In this different fire continent, the two venerables cannot be used by anyone, but belong to the Dozun Strong. There is actually a Dozun beside Xiao Huohuo. Good guy, the reason why Xiao Huohuo's strength has improved so fast and his performance is so strong has been found. Very dark. A ghost, Chapter 152 Xiao Huohuo. Dian Wangpi, I will walk sideways from now on. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, no way, no way? Is there a Dozun around Xiao Huohuo? Yan Lan, you are really a good disciple of your teacher. Yanyan waved her fighting spirit wings and came to Ran's side, her beautiful eyes staring at Xiao Huohuo. Xiao Huohuo instinctively looked at Yanyan, and a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. It was the first time in his life that he had seen such a woman with such a figure, good looks, and temperament. Compared with Zuner, her appearance is slightly green, her figure still needs to be improved, and her temperament is inexplicably superior. Compared with Yafei, her appearance is slightly inferior, her figure is slightly better, and her temperament is even more different. Compared with the medical fairy girl, her appearance is not bad, her figure is slightly inferior, and her temperament is elegant and indifferent. As for Nalan Yanlan, what is that? In the overall ranking, this woman can rank first. However, Xiao Huohuo's eyes quickly regained clarity, and there was nothing wrong with him. This woman also looks quite young, and she rhymes with this big fellow who is suspected to be a fellow in front of her. The two are either a bunch or a master-servant relationship, and it has nothing to do with him anyway. When I grow up like Xuan I will definitely be better than this. Xiao Huohuo thought a little bit of shit, and even started to compare. It is the heart of comparison between and Dai. They are all transmigrators, and it is not a routine operation than the women around you. The change in Xiao Huo's eyes could not escape the dyed eyes. This satisfied him, as expected of the protagonist I have ever admired. Although Kyoka Suigetsu has been given to him, and he plans to cultivate into a high-end toolman in the future, he will take good care of the big cake world in this world, but he must also be given enough fertilizer. Thinking of this, Ran waved and asked for a body, and said indifferently, Master Yao, the body is comparable to that of a Dosheng, don't you want to try it? This body 03 is the kindness of Otsutsuki's boarding style. In the final battle, the wedge was fully opened in one move, awakening the core bloodline of the Otsutsuki clan, reaching the 6 paths level. But due to Kaguya's use of the soul-chopping sword, one move was instantly destroyed, and his body was well preserved. Dai asked for it, and there was a special seal, backhand. The physical appearance can become the appearance of Venerable Medicine himself. The strength is not as strong as Dosheng, but stronger than ordinary Dozun. Yanyan. Xiao Huohuo, Venerable Medicine. Your Excellency really found the old man. A white phantom was hooked from the ring on Xiao Huohuo's hand. Xiao Huohuo. Really my good master, you can come out with a body comparable to a saint, right? Hiss. Yun was shocked. Behind Xiao Huohuo, there is actually another one, and it is in the form of a soul body. As far as she knows, ordinary powerhouses only have the strength to break through to the level of Dozun, and then they can sublimate their souls to a new level, and can temporarily make their souls three-dimensional or parasitize their souls. Or a talented alchemist and some masters of secret techniques can make the soul leave the body and exist in the case of breaking through to Dozong. No matter what kind of situation it is, it represents the extraordinariness of the elegant old man in front of him. Send your body to you, and let me take a look at Fenju, how about it? Advertisement Ran asked straight to the point. With a single word, the expressions of Xiao Huohuo and Venerable Yao changed greatly at the same time. Fenju, this is the mysterious cultivation technique from the last Dodi in the legend. The cultivation technique that can evolve is also one of the biggest secrets of their master and apprentice. Dying is for this. Sure enough, he came prepared. The atmosphere suddenly became silent. Yungo noticed this situation, and immediately became interested in Fenju. A practice technique possessed by Dozun that can exist in the soul can attract another, at least the existence of Dozun's peak. Absolutely unusual. Xiao Huohuo's mouth moved, but he didn't know what to say. Pull relationship. You don't even know how people behave. And a body that is about to reach the holy level, the value is ridiculously high. There is no hard grabbing of the portrait, it is very good to see. Can this practice succeed? Venerable Yao pondered for a moment, and finally took out a scroll and threw it to Ran. Dai's strength, even if he was forced to beg for it, he couldn't refuse. Iron Head is boring. But Ran made a special trip to find him and obviously knew a lot of things, which made him unable to help asking whether the exercise was successful. Xiao Huohuo has not tried it yet, it can be successful. Ran took down the scroll, intending to find a time to study and learn from it, without concealing it, nodded and said, "You know the same thing, that Do Di relies on this technique to successfully break through." Hearing this, Xiao Huohuo's eyes suddenly lit up. This is the road to the realm of Do Di, really? Venerable Medicine's tone revealed desolation, not sure what to think. Your Excellency, do you know why that lord did not leave the imperial family? Venerable Medicine asked curiously. Do Sheng can begin to transform his own bloodline, and after being promoted to Do Emperor, the bloodline is completely transformed, allowing all blood relatives. This one. Ran smiled and replied, that guy devoured his own clan. What? Venerable Yao's complexion changed greatly, and he said gloomily, the means of devouring the blood of the soul race. Do not, Ran shook his fingers and played with the taste, because its body is a different fire. What? Venerable Yao widened his eyes, feeling that he had eaten a big melon today. Xiao Huohuo is a smart person, and he realizes something. There were many legends of Emperor Do that circulated in this continent in ancient times, but after a certain point of time, it suddenly never appeared again, for some unknown reason. Until a long time later, an ancient Emperor Tuosh was born, known as the last fighting emperor of the different fire continent. And Venerable Yao learned about the burning art of the unknown Dongfu, and it is said that it was the cultivation method of this Emperor Do. Now that it has been dyed, it is a real hammer, advertisement. I just didn't expect that the body of the ancient Emperor Tuosh was actually a different fire. But thinking that the practice method is to become stronger and transformed by swallowing the strange fire, all this seems to be very boring. The improvement of the different fire, naturally, as long as it is so simple and rude. Then I'll cultivate, so I won't be unaccustomed to the environment, right? Xiao Huohuo asked eagerly. Now his cultivation base is still low. If Fenju is uncomfortable and asks people to practice, there is still time to recultivation. Venerable Yao also has a high-level fire fan technique in his hands. There are some unaccustomed to the environment, but it can be practiced. Ran gave the correct answer. It means it's very dangerous, but you can walk that way? Venerable Yao's eyes brightened. Indeed you can. Dai nodded. Huor? Venerable Yao gave Xiao Huohuo a questioning look. Just like the problem when Xiao Huohuo first broke through the fighter. The choice is still left to Xiao Huohuo himself. It is not difficult to embark on at least Duzong, Dozun, and there is a chance to break through the path of saints. Or do you choose a path that leads to a near-death experience, but is expected to reach the top? Xiao Huohuo was also tangled. After a while, he asked Xiao Ran, fellow, do you want to cultivate by yourself when you get Fenju? I won't go to practice, Ran shook his head decisively. It is only a matter of time before he reaches the level of Do Di. With the right eye of the Emperor, this time will not be long. Not to mention, there are also gold medal rewards. Under such circumstances, what do you do to feel the sourness and swallow the strange fire? To burn the tactic is purely to prepare for research. Since that's the case, Master, I still decide to take the original path. Xiao Huohuo immediately made a decision. If you don't ask about the road with this fellow countryman, it means there is no competition. That sucks. Traversing welcome is definitely a vigorous walk. Okay, the master will help you well, Venerable Yao nodded in relief. Have ambition. Ran also praised. Xiao Huohuo touched his head, feeling a little embarrassed for no reason. Yanyan next to her also smiled in agreement, but in my heart I wanted to find someone to fight. Just feel pissed. How could these three people be able to isolate her from the information while chatting in front of her? What a different body. The last emperor. Burning tactics. The words that she clearly understood, but now put them together, she doesn't understand at all. Too difficult. Senior, did you come to this demonic beast mountains just to find Xiao Huohuo? Yanyan couldn't help but ask. Also for final confirmation, if it is determined that Ran has something to do with Xiao Huohuo. Decided not to become a deadly vengeance because of the 3-year covenant. Advertisement however, it was certain that Ran had no ill will towards her and Yun Lanzong for the time being, otherwise, he would not have known about the 3-year contract and gave 990 him a powerful wind attribute fighting skill. Hearing Yun Ku's words, Xiao Huohuo was a little weird. Speaking of Yi Yanyan's name for Ran, the two Guan fan didn't seem to be as close as he thought. More heterochromia is not coming to him. I'm here to find Xiao Huohuo. Yuzu is outside, it's not easy to find a fellow. Ran didn't deny it. Xiao Huohuo was also hot in his heart. Indeed, going through this kind of thing really makes people feel out of place. It would be difficult for him to fit in if his father was not very good to him. Blue Star fellows are cordial, and they are all from Kyushu blood, so they are even more cordial. Is the senior from Wu Tansheng, or from the imperial capital of the Jiama Empire? Cloud difference. The portrait of Xiao Huohuo is frank in Wu. But the portrait was once brilliant, and it was actually one of the imperial fighting royal family. But it doesn't feel right. If Wu Tansheng and the Jiama Empire are fellow villagers, then so is her Yanyan. It's an unspoken secret. Ran didn't want to answer. Yanyan is also not easy to ask questions. The relationship between the senior and Xiao Huohuo, 99. Can be friends. Friends? Yan Yun said that I also want to have such friends. Xiao Huohuo smiled. Did you see? This is my big Kyushu. In Blue Star, my big Kyushu is the worst country, and it is the most timely rescue for compatriots abroad. And now, even in Otherworld, I'm still from Kyushu. The police said that Venerable Yao was somewhat admired. What kind of luck did your stupid apprentice have? Fellow, take the liberty to ask, how strong are you now, 99? Xiao Huohuo asked curiously. Yanyan and Venerable Yao also pricked up their ears curiously. Emperor Bai Tuo Shi Jiu Dio Dio Dio, Ran said indifferently. Xiao Huohuo. Medicine Venerable, Yanyan. Peak Fighter. Half-Step Emperor. Apprentice, this is your thigh. Venerable Yao looked at Xiao Huohuo in shock. Xiao Huohuo said that I felt like I was dreaming. Pull yourself. Broken, it hurts, not dreaming. Woohoo, take off, chapter 153 Yanyan. This man is very bad, I am a witty one. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, Peak Fighter? Although I know that this senior is not only Dozong, but also very likely to be Dozun, and even Peak Dozun, but Peak Dosheng. It's no wonder that hands-on is a limitless fighting skill. Yanyan took a deep look at Ran, her mood was very complicated. Yun Lanzong couldn't even handle Dozong. If he got into Dosheng, he would die without knowing how to die. And now, this peak fighting saint seems to be the backer of Xiao Huohuo. Doesn't this mean that Nalan Yanlan broke off the marriage of a mainland's top, second generation? It is not enough to say that he is sad, as long as Nalan Yanlan feels that he can let go after knowing it. But it is true that Yun Lanzong also lost the opportunity to have a relationship with a peak fighting saint. From the standpoint of the suzerain, this is a pity. Moreover, Xiao Huohuo is not just such a backer. Yanyan swept Venerable Yao again. Although this one exists in a soul body, it gives her a feeling of being full of threats. The former Dozun, the soul body is stronger than her? With a sigh in her heart, Yanyan had to try her best to do what she should do as a sect master. Hello Xiao Huohuo, my name is Yanyan. 9 Yanyan decided to take the initiative to chat with Xiao Huohuo. Cough, cough, hello. Xiao Huohuo nodded to Yun somewhat flattered. This is the Dowang strongman taking the initiative to say hello. Shuang YY. The hometown is powerful, Great Kyushu is awesome. However, Xiao Huohuo was not familiar. The experience brought by the 3 years of falling down made him no longer familiar. And many more. You said, your name is Yanyan. Xiao Huohuo clenched his fists subconsciously. It seems that you know my identity, Yanyan said slightly bitterly. Not so good. Of course I know. Xiao Huohuo's face turned blue, and his voice came from between his teeth. Master Nalan Yanlan. Sect Master Yunlin. The top 10 emperors of the Jiama Empire are ranked 3rd. It's been a long time since I was famous, Xiao Huohuo said with his chest heaving. When Yun Ku saw this, he felt nervous, knowing that the impact of the divorce on Xiao Huohuo was more serious than he thought. Indeed. The matter of breaking off the marriage, whether it is a man to a woman or woman to a man, is a matter of extreme slap in the face. In the different fire continent, the strong are respected, and the face of the like family is more important. It can be said that the woman slapped her face to the extreme when she forced her to break off the marriage. No one can take it easy. What Yan Lan did at the beginning, I, as her master, also felt inappropriate. Yan Yun said sternly. If you are willing to accept, I can ask her to apologize and compensate you. Hearing this, Xiao Huohuo sneered. Feel inappropriate? Let Nalan Yanlan apologize and make amends. When it first happened a year ago, why not do it? Sect Master Yanyan, if you weren't afraid of my fellow villager, would you do this? 39. Xiao Huohuo made things clear directly. He was a little disgusted with the power of the Yunlin sect master. Advertisement Yanyan's face turned white. As long as this matter is carried out according to the original agreement, 33. Xiao Huohuo said word by word, he didn't intend to sneer at Yanyan again. The powerhouses of the different fire continent are respected and rely on their strength to speak. Yanyan recognized the mistake, but because of the existence of dying. Without dying, the 3rd powerhouse of the dignified Jama Empire would have no way to compromise with him. If he is bullying others now, he will be a villain and shame on the Great Kyushu. What kind of district police do you have with the original Nalan Yanlan? I will take back the dignity of myself in the portrait. Xiao Huohuo clenched his fists and said, the mistake has already been made, I don't need to apologize, and I don't need to apologize. Sect Master Yun only needs to promise 3 years. Just make the appointment fair, and then the winner or loser will decide the face. 99. If Nalan Yanlan wins, I should be ashamed. 93 Yanyan heard the seriousness of his words. While relieved, there was some helplessness. He was relieved because Xiao Huohuo was not hostile to Yun Lanzong, but just wanted to save face for the portrait. Understandable. Unfortunately, Yun Lanzong will be embarrassed at that time. So, I hope the 3-year appointment can be done in private, okay? Yun Yun tried to minimize the losses of Yun Lanzong. The cultivation of Yaozun with the soul of Ranhe Duzin with unknown attitude. She really wasn't sure that Nalan Yanlin could win the agreement, of course. At that time, not only Nalan Yanlin, but the entire Yunlin sect will be embarrassed. If you can keep things private, even if Nalan Yanlin is defeated, the impact can be minimized. As long as she breaks through Duzong, a little dark history doesn't matter. Give me a reason to promise you, Xiao Huohuo sneered. Cloud Lanzong can make the portrait look ugly in the entire city of Wutan, and even in the Jiama Empire, there is news circulating. Conversely, want to reduce the impact? Think beautiful? He didn't want to bully others, so as not to make a bad impression on fellow villagers. But this does not mean weakness, and he is not a fool without resources. I think you should agree. Yanyan took a deep breath and said sternly, I have heard the rhetoric you once let loose, 39. 30 years in Hedong, 30 years in Hexi, don't bully the poor. Very passionate and full of provocation. One thing, you have to admit, is that Yun Lanzong has not done everything. If it wasn't for Yan Lan who felt wronged and had kindness in her heart, and if it wasn't for me that I didn't care so much, my Yunlin sect didn't need to send Duong elders, just a Doling deacon to go to Wutan City to portray a hostile force in the Inner Alliance. Destroy the portrait. You don't deny that, do you? Xiao Huohuo's face stiffened. Yanyan didn't say it, he never thought about it. But now he reacted suddenly. Different Fire Continent is not the rule of law society in the previous life of Kyushu, but about fists. It is true that the Jama Empire has king laws, but the strong have privileges. Even in the previous life of Kyushu, there will be no less power. The gap between the portrait and Yunlanzong is equivalent to the gap between the city and county enterprises and the national leading enterprises in the previous life. There are countless ways to make you bankrupt, even with reasonable questions. Thinking of this, Xiao Huohuo felt a chill behind him. I was patronizing Shuang at the beginning, but I forgot about it. Yanyan's words are still true, it feels really head up. You want to harm me, and I have to thank you? Advertisement? How about it, you don't deny it? Yun Yun showed Bao Jiju's smile. This. Xiao Huohuo didn't know what to say. Admit it, feel bad. If you don't admit it, you feel like you're not being fair enough. It's not as good as saying that fists are the last word, but this is not right. Irritability is dead. No, Xiao Huohuo can actually deny it. Ran, who had watched the play for a long time, suddenly spoke up, causing Yun Yun's smile that had not yet fully bloomed to freeze. Fellow, what do you say? Xiao Huohuo asked impatiently. Yun Lanzong, you can't figure out a portrait, Ran said with a smile. After all, it is the existence of the 8 ancient clans in the 3 directions, 93. What? Hearing Ran's words, Venerable Yao was the most excited. After all, he is the abandoned son of an ancient great clan, and he is very aware of the existence of the ancient great clan. On the contrary, Xiao Huohuo and Yun Ku were not aware of it, but they didn't know it after all. Fellow, who are the 8 great clans of the ancient era? There are many Dodi, an ancient race with complete Dodi blood and martial arts heritage. Hey, what do you mean by the imperial family? Okay. My portrait is actually related to the 3 ancient great clans? There is a family of medicines. Yao clan. Xiao Huohuo suddenly looked at Venerable Yao Yao. Venerable Yao was stunned for a moment, but he didn't expect that it was himself. But now that it was revealed, he nodded his head in agreement and said bitterly, I'm just an abandoned child who was expelled by the medicine clan, not even collateral, 33. Why do you need to belittle yourself, Venerable Yao? Ran interrupted. Venerable Yao relied on himself. His strength reached the peak of Dozun during his peak period. He was a 9th-rank alchemist, and he created Xingyun Pavilion with the respect of Zhijiaofeng, which is Zhangzhou. The land is one of the largest forces outside the 8 clans. If you were given time, you may not be able to reach the realm of a saint. It's their loss for the medicine clan to expel you. Hiss, Ran's words made Xiao Huohuo and Yanyan gasp. Venerable Medicine is definitely a self-made master. Venerable Yao himself was a little embarrassed, but he was also proud. Indeed, he was not bad back then. The second, which clan is it? Venerable Yao asked after changing the subject. Didn't you already have some guesses? Ran smiled. I didn't expect it. Venerable Yao looked at Xiao Huohuo with surprise. The latter froze for a moment, then pointed to himself in disbelief. Our portrait? Yes, portrait, Xiao clan. Venerable Yao's tone was full of sighs. Ancient races also have strengths and weaknesses. Back then, the strongest were the Soul clan, the Xiao clan, and the Ancient clan, all of which were at the peak of Dosheng, 99. The patriarch of the Xiao clan. Venerable Yao hooked up the history he knew. The Xiao clan and the Xiao clan patriarch were also legends back then. It's a pity that he was defeated before the realm of Dodi. I didn't expect that my Xiao family still has such a past, but now it has not fallen to the border town of the border empire of the Northwest state. Ah! Xiao Huohuo shook his head bitterly. Yun Yun's mouth twitched. The descendants of the imperial family are so good. The third, I think you all guessed it, 33 asked in a playful tone. Advertisement Venerable Yao also showed a playful smile. Xiao Huohuo scratched his head and said unexpectedly, I didn't expect Zuner to be so big. But she shouldn't be a core member of the ancient clan, right? How can the core members not focus on training, but put them on the portrait of decline? Xiao Huohuo's wave is very stable. Yes? Ran smiled meaningfully and stretched out his hand to the side. The next moment, the space is twisted. A figure shrouded in a cloak fell and lay down. Everyone. Zero Shadow, tell you what identity Zuner is. The sound of dying sounded. Zuner's image, he casually read it in Xiao Huohuo's memory. This means is not difficult, can only say 3D play all. He can't be this Sao thief. Huohuo can like it, it's true love. You are? Xiao Huohuo looked at Zero Shadow curiously. Master Xiao Huohuo, next is Ling Ying, who the patriarch stayed in Wutan City to protect the young lady. Ling Ying answered cleanly, completely forgetting Zuner's entrustment. Nanuo's, no answer will do. Rank is a powerful existence on the same level as ancient times. Patriarch, Miss. Xiao Huohuo has a national scolding that I don't know what to say or not to say. What did Do Shengfeng send his daughter to the portrait? Travel? The key is to soak it in yourself, Alexander? No, he has fellow villagers and medicine masters. Not bad either. In other words, if you want to shadow Senior, didn't Zuner's father send more strong guards? It's not needed in the Jiama Empire, and the clan sends experts over, it will inevitably attract other clans to spy on. Then the portrait will be exposed, and the young lady will not be able to have a relaxed childhood, and Miss Zuner has the 4th-ranked strange fire in her body. And the seal laid by the patriarch himself, there is a danger that the space can be torn apart directly. Man, that's a really comprehensive consideration. I think too much. So, Yun Lanzong really can't destroy the portrait. Xiao Huohuo glanced at Yun provocatively. Yan. Yes, you are like cowhide, you are like a peerless child. My apprentice Nalan Yanlin is blind to gold and jade. My sovereign master is too difficult, different fire continent, destroy it. It's all the man's fault. Yun looked at Ran angrily. After this man appeared, things started to get bad and complicated. He also likes to dismantle the SWAT and secretly himself. Relying on the strength to act indiscriminately. Too damn it. Can't make her feel better, that's right, 99. Yun's eyes lit up and she thought of a way. Wouldn't it be nice to let this stinky man be his own? Chapter 154. It turned out to be a stinky brother, helping Yun to practice trumpet. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. Senior, if you want Yun Lanzong to bow his head to Xiao Huohuo, you don't need to be so troublesome. Yun looked at the die with humiliation, she understood it completely. What happened to this matter today is not at all what Xiao Huohuo has the final say, but the final decision by Ran. If Ran opened his mouth, Xiao Huohuo felt aggrieved and could only recognize it. In turn, if Ran Ruo helped Xiao Huohuo, Yun Lanzong could only admit that he was down. Who made Nalan Yanlin young and energetic, and the way of doing things is too immature. It's just a divorce, there are many ways to make the portrait take the initiative. Ah, very well, I didn't expect Sect Master Yun to have this side. 3. Ran understood it, Yun was trying to gain his sympathy. Well, it was just a joke, I was just kidding. Although the portrait has a background, the portrait itself doesn't know it, nor does the Yunlin sect. As far as the matter is concerned, Yun Lanzong is indeed interesting in some respects. Ran pulled the topic back, and then rounded up. Xiao Huohuo wants to go to the appointment, but he wants to wash away the humiliation of the portrait. But in fact, the humiliation that has existed proves that scrubbing has existed. I have a perfect method here, which can not only save the face of the portrait in Yun Lanzong, but also let the fellow villagers find a place. 22. Hearing this, Xiao Huohuo and Yun's eyes lit up. For Xiao Huohuo, the humiliation of being divorced must be divided into 2 parts. One is his anger as a man, and he feels ashamed and loses self-esteem. Another part of the reason was because Xiao Zhan, the portrait patriarch of his father, lost all face, and he wanted to find a place for his father. As for portraits, just by the way, the 3-year contract between Nalan Yanlin and Huohuo must be fought. But I think the argument can be changed, it's not who loses who gets divorced, but who loses and who gets married. Ah, Xiao Huohuo. Zero Shadow. Clouds go. All the 4 of venerable medicine turned into fighting eyes. What the hell? Who loses to marry whom? How does a man marry a woman? Oh, the insemination. Wait, get in. Good idea? Yun clapped her hands and said with a smile, if I were in 990 now, I would make a rhyme in the Yunlan sect, saying that when Yanlan went to the portrait to find Xiao Huohuo to join the family, then everyone's face would be saved. That's right, everyone's face is saved. Why? Because the strong are respected in this world. Yun is powerful, so she is the sect master of Yunlan sect, one of the top 10 powerhouses in the Jiama Empire, a Dowang powerhouse that everyone fears, and an uncrowned emperor. The royal family of the Jama Empire is now the princess's temporary power, and is expected to become the queen because of her outstanding talent. And Nalan Yanlin, as Yun's disciple, the young sect master of Yunlan sect, and the eldest daughter of one of the great royal families of the Jiama Empire, how noble is her status. Xiao Huohuo was just the son of a clan in the border town whose master only had the strength of a big fighting master. He was also the 3rd son. Although he was a little boy before, he later became a waste. Any outsider who hears that Xiao Huohuo can join Nalan and become Nalan Yanlin's son-in-law will only be envious, jealous, and wish to replace him. Does anyone underestimate portraits? No one will. Advertisement. This is the brain circuit of this world. The strong are respected. Nolan is strong and Portrait is weak, as it should be. And Nolan did not tear up the marriage contract and will get a good reputation. The Portrait is not disgraceful, but with the addition of Nolan as a relative, within a few years, it will become the strongest family in Wutan City, and even spread its influence to diligently, and even relocate the imperial capital. No one is dissatisfied with the Portrait. Xiao Zhan would also be pleased, lamenting that his son married a good woman. In general, after the news spread like this, the Portrait, Xiao Zhan, Nolan, Yun Lanzong, everyone in the forces all gave a positive evaluation. Keeping promises, obeying the rules, and being like a close relative are detained. Nolan Yanlin will also be put on a hat of affection and justice. The only person who is unhappy may be the party involved, Xiao Huohuo. The wonderful thing about K. Ran's suggestion is that it turned the 3-year divorce agreement into a marriage agreement. The agreed battle is still going on. As long as Xiao Huohuo can win, it is not a marriage, but a marriage to Nolan Yanlin. At that time, Adia, everyone will envy and worship Xiao Huohuo even more. And this battle does not involve interests at all, and is only related to the two parties. If Xiao Huohuo can defeat the young sect master that the Yunlin sect has devotedly cultivated, it would not be bad for the young sect master to marry him. Therefore, everyone's face is saved. The only no wonder, it may be Xiao Huohuo, but the humiliation he endured really happened. It depends on whether he wants to vent his anger, or he wants everyone to look good. Whether you can win or not, I can compensate the Portrait and you in private, Yun said solemnly to Xiao Huohuo. This adds to the benefits, so how to choose? Fight for a breath. The anger is out, but the Portrait is still a laughingstock, and Xiao Zhan is still ashamed. Fellow, you really gave me a problem. Xiao Huohuo smiled wryly and shook his head. As long as you take the overall situation into consideration, you will know how to choose. As for humiliation, as long as you can duel. The moment he defeated Nolan Yanlin, it was revealed that he would lie down. I won't marry Nolan Yanlin, Xiao Huohuo said to Yun. It's a promise, there is really no reason to refuse. Yun breathed a sigh of relief and promised, if you win, you can take the initiative to take the hook and not marry, and then I will let Yan Lan agree. Winning but not marrying, Nolan Yangang loses face. Xiao Huohuo can be considered to have found the place back then. It's okay to pay for the wrong choice. That's it, I hope Sect Master Yun can convince your good disciple this time. Xiao Huohuo snorted slightly sarcastically. Yun didn't say anything, escorted by Venerable Dying and Medicine. This temperament is not proud of the lion, and it is too cowardly. Everyone chatted for a while. It was almost noon. Xiao Huohuo proposed to have a picnic together. Ran did not refuse, and Yun and Lingying also chose to follow. After lunch, everyone got to know each other. Mainly Uchiha Ran and Medicine Venerable have no heirs, making it easy. Are you fuse this body yourself, or I will help you fuse it? After drinking and eating, Ran decided to find some police work to do. Advertisement however, before leaving, I intend to give some greetings to Venerable Yao, who had a good conversation. Also a questioning tool. In the future, he will not hesitate to wait until Zhangzhou, Xingyun Pavilion. Your Excellency, can you help me recover? Venerable Yao's eyes lit up. A casual thing. Ran smiled and said, I know a secret method that allows your soul body to directly occupy this body, but the strength that can be exerted temporarily depends on the degree of recovery of your soul power. In your current situation, you can probably only use Dozun's peak strength, and of course, with the convenience of your body and your own experience in Dozun, you can persist against the newly promoted Dozun for a long time. As your soul power recovers more and more, your strength will steadily increase, and you will finally reach the pinnacle of Dozun. And when your body and soul are perfectly integrated, it's the time to break through Do Sheng. How about you? Do you want to try? It's better to wait for Master Xiao Huohuo to help you refine it after a few different fires, and it will be in one step. 99. No, just use the method you said. Venerable Yao immediately decided to fish. Refining with a different fire can indeed give him the strength corresponding to his body. But to be honest, this kind of fusion will have some hidden dangers. After all, the body does not belong to oneself. The higher the strength, the greater the hidden danger. However, if the dyeing method is used, although the strength is low in the early stage, it can gradually improve the fusion degree. The most important thing is that when they are perfectly blended, they can break through Do Sheng. This is a big opportunity. Ran Ping nodded, and Samsara Mangekyo suddenly burst into light. Seal. Ran uses the most direct way to put the soul of the medicine venerable into the body, and uses Chara as the connection to classify. Seals are like screws. As the soul power of venerable medicine increases, the screws will disappear, and the body will be more harmonious. Boom. A powerful aura erupted from venerable medicine. This is the strength of Dozong's peak. Huohuo, I can train you better now as a teacher, Venerable Yao said to Xiao Huohuo. Xiao Huohuo, he said that he ignored the medicine and asked Uchiha Ran. Ran, I have never asked you, how old are you now? Calling him by his first name means dying himself. Of course, neither Zero Shadow nor Venerable Yao did this. Xiao Huohuo is curious about Ran's age. They're all traversers, and he wants to have a goal. It can't be much different, can it? If Ran is 50 years old, she practiced burning art. As long as Yuo finds it well, she may not have a chance to catch up. Since Venerable Yao was also curious to see that the special police officer of Yu Ran was Yan Yun, the special police officer with ears perked up. She policed everyone and wanted to know how old this old monster was. Interested in my age? Ranchi smiled and shook his head, but he didn't hide it. There's still more than half a year until the 17th birthday, so let's count it as 16. Xiao Huo 4 people. There are question marks on our heads, not we have a problem, but you have a problem. 16 years old, half-step fighting emperor. Just kidding, you have to pay attention to the basic law, right? Emperor Dou's own son is not so strong, right? My fellow, this joke is not funny at all. Advertisement, you think I'm going to joke with you? Ah, I understand, you have skills in Zuyan, you will always be young, and you will always be 16. You're right, but I'm the 16th, the one you don't want to understand. This unscientific. If we are like this, will we still be scientific? Even if it's wearing, can it be explained by science? Believe it yourself. Okay, I believe it, Cowhide, please take my knee. Free gift. Xiao Huo. Yanyan, it was a stinky brother. 10 minutes later. Okay, let's break up here. He gave Zi Huo and some icy cold springs to Xiao Huo, and then gave the Zi Lingjing to Yun, and Ran patted the Zijing winged Lion King under his butt, ready to leave. To subdue a 6th-order monster that is at the peak of the Dou Emperor, it is as simple as releasing his breath for him. The amethyst-winged Lion King is still very happy. Do you want to be the mount of the Fighting Saint powerhouse? Ran, don't I need to continue to be your guide? Yanyan suddenly asked. Aren't you in a hurry to improve the strength of your precious apprentice? Ran wondered. Don't be in a hurry, anyway, the 3-year contract will definitely lose. Yun didn't care. Pitmaster stuff, put it aside. Well, Yun just felt very upset when she called a 16-year-old senior, and the latter still took it for granted. Following the die, she wanted to find a place. Xiao Huo. I'd be so bored if you did that. The police give up treatment, I want to win a little bit of gold. If you want, let's go together. Ran Yi waved and grabbed Yun onto the back of the amethyst-winged Lion King, hugged her, and said with a smile, maybe I can find a trumpet for you to practice. Yanyan. I just want to be with you, I didn't say I want to sit together. Who allowed you to hug me? Open, also trumpet, are you implying something? Unacceptable. Yanyan bowed her head shyly. Xiao Huo gave Ran a thumbs up and said with a smile, Fellow, see you soon. I have a chance to come to you for a drink. Xiao waved his hand, and Ran let the amethyst-winged Lion Dynasty Qingshan Town Fang fly away. Looking at the back of him leaving, Xiao Huo was full of fighting spirit. I am a descendant of Kyushu people, very nice. P.S. Dear readers, the little author will go to the hospital in the next 3 days to update the minimum 3 chapters and 10,000 characters, and as far as possible, it is more than 4 chapters and 10,000 characters. Wait until 3 days later, restore the bottom 4. Please Haihan. Please, a new round of rankings starts tomorrow. Chapter 155 Abduct the Fairy Girl, the 5 Shadow Talks, and the Golden List reappears. Previous chapter next chapter advertisement, Huo, do you think your excellency Ran is really only 16 years old? Looking at the back of Ran taking Yun away, Venerable Yao came to Xiao Huo with a solemn expression. 16-year-old Dou Sheng Peak, half-step emperor. Unheard of, teacher, I believe it. Xiao Huo pondered and said with a smile, teacher knows that some people are Dou Di when they're born. Even if things like time travel happen, Xiao Huo can't be a firm atheist. After all, isn't science theology at the end of it? Of course, it is also possible to use science to explain God, which is a higher life form. The descendants of higher life forms will be different for a while. Xiao Huo didn't believe it before, but now he can't help it. I was born a Dou Di. Both Venerable Yao and Zero Shadow widened their eyes in disbelief. They don't want to believe this kind of thing. Both of them were from the ancient imperial clan, and they knew the secrets that many people didn't know. For example, the precious and powerful blood of Dou Di. However, even the descendants of Emperor Dou started from condensing Dou Qi after birth. District police is the speed of condensed, and the speed of subsequent improvement of strength, but the starting point remains the same. For example, Ji Yuzuner, because of the high bloodline after Yun was born, was also sealed by his father. When he became an adult, he could open it, and then start a life of skyrocketing strength. Otherwise, there would be no chance for Xiao Huo to do that kind of thing for Ji Yuzuner when he was a child. Teacher, it seems that you have a secret and powerful background that your teacher doesn't know. Venerable Yao did not question Xiao Huo, but gave him a deep look. Xiao Huo lowered his eyes to dry, strong secret background? Blue Star Kyushu Traveler, it looks like a flat background. If all traversers can have a group, the heavens and the world can be invincible. Master, no explanation needed. Seeing what Xiao Huo was going to say, Venerable Yao interrupted him and said with a smile, everyone has a secret, and being a teacher is no exception. Isn't it also your secret that you used to be a teacher? It's better to keep it in your heart. I just want to say that since you have this power, you must make good use of it. 93. Don't be greedy and don't be afraid to use it. If you don't need such a big backer, you are a fool. But if you use it casually, it is even more foolish. Smart people will have a good grasp of the degree. And remember to be courteous. Yes, master, this disciple knows. Xiao Huo nodded seriously. Venerable Medicine nodded in satisfaction. This disciple has been honed by himself for 3 years, and his Xinxing is already quite good. Compared with the adopted scoundrel, it is countless times better. Advertisement. Thinking of this, Venerable Yao's eyes narrowed, full of killing intent. It's also time to clear the door. According to the information disclosed by Your Excellency Ran, that scoundrel Han Feng made a name for himself in the Black Corner territory, relying on the alchemy and incomplete burning techniques taught by his teacher, and found a strange fire. 99. It's just that, I went to solve him personally for the teacher, and asked you to fetch this hidden fire. In the Qinglian Earth Heart Fire that Your Excellency Jiueran promised to give you in a few days, and the purple fire of the origin of the Amethyst-Winged Lion King, your burning art can grow to a very high level. But in the next period of time, you need to work hard on your own. Dying this spoiler king spoiled a lot of news. He is good to Xiao Huohuo not to be a good person, but to train high-level thugs. There is also no need to worry about pulling seedlings to encourage growth. Even if you gather all the doubts for Xiao Huohuo now, don't worry. Because the process of absorbing the strange fire is itself the biggest test. His teacher, although Xiao Huohuo was reluctant to give up, he did not lie down and stay. This is something that the two masters and apprentices have discussed for a long time. Now Xiao Huohuo has 3 hole cards in his hand. First, Zero Shadow began to protect the face, which was considered a peak Dowang. Second, Venerable Yao left 3 jade slips with the strength of Dozong, and every time he inspires, he thinks of working hard with a peak Dozong powerhouse, and with the ancient spirit and cold fire, the peak Dozong dare not be hard. Anti. The third is a special weapon left by Ran with a space imprint. Xiao Huohuo can summon the former to help as long as it is stimulated. With 3 trump cards, at least in the Jamma Empire, Xiao Huohuo can indeed walk sideways. Don't worry, if you want to leave, you will wait for you to refine the purple crystal winged Lion King's source purple fire, and then break through to the Do Shi. Being a teacher is also very curious. Venerable Yao stroked Xiao Huohuo's head. This kid is still relying on himself, at the same time. The other side. Qingshan Town. The amethyst-winged Lion King hook is now in the air, and the breath of the 6th Order warcraft comparable to the peak of the Do Huang is exuding, making all the townspeople hide carefully. The mercenary who was going to enter the mountain was even more afraid to rhyme, and stood there like a sculpture. Until these people discovered that there were 2 figures on the back of the amethyst-winged Lion King. Hey, there is a man sitting on the back of the amethyst-winged Lion King. How is it possible? The amethyst-winged Lion King is one of the overlords of the Warcraft Mountains, and is comparable to the top 10 Do emperors of the Jiama Empire. Even Do Huang cannot make him bow his head. So, these 2 are Do Zong, Qingshan Town. How can such a strong person come? Qingshan Town. It's about to change. The other party seems to go directly to Wanyaojai's rest assured. Zushi. The sky above Wanyaojai. The arrogant voice of the amethyst-winged Lion King sounded. Call the fairy girl's rhyme to see the master of this seat. The word, master, once again stimulated those who were concerned about the situation here. Sure enough, the presence on the back of the amethyst-winged Lion King was unparalleled. It's just that they came to find the fairy girl. Could it be that the fairy girl offended people outside? Recently, there is news that Wan Yaojai has obtained the mysterious inheritance. Maybe it has something to do with it? Sir, please wait a moment, the fairy girl will be here soon. There was too much movement from the amethyst-winged Lion King, and Wan Yao Ointment naturally received the news long ago. As the owner of Wan Yaojai, the Zaizhu immediately greeted him. Advertisement. Hearing the order of the amethyst-winged Lion King, he immediately agreed. In the past few days, his master has actually prepared to attack the fairy girl and inquired about the information related to the inheritance of the strong. All of this is nothing at all in front of a strong man who can subdue the amethyst-winged Lion King. What kind of powerhouse inheritance can it be better than the living powerhouse? Unless it is some kind of Do Di Do Sheng inheritance. But even the inheritance of Do Zun is not something that a fairy girl can acquire. Not long after, the fairy girl was invited out. Ran looked at it, surprise flashed in his eyes. It's not that fairy girl Swat is pretty. With purple color and purple butterfly pearl jade in front, Yanyan is also an absolute beauty, and if she is still young, she will be inferior in comparison. He was surprised because this fairy girl was very similar to an old friend from a previous life. Well, just to say, it's like first love, it feels different. Come up. Dai waved at random. Everyone saw the fairy girl, flying into the air, and steadily came to the amethyst-winged Lion King. This scene shocked many people. What kind of means is this to control a person to fly into the air with a wave of a hand? Could this young man be the legendary Do Zun strongman? His eyes swept across the hand of the fairy hidden under the cuff, and the dying said gently, Wan Yaojai, what do you want to do? Who are you? Fairy asked without answering. Do you know Xiao Huohuo? Ran did not answer the question. Are you his friend? Fairy asked in surprise. He's my little brother, Ran nodded. Hearing this, the fairy fell silent. It's not that she doesn't believe it, she doesn't think it is necessary for a strong man like Ran to lie to her. He just didn't expect Xiao Huohuo to have such a powerful big brother. There's an absurd feeling that a friend of wine and meat suddenly becomes a rich second generation. Forget it, let him go. 0. For flowers. Miss Xian retracted her gaze, swept her gaze below, and said happily, after all, He has been good to me all these years, and this time, although he lost his head, he didn't do anything yet. I've already avenged my revenge with my own hands, it's fine if I can leave. At first, Miss Xian didn't know that a strong man was looking for her, and thought that the master of Wanyaojai was in trouble, so she spread the poison prepared in advance. Not fatal, but indefinitely will reduce the poisoner's cultivation base for a period of time. If the explosive strength is ignored during this period, the cultivation base will be permanently regressed and cannot advance an inch. The master of Wanyaojai is a figure in Qingshan town, but he is not without his opponents. When the time comes, Wanyaojai will not feel well. Let's go then. Ran did not refuse, and ordered the amethyst-winged Lion King to leave. It's just that no one noticed the strange look that flashed in his eyes before he left. Half an hour. The top floor of one of the most upscale restaurants in the Garma Empire. You mean, let me accept her as a disciple? Yun Yun pointed at the fairy girl with a surprised expression. Until now, he didn't understand what dying meant by practicing trumpet. Re-accept disciples instead of Nalan Yanlin, advertisement. Yeah, don't you think she is not qualified to be your disciple? 99 Ran smiled. Yun Yun's beautiful eyes rolled over. Calamity poison body, I'm worried that I won't be able to teach her, 99. 0 Just following the process of enjoying gourmet desserts, Ran has already pointed out that the fairy has a poisonous body, and also took out a precious poison to help activate Xiaoe. The fairy girl was struck by lightning. The poison sutra that happened to be obtained from the strong man's cave increased her knowledge reserve, and she knew exactly what the calamity poison body meant. It was a path that was rapidly becoming stronger but also destined to die. And once you die, you take away countless lives. So the interstellar body is called calamity. But just when she was desperate, she died a little between her brows and created 100 healings mark, saying that it could store poisonous fighting chi and condense it into poisonous pills in the future, without worrying about her life. Calamity, what does not exist? As a result, the fairy girl became the top talent. At least according to Rand's statement, 2 years of fighting the king, 3 years of fighting the emperor, and 5 years of fighting the emperor are not a problem. Just keep taking poison. Yun Yun is very envious. But he never thought of accepting him as a disciple. What do you think? Rand Xiaoshen girl asked gently. Fairy girl blushed slightly when she was seen. For some reason, the look in her eyes made her panic. If it means dying, it's fine as long as Sect Master Yun doesn't mind, the fairy replied. Mind? Of course I don't. Yun Yun said that she is going to order this trumpet. After the matter was settled, Ran accompanied the 2 girls in the imperial capital for an afternoon, and bought them a lot of expensive clothes and jewelry. After dinner, he left under the pretext and returned to the ninja world. In the next few days, he ran the 3 worlds regularly. Eat 3 meals a day at Shiji World. Different Fire Continent observes the situation of Zikai and Zidai, and occasionally drinks afternoon tea with Miss Yun Yunxian's master and apprentice. At other times, they are all in the ninja world, preparing to unify the ninja world. So the time came to 7 days later. The 5 shadows talks were held in the Iron Country. Rand sat on the main seat, looked at the other 4 shadows, and some leaders of the small ninja village who came spontaneously, and said with a smile, "Do you want to talk now, or after the gold rankings are released?" Hearing this, everyone looked at each other and discussed in a low voice. Rand didn't say anything to interrupt. In the end, Onogi said as a representative, "We will talk about it after the weapon list is announced." 99. Yes, there was a little more playfulness in the eyes. Do you think that after the gold list, you can increase the weight of gaining benefits? Spray, you have lost your last chance, that's it. Dai agreed. Onogi brings people the delicacies of the world of halberd. Time lapse. Finally, the golden list in the sky shines again. Chapter 156. The weapon list is announced, everyone is pale, and the 7 knives of the fog are counted down. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. Boom. After a lapse of 7 days, the bell of the golden list rang on time. Announcement of the Ninja World Gold List. All the souls of the Ninja World and the souls of the Pure Land can be seen on the gold list. Close black lens bracket. Ninja World Gold List announcement. Restricted speech. Rules remain unchanged. Gold List announcement. Note, anyone who will be on the list in the future can speak without restriction. Gold List announcement. Now the World Weapon List will be announced. There are 30 places in the weapon list. Every weapon on the list can be strengthened once, and the owner can get a reward. Yo, another golden bell rang. A 3-dimensional image emerges. It is Shiro who has announced to join Konoha Village, also known as Snow White. This time, the rhyme is still not a static image, but a moving image. Jinbang burns funds, creates a wave of special effects, and a weapon comes from outside the sky and flies to buy. The golden light appeared around the weapon, attracting everyone's attention. When the light disappeared, the weapon appeared in front of everyone. A very huge blade with a huge semicircular gap in the lower center of the blade. Many people know this weapon, but just because they knew each other, everyone showed an unbelievable expression. Thanks. The 3-dimensional image turns into a streamer and shoots into the weapon list, turning it into a weapon avatar. Specific ranking information is displayed. 30th place. Broken Sword, 260. Decapitation Sword. Absorbs the iron element in the enemy's blood to regenerate itself and restore the wielder's stamina. Owner. Snow White quiet. Extremely quiet. Not shocked that the beheading sword is on the list. Nor was it shocked that the beheading sword belonged to Shui Jabai. The reason for the big shock is that the beheading sword actually ranks 30th. Yes, the decapitation broadsword was once called the worst of Mist Shinobi's 7 knives, but that's also the functionality of the other 6 knives. It doesn't mean that this knife is really bad. Blood-sucking can regenerate itself, and blood-sucking can restore the stamina of the holder. For a physical ninja or a strong attack ninja, it is a perfect match. There are 7 people in the ninja sword, and the 7 people in the ninja sword are mutual achievements. People can join forces to capture a small country overnight, which also makes these 7 knives famous in the ninja world, no weaker than the fog. In the ninja world, most ninja tools can't compare to the 7 knives of Kiryu. But now, the beheading sword is only ranked last. This means that many of their weapons that they were confident could be listed on the list are not on the list. This means that there are many weapons on the weapon list that are beyond their imagination. Terumi Mei. I am one of the 7 knives of the fog hidden on the list, scatter flowers. Advertisement, Onogi. The police are out, everyone is stupid. 4th generation I. I'm no longer the 4th Raikage I used to be. I can understand this wave, and our people are basically not on the list. Open black lens bracket Onogi. Such a sad thing, you don't need to announce it in front of everyone, close black lens bracket. Killer B. Big brother, Bagar Yalu, my tailed beast, Ba Dao, has no Yalu, so I can't make it on the list. Tianshan. Sad, I have no chance of getting rich, and I can't help the adult. Uchiha Ran. Be good, there will always be something that should be there. Delui. Even the 7 knives of mist hidden are not enough, and the long knife and sickle behind me are not on the list either. Open black lens bracket Gara. The gourd behind me is not qualified. Feiduan. Lord Evil God, I'm going to cry, and the sickle is also excluded. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Madara. The sickle of the old man is not qualified, the junior wants to eat you. Kitamaru. Orochimaru-sama, sorry, weapons made of spiderwebs are not eligible for the list. Open black lens bracket Tayuya. The police say to you, my flute has no chance to be on the list. Orochimaru. Jia, myself and the Kusanagi sword that sent Sasuke are not on the list either. Open black lens bracket Jiraiya. Sadness flows against the river, and I originally wanted to rely on the sealed stone sword to counterattack, but it is impossible. Toad Bunta. I'm just a bigger pair of knives behind me and I'm not eligible for the list. Sai, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Toad Health. 1 open black lens bracket Toad Wide. Might Guy. My nunchaku doesn't seem to have a chance to make the list. Hitaki Kakashi. Guy, you are embarrassed by Yunlai, but it is the white fang blade that my father broke, and it is not eligible for the list. Unfortunately, I hope to get a chance to revive. Hitaki Sakumo. It's okay Kakashi, there will be opportunities in the future, it's really not possible to reincarnate, and I will witness the next era with my own eyes. Hitaki Kakashi. Yes, father, open black lens bracket beautiful hand Tobarama. The blade of the Thunder Spirit, which I have worked so hard to find, is no longer on the list, but I am even more curious. Even the Kirikan 7 swords are ranked last, and what is above them? Tool. There is a lot of discussion in the ninja circle. If it hadn't been for the beheading and the big knife at the bottom, it wouldn't have exploded so many diving parties that they exposed their weapons. Obviously everyone started out with a plan to fight. After all, there are 30 places, and there are only a few famous weapons in the ninja world. Excluding some possible hidden weapons, after removing the hidden mist 7 blades, it is estimated that there are still about 10 places for people to compete for. But reality tells them that their guesses are still too careful. There are many powerful weapons that are not known to the public. Iron Country. Conference Hall. The shadows of the other 4 hidden villages and the leaders of the major ninja villages all showed bitter smiles when they looked at Uchiha Ran, who was calm and composed in the main position. In this wave, they considered themselves to be pitted. The tone of the 5 shadows talks this time has been set on the division of interests after the unification of the ninja world from the very beginning. On the matter of unification, no one would disagree. In the face of absolute strength, no one who wants to die is worthless. Advertisement under the condition that the major premise remains unchanged, what everyone needs to discuss is the division of interests. Since 7 days ago, there was a realization that the ninja world wanted to unify. They have been busy for the past 7 days, and they just wanted to maximize their own advantages before the meeting was held. Weapons list, considered by them as their last chance. The more times they are on the list, the better the rewards they get, the more weights they have in their hands, and they can strive to share more benefits at the meeting. It's like, Iwagakure got the world gate of the spirit of halberd. So just after Uchiha Ran asked them whether to start the meeting right away, or wait until the weapon list was announced, they chose the latter. But now it seems that the portrait is giving them the last chance. What added weight? It is to watch people add weights around them. Lord 5th Hokage, it's so boring, why don't you start the meeting first? Terumi Mei fired at Uchiha Ran, trying to start the meeting right away. When the background of Konoha increases, the interests of all parties will be exploited even less. As a person, I don't really like the dual use of Ishin. Uchiha Ran gently put down the teacup in his hand. Many Lubao's bitter smiles, but no one continued to speak. Declined, it was already Uchiha Ran who gave them face. You really don't think that you can take off the black kill of Hiruzen Sarutobi, what kind of good man and woman are you? At this time, The weapon wood expulsion name will be updated after the information. Rewards revealed. Weapon rewards. Increased hardness, increased blood-sucking speed, increased repair speed, and restored the owner's physical strength. 2 styles can be added according to the user's needs. Owner reward. Primary resurrection card, L. Not waiting for those on the list to receive it, in the gold list screen, a ray of light fell, falling on the beheading sword in front of Bai. The beheading sword suddenly changed visible to the naked eye. It was sharp, cold, and even had murderous aura itself. Receive the reward, Bai said with a suppressed voice. A ray of light fell and turned into a card. That's a resurrection card. Although it is only a primary level, it can perfectly resurrect people who died within 5 years. No one will dislike the existence of resurrection coins. If I don't kill you again, I can finally resurrect you. Shiro cried with joy while holding the card. The live broadcast was cut off at this point. Yo! The golden bell rang. An image of the next entrant appears. Wearing a green jumpsuit, exaggerated eyebrows, wonderful smile. A ray of light flew out of the sky and fell beside Might Guy. It's a blade like a stick. Advertisement. The 3-dimensional image turns into light and shoots into the weapon list. The ranking information is displayed. Number 29. Long knife and needle, the blade that pierces everything and sews it. Owner. Might Guy. It is also one of the 7 knives of the fog hidden. Open black lens bracket Chirumi Mei. Sawa is my Kirikan's ninja sword. Luo Sha. Is it stupid, and it doesn't belong to you, Wuyan? Open black lens bracket Chirumi Mei. Then I'm happy too, you can't be resurrected 4th case cage, less BB. Open black lens bracket Luo Sha. Rub, at Tamari, good daughter, resurrect your father. Open black lens bracket Tamari. Dad, I think it's better to wait for my brother to calm down. Open black lens bracket Gara. Thank you sister. Luo Sha. I shouldn't rhyme, alas. Snow White. At Uchiha Ran-sama, I want to exchange the resurrection card for your shot to resurrect Mr. Open black lens bracket. Do not cut the peach land again. Bye, don't do such a meaningless thing. Close black lens bracket. Shui Jabai. If I don't kill you again, although I have found the meaning of continuing to live on the side of Lord Ran, without you, I will feel lonely. Open black lens bracket. Peach land will not be cut again. Lonely. HMPH, that's all. It's really worrying that you haven't watched this kid. Shui Jabai. Thank you for not beheading adults again. Onogi. Ah, what kind of sand sculptures, including faces, are hidden in the fog? Uchiha Obito. I can agree with that. Open black lens bracket Chirumi Mei. Get out of here. Close black lens bracket. Uchiha Ran. You are getting more and more familiar with the water group, at Shueiji Bai. Wise decision 1.5. I can promise you, and the beheading sword is still reserved for Zaifu. Your decision is really wise. Resurrection is something that Uchiha Ran can already do. But resurrecting different people has different costs to pay. The limitation of the resurrection card is only the time of death. For Uchiha Ran, resurrection is just an easy thing to do, but it will be difficult to resurrect Hashirama. But if the wisdom hand Hashirama is dead now, the cost-effectiveness of using the resurrection card is very high. What's more, the resurrection card is bound to me, and I will be resurrected within a certain period of time after my death, and Uchiha Ran can also be used. Taking the resurrection card and trading with Uchiha Ran, Bai can achieve his goal and get Uchiha Ran's favor at the same time, which is naturally a wise decision. Uchiha Ran did return the beheading sword completely to Zebushu. Originally, this knife was already his trophy. I asked Kakashi and the others not to. At this time, the information is refreshed after the ranking. Weapon rewards. Enhanced piercing effect, additional poison, seam with its own seal effect. Owner rewards options 1. Primary resurrection card X1. 2. The seal of the dead gate of the technique of 8 inner gates. Open the dead gate for no more than 3 minutes, the damage can be exempted. Uchiha Ran. Come on, Might Guy, this is Bumpman. Chapter 157. The unsung hero might die, Conan. I like to be friends with rich women. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement. Open the door of death for 3 minutes to avoid death. 7 days of cooldown each time. A good reward. 9. Uchiha Ran's dark eyes shone brightly. Might Guy's partiality is very serious. If it is not physique, its own strength is weak in Chunin, but if it is physique, it is strong in Jonin. And if he opens 8 inner gates, 1 gate to gate can reach elite Jonin and even quasi-shadow. 5th gate to 6th gate is properly cage level, and it is the more powerful kind. 7th gate is well beyond cage level, quite powerful. As for the 8th gate, that is the level that even the 6 pads level can threaten. Although this strength is somewhat weak, and the weakness of physique is also obvious, no one can ignore its outbreak of combat power. After all, this is the personal test of Madara. If in the 4th Ninja War in the original trajectory, Might Guy can open the 8th gate for 3 minutes and then try again, even if he misses Madara's head the first time, he can make up for it again. This is an existence that can perish with ordinary 6 paths. Very useful. Guy, should you know what to choose? Inside the Hokage building, Kakashi gave Might Guy a look. If you choose 2, Might Guy's combat power will soar directly to Konoha's first echelon, which is of great significance. Kakashi, don't worry. Might Guy gave Kakashi a thumbs up and flashed his front teeth. Kakashi's mouth moved slightly. next to Uchiha Obito. Seeing this scene, his face darkened for no reason. Rin Nohara, who was standing beside 4th generation Namikaze Minato, who was handling official business, noticed the situation and interjected with a chuckle. This Shira field is interesting. Speaking of which, Konoha is really too strong right now. The other hidden villages are Yingja 2 guards. But Uchiha Ran directly dispatched 2nd generation Rough Hands Tobirama along with 6th generation Tsunade and Madara. When the Five Shadows conference just started, the leaders of the Shadow and Ninja village thought that Konoha was going to take him. 03. A ray of light shot down from the golden list, and the ninja sword in Might Guy's hand transformed. Might Guy didn't care about this, but asked the live camera, Lord 5th generation, if I choose one, can I use the resurrection card to replace the chance of father's resurrection? According to Konoha's current rules, merit is everything. As long as you have merit points, you can exchange to learn any ninjutsu. As long as there are merit points, they can be exchanged for strange objects, weapons, teaching from the strong, and even resurrection. This is also the law that Konoha will soon implement in the ninja world. The replacement of Might Guy is in line with the rules. However, when he said these words, everyone was stunned. No one would have imagined that this older young man's decision was actually this. Resurrect father. No matter how good your father is, can he have a temporary 6 paths level combat power and a normal cage level combat power? If there is strength, it is impossible to remain unknown in the ninja world. Advertisement that is, just a normal ninja. Value for money is too low. Changed to Kakashi's father, Konoha White Fang, and said in the past, after all, people also have value. To put it bluntly, Might Guy's choice of resurrecting his father and choosing the second is not a cost-effectiveness at all. Even if the resurrection card is in the hands of Uchiha Ran, and it is he who resurrects Might Guy's father. But the resurrection card, no matter how you look at it, is also a good deal for strength. Too stupid. Guy? Kakashi's mouth twitched. He could understand the other party's desire to resurrect his father. But Guy's weapon was given by Uchiha Ran, probably for the reward of having option 2. As a result, if you satisfy selfish desires, you will give up a great future. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. You can choose 2, your father and I will be resurrected naturally. Master 5th generation, isn't that bad? Might Guy was grateful in his heart, but his refusal tone was even firmer. You gave me a long knife and stitches, it is already a kind of love, if I get the reward, but I don't have to exchange the merit for the chance of resurrection, I will break the rules you made. You'd better follow the rules. Might Guy felt a little ashamed. His father was unable to speak on the golden list, obviously his strength was not recognized by the golden list as at least Jonin level. Actually this is understandable. At that time, if Might Guy hadn't circumvented Chunin's strength, he would have been able to push back the 7 ninja swordsmen without having to break out the 8 gate. It is also impossible to break out the 8 gate, and only kill a few 7 people. What 7 people are, they are nothing in front of Madara of Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and Guy is the Emperor of Guy. Don't choose 2 and choose 1, it's a bit selfish indeed. This guy has given me consideration. Uchiha Ran laughed. You didn't tell him why you gave him the long knife and stitches? Tsunade asked with a strange look. He took it without hesitation, I thought he knew. 99 Uchiha Ran said with a little speechlessness. Tsunade put his hand on his forehead and smiled, it's so sloppy. 11. Isn't this a brain laugh? Uchiha Ran laughed and shook his head, then said seriously, but some things just happened to let everyone know. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Guy, why do you think I gave you a long knife and stitches? Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Give 1st generation, 2nd generation, 4th generation more benefits, right? The people on the list themselves have different strengths, and relatively speaking, the gold list will issue better rewards. For example, it is definitely different from the 3 Go Jade to Mangekyo, and the 1 Go Jade to the 3 Go Jade. Ah, isn't this because this weapon is more suitable for me? Might Guy asked, scratching his head in embarrassment. Teacher, it's better if you don't have a weapon, right? TNTN awakens the soul of Tukao. Guy, this is like your brain circuit, Kakashi also complained. Ha ha ha, is there any secret in that? Might Guy smirked and touched his head. Uchiha Ran. Remember how your father died? Of course I remember. Might Guy's expression became solemn, and he clenched his fists and said, in the 3rd Ninja War, Kiryu village dispatched a group of 7 ninja swords to attack Konoha, and I accidentally ran into them when I was playing outside the village. They wanted to kill me. At the critical moment, my father stood up, opened the 8 gate, killed 4 of them, scared away the other 3 and dissolved the crisis. As he spoke, Might Guy's eyes were full of admiration. Advertisement father is the person he admires the most. His will of fire was inherited from his father, but what Might Guy didn't know was that his words were like a grenade put into a small pool and exploded directly. Onogi. Ah, what did I hear? Luosha. During the 3rd Ninja World War, 7 people with ninja swords attacked Konoha, and 1 person killed 4 and scared 3 away? Open black lens bracket 4th generation I. At Terumi Mei, what are you doing to raise money? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. The police asked me, although I was already Jonin at that time, but I hadn't touched the core of the village, I asked the 4th generation project. Tachibana Yagura. At that time, 3rd Raikage died in battle, Iwagakure lost several elite ninjas, and Namikaze Minato became famous. My Kirikin kept on holding his troops, and I found an opportunity to sneak attack on Konoha. What's the problem? Master Yuan. No problem. The only problem is that I didn't encounter Hiruzen Sarutobi, but I met the father of this Might Guy. Open black lens bracket Might Guy. My father's name is Might Dai, Kurihao Kushimaru. Damn it, so he was the one who kicked me to death, Might Dai. Wu Li Jin Ba. We were both so miserable, we didn't even react when we met the first step. Li Hao Kushiwan. The outside world also said that we are a ruthless duo. I think Might Dai Shang is ruthless. Tung Sao Yebaran. I once said that people in the Pure Land still feel pain in their chests. Wu Jun 8. The most annoying thing is that he failed to speak on the golden list, which shows that his strength is not Jonin. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Bone. The technique of 8 inner gates is too buggy, but fortunately Lousy ran fast. Open black lens bracket Peach Shuzo. Luck is good luck. Black Holea. Fortunately, he ran fast at the beginning. Yagura. So you all died and escaped, that's how you came. No wonder you didn't want to report the situation at the beginning? Onogi. The old man's strange, such a thing. Why is there no news from Konoha's side? Killing 4 ninja swords and 7 people, how can it be able to boost the morale of the army? Luosha. Needless to say, 3rd Hokage must have concealed it. Open black lens bracket 4th generation eye. Why is Hiruzen Sarutobi concealed? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Onogi. For Konoha, 4th generation eye, I don't know. Onogi. You don't need to understand, as long as you remember these 4 words, you can make Konoha Hokage. Open black lens bracket Uchiha Ran. Onogi. I mean, Hisan Sarutobi is not fit for Hokage. Open black lens bracket Hisashi Sarutobi. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Open black lens bracket Shimura Kuro. Sarubi, accept your fate. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Hisashi Sarutobi. Shut up, it was you who persuaded me to say that the war was about to come to an end. Don't stimulate the fog-hidden nerves and set up enemies again. I will hide the news. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Shimura. I'm so special, you are always Hokage, you make decisions. Open black lens bracket Sarutobi Hijuchi. Exita JW. Group of people. Uchiha Ran. At Might Guy. Got it. Senior Might Dai killed the 7 people with the ninja sword, not only protected you, but also protected Konoha, he is a real hero. Uchiha Ran. We were able to find a few of the 7 knives of the fog hidden, thanks to this battle, so you will be able to get a weapon. Uchiha Ran. For a hero who sacrificed a lot like Senior Might Dai, there is no need for the police to spend meritorious deeds, and Ben Hokage will also resurrect him. I see, Lord Hokage. Uchiha Ran said it was so clear, Might Guy would naturally not be confused again. His father was a hero who sacrificed and contributed greatly to the village. Could be resurrected. Advertisement, no need to choose one. I choose 2. Might Guy does query selection. The gold list will immediately issue rewards. The screen of the Jinbang live broadcast room was interrupted at this time. Boom. The bell rang. Stereoscopic images appear. This is a girl wearing a pink Kyushu-style cheongsam and a small side jacket with a traditional Kyushu bun, which is 2 balls. There is a blade flying out of the sky. The image turns into light and shoots into the binding. Ranking appears. 28th. Blunt knife ghost cut. Blade that defeats all defenses. Owner. Tianshan. It is also one of the 7 knives of the fog hidden. As Might Dai's deeds were revealed, no one thought it was an exception. As for the fact that Tianshan can have this weapon, at least no one on Konoha's side is surprised. After all, every day is a Xinjiang who plays with weapons, and giving her one is a village investment. There is also Tianxiang, who is too rich, and has made great contributions to the reconstruction of rough hands in Uchiha, and to the construction of children. With the nodding of the flamboyant Hashirama and Uchiha Madara in person, followed by the escort of Tobirama and the rough hand Tsunade, Namikaze Minato acquiesced and Uchiha Ran agreed. Weapons belong. A minute passed quickly. Weapon reward. With soul attack, double defense of spirit and body. Owner reward. Soul ring, recognized by blood, the only owner after binding, contains an infinite space. Any weapon can be placed in it, it needs to be summoned at any time, and can be randomly selected once a year. Weapon characteristics are integrated into the body. See this bonus. Many people were stunned. What kind of reward is this? But in the live broadcast room, Tien jumped up excitedly. Great, I can put 100 million detonating charms, a variety of weapons, boats, carriages and everything in one place. Saying that, Tien took out a huge scroll. The reels opened, and summoning rhyme 10 reels again. Each of these 10 scrolls is a scroll with summoning rhyme. Infinite nesting dolls. People. Conan, who was watching the live broadcast, narrowed his eyes. Just like 100 million explosive symbols, and this is a rich little lady. Must make friends. Chapter 158. Tianshan is always the first heroine. Kirikin 7 swords or Konoha 7 swords? Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Silence, it's Cambridge tonight. No, silence is the current ninja world. Looking at the countless summoning scrolls that are summoned every day in the live broadcast room, many people swallowed. Is this enough for a squadron or even a front brigade during the war to reserve military divisions? Moreover, everyone knows the special distinguishing marks on the seal scroll. Some are detonating talismans, some are blades, some are hammers, some are sharp swords, some are crutches, chain sticks, bows and arrows, and Jilon people. There are even precious ninjutsu sealed scrolls, the kind with ninjutsu sealed in them. Such an amount is an astronomical figure in terms of money. Open black lens bracket Luo Sha. Ah. Did Konoha put all the military reserves on this little girl? Close black lens bracket. Onogi. This is almost catching up with my Iwagaker's combat readiness inventory. Open black lens bracket 4th generation I. If I kidnap this little girl, wouldn't I, Cloud Shinobi, be fat? Open black lens bracket Azabui. 4th generation Sama, please forbid the idea of causing trouble to Rock Shinobi village. Open black lens bracket Killer B. Baga Ya Road, Empty Yalu, Big Brother, love each other in the ninja world, understand? Open black lens bracket Chirumi Mei. But I have to say, this is too rich, I have a hidden weapon reserve, I feel inferior, including face. Open black lens bracket Aoba Yamashiro. Do you think the portable warehouse in the legend of our Konoha village is called for nothing? Tsunade. My Konoha's reserves, let's compare it with Tianshin, after all, her father is the largest weapon supplier in the country of fire. Tianshin. It's okay, my father has been making machines since I was born, selling one and keeping one, and there are so many. Open black lens bracket Shizune. A weapon that has been stored for 13 years? Open black lens bracket Uzumaki. Envy. Broken sound. Conan. A Tianshin, is my little sister short of honey? What do you think about my sister? Zhao. Are you missing a younger brother? I don't mind earning some extra money. Uchiha ran. The police embarrass me. Every day looks like a weapons store, and I have shares in the Kyushu Chamber of Commerce. Kakuzu. So it's my own, so it's fine. Close black lens bracket well, in Kakuzu's eyes, what a village is not a village, a country is not a country, is meaningless. Whoever has the master economic and financial power and who can give him money is the boss. Receive award. After hooking all the scrolls every day, I received the reward. Jinbang shot a ray of light and turned into a ring suspended in front of it. Acknowledge the Lord. Tien gently bit his index finger and dripped blood on the ring. The next moment, a strong connection is established between the two. Receive. Tien was blessed to the heart, put the ring on the ring finger, and then waved it forward. Advertisement in the next moment. All the space scrolls burst into inquiry rays of light, and weapons continued to be hooked, turning into a torrent of weapons, constantly submerging into the ring. Seeing this scene, the eyes of Namikaze Minato, who was at the scene, and Huisho, who was far away in the Iron Country, suddenly lit up. Open black lens bracket Yan Sho Tobarama. Little girl every day, are you interested in becoming my disciple? Open black lens bracket Namikaze Minato. It seems that second generation has also discovered it? Open black lens bracket Tobarama. Yes, this little girl definitely has the talent to learn the technique of flying thunder god. The purpose of Namikaze Minato, second generation, is to use all kinds of forbidden arts, and the weapon talent of Tianshin may be in harmony with the younger generation. Open black lens bracket Wei Sho Tobarama. So, you want to grab an apprentice with me? Close black lens bracket. Namikaze Minato. It's a pity not to fight for such a good seedling, let's compete fairly, second generation. Uchiha ran. It is better to be a teacher every day or to the second generation project. Open black lens bracket Namikaze Minato. Why? Open black lens bracket Uchiha ran. 4th generation. Think about where the disciples of 2nd generation are now. If you don't accept a good disciple, it will soon become a black history gap. Among your disciples, Obito has Kamui, Kakashi once had Kamui, definitely have the ability to learn the technique of flying thunder god, you teach them enough. Namikaze Minato. Yes, Obito and Kakashi both have spatial talent, Obito has Sharingan, observation is above me, Kakashi has Sharingan and perception, I understand. Open black lens bracket Tobarama. Then thank you 4th generation. Close black lens bracket at the meeting of the 5 shadows of the Iron Kingdom. 2nd generation gave Uchiha Ran a grateful look. Uchiha Ran has a saying that is right, the disciples he once accepted were all unsatisfactory. Konoha F4, completely his black history. On the contrary, Uchiha Kagami from the Uchiha clan is the best, but it will take time to revive. When arguing with Uchiha Izuna recently, the latter made fun of him about it. Mirror's descendant Uchiha Shisui is also good, but after being resurrected by Uchiha Ran, he and Uchiha Itachi become one of the Anbu members. So now seeing Tien, this good seedling, he couldn't help it. 5th Hokage, how did you know that this little girl has the talent of Master Flying Thor? Terumi Mei asked curiously. As we all know, space talent is not ninja talent. Ninjas have a talent for space and can be said to have hit the jackpot. Even the most inferior space talent, if you can study hard, the master's ability to make space scrolls can quickly accumulate wealth and become a special love. And this kind of talent, there should be detection methods for the time being, and you need to explore by yourself. Because of the means of summoning weapons every day. Uchiha Ran picked up the teacup and explained gently, as we all know, the space scroll is made by the principle of summoning, a person with space talent, and the weapon that was just summoned around Tianshin was sealed in a different space by ninjutsu through time and space, summoning rhyme to use when needed, get it? I see, Terumi Mei and the others nodded. A Tianjo who can sense different spaces and store weapons on a large scale, who would dare to say that she has no talent for space? This is simply the best heir to the Flying Thunder God technique. No wonder 2nd Hokage and 4th Hokage are fighting. I'll go back to Konoha first. Advertisement difficulty. Tobirama was also a little anxious. Seeing that the screen of the Jinbang Live broadcast room turned black, he performed the technique of hooking the Thunder God with a single explanation. Upon seeing this, Terumi Mei secretly asked Uchiha Ran-kun, such a girl, why don't you accept yourself as an apprentice? 93. Uchiha Ran accepted the saddle horse Yakumo as a disciple, apparently willing to teach disciples. Secret. Uchiha Ran gave Terumi Mei a mysterious smile. Why? Of course, it was because Tien was the first girlfriend he found in this ninja world. What looks, strength, and background are nothing in front of Kyushu style. This jar is the first female lead, and civilians are born, and their talents are extremely talented. Terumi Mei pouted and wanted something else, but before he could speak, the young and middle-aged 3rd Tsuchikage sitting beside him suddenly slammed the table, stood up and said excitedly, "Good boy, you really surprised me." Huh? Terumi Mei looked at the sky. Before I saw Jinbang, a three-dimensional image of a blonde young man appeared. It is Deidara who has been on the blood succession list. Number 27. Explosive knife droplet, blade that perfectly ties with the explosion. Owner. Deidara. The knife on the list is still one of the 7 knives of fog hidden. The blade that can be perfectly formed with the explosion, the blaster and the droplet. Absolutely the best weapon for Deidara, who has the limit of the blood burst and swallows the fruit of the explosion. Open black lens bracket Onogi. Deidara, you are getting more and more restless. When will you return to Iwagakure? Open black lens bracket Deidara. Old man, I said that I will not go back to this place where I don't understand my art, and I am not interested in becoming a Tsuchikage. I just want to have a blast. Onogi. Good apprentice, where is there any Tsuchikage after today? Even if it is not the same as before, the next is the era of unification, the era when the whole ninja world will develop towards the heavens and the world together. You will Iwagakure. I specialize in find some Earth-style ninjas to learn art with you. Joke. Whether it's the younger self, the Han who doesn't have to worry about the runaway, or the black soil who inherits his own strength perfectly, he will inherit the position of Tsuchikage more appropriately than Deidara. It's impossible for Deidara to do Tsuchikage. Now he just wants to get more heads, and when he negotiates with Konoha later, he can gain more benefits for Iwagakure. Deidara, who possesses the power of the Blood Legion and Devil Fruit, is also strong in cage level, and now has Deidara, who is one of the 7 majors of Mist hidden and is about to win the gold ranking award again, which will definitely increase his points a lot. Deidara. Old man, if you had realized this earlier, I would have gone, but I can't ignore it now. Open black lens bracket Onogi. Why? Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket Deidara. Are you stupid? How do you think I got this weapon? Onogi. Isn't it a windfall? Onogi glared inwardly. Advertisement, Deidara. No, it was given to me by the leader. Onogi. Lord Chief? Onogi looked at Uchiha Ran suddenly. Recently, the whole ninja world knew that Akatsuki was taken over by Konoha, and he and Anbu became the 5th Hokage Uchiha Ran master. But no one knows exactly which members joined. But in Onogi, Deidara is so eager for freedom and art, and after all he has been his apprentice, he will never join Konoha to be Uchiha Ran's subordinate. But now it seems that I think wrong. That's right, Deidara is working under me now, and this droplet was also given to him by me. It is an official weapon. Uchiha Ran smiled at Onogi. The nature of blasting Deidara's knives is the same as that of the senior officials of the village of Kirien who distributed the 7 knives of Kirien to 7 elite ninjas, and the group, Xiao Wanghao, built a group of 7 people. This knife that can be perfectly connected with the explosion is naturally the Deidara that can be perfectly connected with the explosion. I'm so stupid. Oyemu restrained his smile and returned to his seat with a wry smile. Uchiha Ran really is a no-brainer. The weapon list has been announced so far, and there are 4 in a row, all from Konoha. And the farther ahead, the fewer people from other ninja villages can make the list. This time, won't it be Konoha to stand out? At this time, the information is updated after the ranking. Weapon reward. The power of devouring the explosion can be regenerated, it can amplify the power of the explosion, and it can devour the power of the explosion to restore the main body's strength. Owner's reward. Human tool ask, can be bound to a certain weapon, perfect fusion, usually hidden in Dantian space. Good reward. My art is about to become more perfect. Deidara, who was on a secret mission, shouted excitedly and immediately received the reward. The next moment, the gold list reward will be issued. Soon, the screen of the live room switched, Yui. The golden bell rang. The people on the list are people who are no strangers to everyone. Black Ho Lei Fang, 26th place, Thunderblade Tooth, with the fastest blade of lightning. Owner. Black Ho Thunderfang, Onogi. Lei Ya and Renmara seem to join Shamuya, so will this Kirien 7 Swords be renamed, Konoha 7 Swords? Open black lens bracket Terumi Mei. Onogi, will you die if you are unfortunate to rejoice in misfortune? 1. Chapter 159 The Technique of Thunder, the Incarnation of Orcs, and the 6 Tactics of Proud Cold. Subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement, Old Man Tsuchikage, can you speak? Terumi Mei slammed the table and glared at Onogi. 2 figures hooked up behind Terumi Mei, increasing their momentum. At the same time, Kuroto and Han also came behind Onogi and looked at Terumi Mei and the 3 of them defensively. I'm not an old man now, and I'm not a 2-day scale, you pay attention. 19. Inomu poked out his ears, looking very arrogant. In fact, on the premise of not counting Konoha as a monster, this young third Tsuchikage is indeed the most powerful of the four. Although Terumi Mei was rewarded, it was mostly auxiliary and did not help much to improve combat power. Gaara is still too young. 4th generation Ai's strength has never been improved. 2 days, you seem to mean something? Jung and Huisho Hashirama and Uchiha Izuna's Uchiha Madara rhyme card hand paused, and glanced over. Gum. Oyumu's whole body was sweating, and he couldn't help sitting upright and said, Madara Daren, of course you can call whatever you want. Really? I thought you were unhappy with the nickname I gave you? Where, Madara-sama, you can give me a nickname. It is an honor, and the younger generation will remember it for a lifetime. It's better, otherwise I can only be considerate and make your nickname live up to its name. Onogi. Lord Madara, why are you happy? Humph. Madara turned her head, then looked at the 3 remaining cards in her hand, and shouted to Hashirama, Hashirama, are you stealing my cards? What? Just after finishing a second, Hashirama, who was preparing for a wave of rhyme, raised his brows and said unhappily, what are you kidding? You are Samsara Ai now, can you still do tricks on your hands? Uchiha Madara's forehead tightened slightly. When this guy Hashirama, the smart hand, faces him, his IQ will go up. If it were normal, he would not be able to notice the details of the reincarnation eye. HMPH, I didn't open the reincarnation eye just now, maybe you are in sage mode? Uchiha Madara gave Uchiha Izuna a look. Izuna, what do you think? Nissan, Hashirama did steal one of your cards, this little king. 93 Izuna was right to ask. Uchiha Madara Lucan really has such an expression. Advertisement Huisho Hashirama became numb. Izuna, we are a group, and Madara is the landlord. I know. Izuna nodded solemnly, so I won't lie. Hashirama, you admit it. Uchiha Madara's mouth moved slightly. Aren't you guys a jerk? Hashirama said angrily. This game doesn't count, wait for Togorama to continue to double dunk. Okay, for the sake of being an old friend, I'll be reluctant. Uchiha Madara threw the cards on the table casually, feeling proud. It's not good, otherwise with a little turtle on his face, where will his Uchiha Madara's face go? Everyone. Watching 3 people play cards, you can watch all afternoon. What a great show. Terumi Mei, calm down. Uchiha Ran smiled. Shin Yan reassured Terumi Mei. We have to have a pattern. What about the 7 knives of the fog hidden, and the 7 knives of the ninja world directly, isn't it more compelling? Ran-kun said yes. Terumi Mei smiled twitchingly. Of the 7 knives in the ninja world, your Konoha occupies 6. The force is naturally there. Onogi glanced behind Terumi Mei and said nothing. Let's take care of each other and help each other, and strive to win more benefits from Uchiha Ran's hands later. At this time, the information is updated after the ranking. Weapon reward. Can swallow thunder evolution, can swallow thunder storage. Owner's reward. Thundering technique, a secretary who can make his body thunderphone at will, making physical attacks ineffective. In addition to being able to easily evade melee attacks, he can also conduct electrical tools, with great flexibility, similar to Water the Art of Transformation. What? In the Jinbang live broadcast room, a ray of light shot from the Jinbang and fell on the weapon in Lei Yao's hands. Boom. The entire Thunder Saber teeth suddenly flashed purple lightning, and finally turned into a thunder. The Black Hole Leia holds the thunder knife, like holding a thunder. Receive award. Under the envious gaze of many people, the Black Hole Leia received the reward. A ray of light fell, and he turned into a thunderbolt in everyone's eyes. It's actually the technique of turning into snow, it should be the nemesis of the Ghost Lamp clan. Terumi Mei said unrecognizable. Immune to physical attacks, this secret technique does not improve the strength of ordinary people and ninjas. Although he was 12 years old, it would be great if this secret technique could be given to us in Cloud Shinobi Village. 4th generation I couldn't help but envy. Advertisement being a thunderbolt is indeed of great value to Cloud Shinobi, who have many thunder ninjas or rely on lightning style to exercise. It's really a good secret technique. Uchiha Ran exclaimed in admiration, thinking that after the 5 Shadows meeting, he would go to the Black Hole Leia to ask for this secret technique. He now has reincarnation Mangekyo, and he has blood and a net, and it is easy for the master to have any more Zara-related ninjutsu or secret arts. The rhythm of the thunder technique gave him the idea of learning the technique of hydration and getting together the secret technique of incarnation. This kind of secret technique is similar to the existence of elemental words in the world of pirates after taking the natural multiplication fruit. Both have their pros and cons. For those who take devil fruit, their power comes from nature. It seems to be completely complete. The power depends on their own development and use. If they use cage level poorly, they can even threaten the quasi-6 paths. Weaknesses are also obvious, one is seawater and the other is sea stone. As for the people of the master secret technique, elementalization is based on their own chara. After the chara is consumed, they lose this special state, and they will still be attacked by physical methods and can be killed. In addition, it will be restrained by attributes. For example, the technique of hydration can liquefy the body at will, invalidating physical attacks. In addition to being able to easily avoid attacks in melee combat, it can also sneak into buildings and attack in a liquefied state, etc. It has great flexibility. Sex, but turns the caster into a jelly-like sculpture when encountering lightning style. Then the technique of thundering will most likely be controlled by wind attribute attacks, such as severing and destroying, or entering hemp, ADBF, and other effects. 2 ways to let Uchiha Ran choose, he will choose the latter. Because, for him who can absorb natural energy, chara is equivalent to endlessness. And these secret techniques can be promoted, unlike the number of fruits. Boom! As Uchiha Ran pondered, the golden bell rang in the sky. A 3-dimensional image emerges. It was a man with long dark blue hair, golden pupils, a face similar to that of a shark, skin color and sharp teeth. He is Kisame, a dried persimmon. Kirigakure Shinobu, a member of Akatsuki's organization, now works under Uchiha Ran. Boom! Different from the previous flying knives in the sky, this time it was the waves that rushed towards the face, setting off stormy waves, followed by a long knife wrapped in an explosive steel belt that broke through the sea and fell into the hands of Kisame, dried persimmon, revealing a dark blue hook. The blade is covered with barbs. The image turned into a ray of light and shot into the golden list. 25th place. Dasao Jiao muscle, can absorb the opponent's Shirara, and inject the absorbed chakra into the user's body, have life, only recognize the person you like. Not only can the opponent's chakra suck it away for your own use, you can also use the large amount of chara stored in the mosquito muscle to stimulate the regeneration of body cells, and you can also make the mosquito muscle and yourself become a murloc. Not surprisingly, it is one of the 7 knives of the fog hidden. Everyone has guessed it. 5th Hokage's methods are really powerful. Terumi Mei looked at Uchiha Ran with a bitter look. Originally, they retrieved the legacy of the ghost lamp Full Moon. Who is Ghost Lantern Full Moon? Outsiders only know that he is one of the second batch of 7 ninja swordsmen, in Wuyan Village, the land of water. But only the senior officials of Kirien Village know that it is not only skilled in the art of hydration, but also skilled in using the 7 ninja knives, and also has a scroll that can summoning the 7 knives. To retrieve the legacy of the ghost lamp Full Moon, in their opinion, all weapons can be retrieved through the summoning scroll. At most, the masseter muscle with self-consciousness may refuse. Advertisement as a result, how they summoning was unsuccessful. Now it seems that it was cut off by Uchiha Ran. In the eyes of the Super 6 Paths level existence, this is obviously something that can be done easily. No, you don't give up. Uchiha Ran smiled lightly. Onogi and the others all had bitter expressions on their faces. Silly, they are so stupid. It should have been thought that Uchiha Ran is not a good person, since asking them if they start the meeting early, will it be a bargain for them? It's taking advantage of their luck. The Kirigakushi 7 swords, it is indeed possible to change the name to the 7 swords of the ninja world. Terumi Mei sighed. At this time, the information is refreshed after the ranking. Weapon reward. Split body, you can separate small cells, hunt and devour chara in the field, and then replenish the body, increase the agility, and increase the perception. Owner reward. Orc incarnation, can make weapons into themselves, one survives, the other survives, can fight at the same time, combat power soars, and cast any water-style ninjutsu at the same time without seal. Dried persimmon Kisami's list reward hook now. What is increased is the ability to save life. After all, as long as it and the masseter muscle are immortal, they can be immortal. Also has combat power. Dried persimmon Kisame has always been known as the tailless beast, and Zara is very large. However, when he uses ninjutsu, he needs to seal, which is a big weakness, when the SWAT is fighting against the strong. But now I clapped my hands and shouted, instead, it's an advantage. Boom. Dried persimmon Kisame will receive the reward soon. The bell of the golden list rang closely. The person on the list is one of Terumi Mei's guards, Shojiro. This may also be the last face of Wuyan Village. At least the head of the 7 ninja knives, the double knives Shenshion, are still in their hands. 1 minute passed quickly. Reward information announced. Number 24. Double knives fresh butterfly. A knife made of 2 symmetrical knives, which can emit a rhythmic energy light ball, and can also make the blade larger. Owner. Shojiro weapon rewards. Possess low-level artifact spirits, has a growing consciousness, can talk to every master, have the consumption of chara, and double the power. Owner's rewards. Alhan 6 tactics, can release tens of meters of sword energy, vertical and horizontal, vertical and horizontal. Zunmei, Lendranbingbingshin. Hey, it's actually a sword technique in the wind and clouds. Chapter 160. Hashirama accidentally made the 6 paths list. Uchiha Madara is not far behind. Previous chapter. Next chapter advertisement, Alhan 6 Yuan. The martial arts of the wind and cloud world. Although it's a martial arts world, it's not bad at all compared to the ninja world. Uchiha Ran thought while rubbing his chin. Alhan Luhue is the sword technique taught by Ni Jing in the world of wind and cloud, and it is best to use the snow drink crazy sword, but the golden list is given to Changjiro, and it is estimated that it is best to use the double sword's Shion Dai. Once this sword technique is used, it can release tens of meters of sword energy, and it can be divided into 6 moves. Frightened Glance, Frozen 3 Feet, Red Apricot Wall, Peach Day, Stepping Snow to Seed Plum, Cold Blade Bing Shin. Changjiro is paired with double swords Shion, and the explosive power command is stronger. It is estimated that cutting a 40-meter sword will not be a problem at that time. It is equivalent to saying that Changjiro, who was originally weak in the future 5 shadows, now has the possibility to touch the super cage level. Relatively speaking, the reward is very generous. After all, Mist Shinobi's 7 knives have advantages and disadvantages, but the essence is on the same level, so the 30th to 24th place reward levels should be similar. Boom. In the live broadcast screen of Jinbang shot light, divided the police to improve the double sword, fresh butterfly, and gave Chongjuro the inheritance of swordsmanship. Mizukage-sama, I feel that if you are a master of this sword technique, you can split mountains. Chojuro reported to Terumi Mei and Chongchong. Chojuro has short gray-blue hair, black-rimmed glasses, and jagged teeth. He is short and childish. He is a shy boy with a serious lack of self-confidence. But facing the beautiful 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei, he is determined to protect her. This is the pure admiration of the younger brother for the elder sister. This, Uchiha ran is very clear. The policeman asked him why he knew, and even if Chongjuro had something wrong, he couldn't be Terumi Mei's bodyguard. Looks like you got something good, try your best, Terumi Mei encouraged. She is very attentive to this younger brother, because if the Mizukage position is still there, she feels that Chojuro has a good chance of inheriting it. Then she will be freed at that time, she doesn't want to miss the wedding. Boom. The bell of the golden list continued to ring at this time. The big discovery, the live broadcast screen of Jinbang has not changed. Obviously, those on the list were on the scene of the Five Shadows talks. Before the golden list, stereoscopic images appeared. The person who is hooked has long black hair and is wearing a black tight-fitting combat uniform with a red layered armor on the outside. The layered armor on the left shoulder is tattooed with a family logo, and the wrists of both hands are red iron bracers. Not many people know this man now. It is Konoha First Hokage, the rough-hand Hashirama, known as the god of the ninja world. Hazy Mami. In front of Hashirama, Uchiha Madara slipped and stood up, roaring, "You actually made the list behind my back, 99. Hey, I can actually be on the list." Huisho Hashirama himself shook his head inexplicably. I was on the list just after I was resurrected? You don't know? Uchiha Madara's eyes revealed suspicion. Advertisement, what do I know? Do I have any weapons? Hashirama said without a word. What sickle, flame fan, and if you add the spiritual weapon that Susanoo possesses, your weapons are in double digits, right? Have you ever used a weapon when you met me and you, too? I just slapped my hands to open wooden golem, okay? Everyone. In fact, you don't need to say the last sentence, wisdom Versailles Hashirama. That's what you said. Uchiha Madara tilted her head in embarrassment, but her eyes were on the sky. Rather, he wanted to see what weapons, together with Hashirama, were hiding from him. In fact, it is not only him, but also Hashirama, who is also watching curiously. Uchiha Ran also had a momentary surprise, but soon there was speculation. At this time, the weapon did not appear in the sky, but the successor Hashirama bit both hands and pressed the ground, just like the contractors who had bidden when the previous summoning beast list was announced, shouting, "The art of summoning." 5 Rashomon. Monument, 5 gates fell from the sky. At this time, the 3-dimensional image turned into the Phantom of 9 Tails, releasing a hair of tailed beast Jade. Boom. This supremely easily makes the tailed beast Jade's attack deviated from the original track, and at the same time loses its original power. The face is like laughing at the opponent, and it easily blocks the opponent's attack. The 3-dimensional image turned into a beam of light and flew into the weapon list. 23rd place. 5-fold Rashomon, belonging to summoning, a prop in summoning, which requires the contractor to seal with blood, and summon a gate that symbolizes death in order to defend against general physical attacks. Owner. Huisho Hashirama. It turned out to be the 5-fold Rashomon. Hashirama and Uchiha Madara realized at the same time. This one is really not unfamiliar to them. At the time of the Valley of the End, Madara controlled 9 Tails Hashirama, a majestic outfit wearing Susanoo's armor, and issued an enhanced version of the tailed beast Jade. The tailed beast Jade is something that Hashirama can pick up with the wooden golem technique. Madara inserted Susanoo's blade into the tailed beast Jade to prevent this from happening. In order to prevent the tailed beast Jade from smashing the ground, Hashirama cast the summoning technique, 5 layers of Rashomon, summoning 5 Rashomon at one time, barely changing the trajectory of the enhanced version of the tailed beast Jade. While the 5 doors were grayed out, smoke goes out. This is equipment that properly exceeds cage-level defense. However, because the defense will be broken after one time, and it will take a certain period of time to be reborn with a strange force, the ranking will continue to be low. You're lucky. Uchiha Madara pouted. Ha ha ha, I think so too. Peisho Hashirama laughed loudly. I can get a reward now. If I can get a human body, I will give it a shot. Rough hand Hashirama missed the hand. Uchiha Madara doesn't have reincarnation eyes now, but a pair of eternal Mangekyo Sharingan reopened. But after opening the reincarnation eye, Uchiha's pupil power is much stronger now, and he recently learned Xiaoyang's method of developing his physique from Uchiha Ran. Really fight, 4 or 6 points. Wisdom hand Hashirama does not open Sage mode, Uchiha Madara 6. Round hands Hashirama open Sage mode, Uchiha Madara 4. If Hashirama has a personal body, the situation will be different, because its recovery speed, perception, strength, physical strength, and the use of natural energy by the power of various attributes will all rise to a higher level. Damn it. Uchiha Madara clenched his fists hard. At this time, the information after the ranking is updated. Advertisement. Rewards for weapons on the list. The repair speed is increased. the tenfold Rashomon is derived, and the power of devouring is derived. Owner rewards options. 1. The power of the vagina increases, with a high probability of stimulating the awakened immortal human body. 2. Hidden bloodline activation, 100% have Guyu Sharingan, 90% may get Sanguyu, 50% get Mangekyo. Hey, it's actually an option. Difficult Hand Hashirama scratched his head and said irritably, I have a choice. Madara, what do you think I should choose? Hashirama looked at Uchiha Madara, who folded his arms across his chest and pouted, don't you want an immortal body? Of course you choose one, and having this is also a preliminary entry into the 6 paths level. Yes. Peisho Hashirama nodded, but at this moment, Tsunade spoke up in time. Grandfather, was Madara cheated and forgot double the happiness? What do you mean? Hashirama blinked in confusion. Grandfather, isn't Sharingan the way to improve the power of the vagina? Tsunade said a little speechlessly. If you choose, you can directly have 3 Tomo Sharingan, and even Mangekyo Sharingan. With these eyes, you have a way to improve your vagina, and then you can use your own efforts to stimulate your physique to evolve into a fairy body. 93. After possessing an immortal human body, it is possible to feed the Sharingan back, and it is possible to open the eternal Mangekyo or even the reincarnation eye. The police were deceived by Madara. Hey, rough hands. Hashirama heard Tsunade's explanation and immediately felt Akatsuki Uchiha Madara's sinister intentions. Zero ask for flowers. Madara is hot, you lied to me. Peisho Hashirama looked at Uchiha Madara with tears in his eyes. All. Te meow, you play a lot, this is not a romance drama. Idiot. Not only did Uchiha Madara not feel ashamed that her bad thoughts were exposed, but she shook her head very badly. Seeing this, rough hand Hashirama's tears suddenly froze. Tsunade was a little angry when he saw Uchiha Madara being so arrogant. At this time, one hand grabbed her hand. What's wrong, Ran? Tsunade looked at Uchiha Ran suspiciously. Misunderstanding Madara Lord. Uchiha Ran smiled gently. Misunderstanding. Tsunade was startled. To be precise, 99% of the people stayed for a while. Everyone agrees with Tsunade's analysis. Choice. While it may be possible to step into the 6 paths level right away, in the long run, it's far from the best of both worlds. Only the 6 paths level of the body is equal to only Otsutsuki Hagoromo, and the potential is much lower. Listening to what Uchiha Ran meant, he actually agreed to choose one. Master Madara? Uchiha Ran raised his eyebrows at Uchiha Madara without explaining. You're so smart, kid. Madara Tsunade pouted, and then out of nowhere took a hook to cover hand Hashirama. This is 3 Tomo Sharingan. Advertisement. Hashirama, who received the test tube, was surprised. Yes, the 3 Tomo Sharingan. Knowing that Uchiha Madara, the Tsundere ghost, must be embarrassed to end, Uchiha Ran took the initiative to assume the role of commentary. When Madara opened his eyes of reincarnation, he transplanted Hashirama cells after possessing eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which can also be said to be Yang-style Chara. The ultimate, relying on stimulation to get point 1. Then in turn, if you got an eternal Mangekyo from Lord Madara in the first generation, it can stimulate your body to evolve into a fairy body, and even 2 more. Eyes and physique are more pros and cons, so I won't say more, but in transplantation, physique takes a big advantage. Go back to now. If there is no ready-made Sharingan, first generation, you are right to choose the second. But if there is a pair of 3 Tomo Sharingans, and the difficult hands are the 6 paths themselves, they will naturally have the Uchiha bloodline in their bodies, but they are just suppressed by the Tanshu who grow and restrain each other. With eyes, it can naturally activate the bloodline, just like Madara opens the eyes of reincarnation. 3. So, choose one, and you too can have double the joy and speed up. Counting to this, Uchiha Ran took a sip of tea, and everyone understood what was going on. Cough, Grandpa Madara, sorry for misunderstanding you. Tsunade apologized to Uchiha Madara. The prejudice is too deep to change for a moment. Humph. Uchiha Madara Tsunade shook his head, but it meant he was forgiven. Madara, you are so kind to me. Difficult hands. Hashirama hugged Uchiha Madara excitedly. In Konoha village, Uzumaki Mito, who was watching an idol drama with Uzumaki Kushina, froze. Sure enough, this bastard can't be left alone, go away. Uchiha Madara blushed and pushed Hashirama away. Madara. Kanner. Hashirama rubbed his eyes with tears. Uchiha Ran's mouth twitched. He will definitely continue, Konoha's face should be lost. First generation, you should collect the reward first. Hearing this, he and Hashirama also looked forward to his strength again, so he did as he said. The next moment, Jinbang put down the light. Visible to the naked eye, wisdom hand Hashirama's aura grew stronger again. At a certain moment, everyone found him floating. Without special means, this can be regarded as a 6 paths level mark. I can fly. I made it. Wrapping his hands around the corner of Hashirama's mouth, he was about to show off Uchiha Madara. But at this time, yo! The golden bell continued to ring. In the sky, a 3-dimensional image emerges. The person on the list is, impressively, Uchiha Madara. People.